the order, he would never act on his own. Now, Ling Xiao mentioning the Black Dragon Realm Lord meant the time had come. Very well, since that's the case, let's go find him and avenge your old master and the Extreme Cold Supreme. While we're at it, we'll snatch all the cultivation techniques he has, besides the Wind Holy Scripture. I wonder how many other scriptures he's hiding. Ling Xiao's lips curled into a cold smile, his gaze sharp as a blade. At your command, master, we will set off immediately. Brack respectfully agreed, unable to hide his excitement. Wait a moment, I'll go get the Extreme Cold Supreme first, Ling Xiao said in a deep voice, then waved his hands, causing the space to twist violently. A rift appeared before his eyes, shimmering with a faint blue light. He walked in without hesitation. In the secret realm, Sikong Shui was flying in the boundless sky, his gaze anxious as master. How much longer do we have to fly? They had been flying for an uncountable amount of time, yet the edge of the continent was still nowhere in sight. Although the higher you stand, the farther you see, they have now ascended hundreds of billions of kilometers into the sky, theoretically able to see scenes within a range of several light-years. But the scale of this secret realm before them far exceeds the 1 light-year limit of an 11th tier secret realm, astonishingly reaching more than 10 light-years. Damn it! That old guy Black deceived us. This secret realm is not 10 light-years at all. It must be over 100 light-years. The Extreme Cold Sovereign gritted his teeth, his anger erupting. The master and apprentice are probably going to be trapped here to death. The Supreme of Extreme Cold looked solemn. She knew clearly that this secret realm was not this vast before she came. If it were really this large, it would take those human geniuses flying back from the sky to the continent at least hundreds of years. Could it be that brat Ling Xiao was up to some mischief? The Extreme Cold Supreme suddenly narrowed his eyes, guessing that only the secret realm master, Ling Xiao, could create such an illusion to deceive them into thinking the secret realm was enormous. No way, master, he's not that kind of person. Sikong Shui immediately retorted, her tone full of disbelief. You little brat, what do you know? You only see his good side, not how sinister he really is. Back then, I was imprisoned by him and almost lost my life. The Extreme Cold Supreme looked full of grievance, recalling the humiliation of being imprisoned by the 15-year-old Ling Xiao, his anger burning fiercely. What? Ling Xiao actually attacked master? That's too much. Sikong Shui was shocked and furious. If it weren't for your master trying to steal my cultivation method, I wouldn't have imprisoned her. If it were someone else, they would have been so refined by me long ago. In the void, Ling Xiao's voice came coldly. The Extreme Cold Supreme and Sikong Shui both looked towards the direction of the voice, seeing Ling Xiao slowly appear, his gaze cold and resolute. In the void, a figure suddenly flew out, coldly scanning the two. Hey, you little brat, can you be reasonable? I just wanted to take a look. Who said I was going to snatch it? Ling Xiao raised an eyebrow and retort, his tone full of disdain. The Extreme Cold Supreme's face changed abruptly, his anger burning fiercely. He knew in his heart that these words directly undermined his authority in Sikong Shui's eyes. Sikong Shui's cheeks flushed slightly as she looked at her master in astonishment, thinking to herself, so it turns out the one truly at fault is the master. Ling Xiao, I apologize to you on behalf of my master. I'm really sorry. Sikong Shui hurriedly apologized, her voice tinged with helplessness. But the Extreme Cold Supreme snorted coldly, secretly warning himself, if Ling Xiaorua really had the interest to imprison me, she would definitely have the ability to kill me. It's not like you stole my cultivation method. No need to apologize on behalf of your master. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, completely indifferent. His gaze was sharp, looking contemptuously at the two, feeling that the master and disciple had a huge difference in character. Given Sikong Shui's temperament, if the Extreme Cold Supreme sold her out, she shouldn't be hated. Me apologize? Don't be ridiculous, absolutely impossible. Ling Xiao's voice was firm, with an unshakable confidence in his tone. The Extreme Cold Supreme grew anxious and said coldly, whether you apologize or not doesn't matter, but this place has a diameter of 1 trillion light-years, it's a no-fly zone, and outside is chaotic void turbulence. With your current strength, if you go out, you'll just be torn to pieces. He shifted his tone, I was just about to go eliminate the Black Dragon Realm Lord. Want to watch? Find your own way. Ling Xiao sneered, his words falling like thunder. Black Dragon Realm Lord? Are you crazy? You think you have the strength to kill him? Don't go courting death. The Extreme Cold Supreme was anxious. Although he hated the Black Dragon Realm Lord for killing him, he didn't want to see Ling Xiao die in vain. Suicide? Don't be foolish, look behind you. Ling Xiao pointed behind the Extreme Cold Supreme, and the two instinctively turned around. In the distance, a colossal ship with a diameter of 1,000,000 kilometers hovered in the void, its cold light flickering. The Extreme Cold Supreme sneered, at this scale, it's at most 9th rank, no threat at all. Suddenly, a strange fluctuation erupted, and the giant ship rapidly expanded at an astonishing speed. The face of the Supreme of Extreme Cold changed drastically. In an instant, the giant ship expanded to a diameter of 94 trillion kilometers, equivalent to 1 light-year, far exceeding the range of most star regions in the Milky Way. But the expansion did not stop, eventually breaking through a diameter of 10,000 light-years. The aura of the colossal beast intimidated all around, causing tens of large galactic lifeforms to tremble and collapse. The massive ship before them resembled a star-devouring monster, sending chills down their spines. Could this be a 13th tier 12th-tier spaceship? The extreme cold sovereign stammered in fear. He had seen many 12th-tier spaceships but had never encountered such a gigantic and terrifying existence. Ling Xiao smiled broadly. Not bad, a 13th-level advanced spaceship. Do you still think going to kill the Black Dragon Realm Lord is a suicide mission now? The extreme cold supreme gasped, feeling shock deep in his heart. This spaceship is truly the legendary top-tier combat power. At this moment, an excited thought exploded in the heart of the extreme cold supreme. At this moment, he could finally take revenge. Whether he did it with his own hands or not didn't matter, as long as he saw it with his own eyes. The manner of death was irrelevant. He even hoped that the Black Dragon Realm Lord would perish right now. How about it? Want to come with me? Ling Xiao smiled slightly, a hint of unmistakable provocation in his eyes as he looked at the extreme cold supreme before him. Master, please apologize. There's no harm done anyway. Sikong Shui urged the extreme cold supreme quietly. The extreme cold supreme sneered, snorting angrily at Ling Xiao. Just an apology and it's over? Didn't you hear me? Say it louder. You need to have some attitude. Don't act like a beggar. Ling Xiao retorted coolly, his tone full of pride and mockery. You little brat. The extreme cold supreme was so furious he almost jumped up and fought Ling Xiao, but fortunately Sikong Shui pulled him back in time. The supreme cold glared angrily at the smug-looking Ling Xiao, a sly glint suddenly flashing in his eyes. She suddenly charged at Ling Xiao. What's the matter? Want to make a move? Ling Xiao immediately took a defensive stance. Although increasing strength was certainly powerful, if the opponent suddenly unleashed the power of the galactic realm, it would be disastrous. However, the next second, the extreme cold supreme changed her expression, showing a pitiful look, timidly grabbing Ling Xiao's hand. Brother Ling Xiao, take me with you, please, she pleaded softly, secretly rubbing the back of Ling Xiao's hand. This action stunned Sikong Shui, who was not far away. Ling Xiao blushed instantly and hurriedly pulled his hand back. I'm scared of you. Let's go, he said helplessly with a smile. After pulling his hand away, he surprisingly felt a bit nostalgic. Hee, Xiao Xue, let's go. The extreme cold supreme glanced proudly at Ling Xiao, then grabbed his dazed disciple and flew swiftly toward the spaceship. Ling Xiao could only follow closely behind. Buzz! The three were pulled into the spaceship by a powerful force. The spaceship quickly closed its hatch, its massive form instantly shrinking to a diameter of 1,000,000 kilometers, then disappearing into the secret realm. When it reappeared, the spaceship had already flown into the starry sky, rushing deep into the distance. Inside the spaceship, Ling Xiao led Sikong Shui and the extreme cold supreme into the storage chamber. Here are stored all the treasures of the Dark Supreme of a single year. If any one of them were placed outside, it would surely cause a sensation in a star region. The Dark Supreme's treasure is extremely abundant, and the extreme cold supreme, as the domain lord's limit, was also shocked by the scene before him. 11th tier top grade items piled up like a mountain. Back then, I fought to the death with someone over a mid-level rank 11 item. At the domain lord limit, the Dark Supreme actually hid so many good things, the extreme cold supreme exclaimed, as if Granny Lu had entered the Grand View Garden. You only stayed at the domain lord realm for tens of millions of years, but my master cultivated here for hundreds of millions of years, all to accumulate strength and break into the top 10,000 of the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom Domain Lord Strength ranking. But in the end, he only reached beyond the 10 million mark, not even breaking into the top million, Blacklow added in a low voice. The extreme cold supreme's expression suddenly changed upon hearing this. What? The Dark Supreme can make it onto the top 10 million strength ranking? Then his power must be enough to kill ordinary realm lords. No wonder he's so wealthy. Hearing the strong ranking list, the extreme cold supreme immediately understood that those who could enter the top 10 million were far from ordinary. Master, what is the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom? And what kind of domain lord strength ranking is Sumo? The puzzled Sikong Shui hurriedly asked. Fu spoke. He knew clearly that these things were still far from him. After all, he was only at the innate realm now. Whenever Ling Xiao said he could already kill a galactic realm expert, Sikong Shui felt a deep sense of powerlessness welling up in his heart. Compared to Ling Xiao, perhaps the greatest dream in this lifetime was to become his rival. The two were fundamentally geniuses of different levels. After hearing his disciples' doubts, the extreme cold supreme explained in detail the vast power structure in the universe. When he learned that there were so many forces in vast star regions in the universe, Sikong Shui was completely shocked. His master, though a super strong being capable of destroying an entire galaxy with a wave of his hand, appeared incredibly insignificant in this boundless universe, let alone in the Supreme Divine Kingdom. Take the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom, for example. It is just one of the countless divine kingdoms under the rule of the Supreme Divine Kingdom, with a terrifyingly large number of domain lord-level strong beings. And the Dark Supreme, who ranks among the top 10 million in that divine kingdom, is actually the object of admiration in his master's heart. This top 10 million refers only to the elite at the domain lord level. I see, each divine kingdom has 12 leaderboards, covering from the body refining realm to the realm lord level. The stronger the power, the higher the rank, the stronger the talent. After listening, Ling Xiao felt a surge of excitement in his heart. He longed to uncover the true nature of the universe's geniuses. It is is said that those at the top of the rankings are super geniuses capable of fighting across great realms. Thinking of this, his heart stirred with anticipation. That's right, Master. With your strength, it is highly likely you will top the Grandmaster rankings of the Dark Demon Sky universe. Divine Kingdom. Becoming the champion of the Divine Kingdom rankings will earn you generous rewards from the virtual universe. Upon hearing this, Black eagerly began to recommend. Knowing that Ling Xiao was incredibly powerful, he had always looked forward to witnessing his true strength. Now that he saw Ling Xiao was interested, he immediately took active steps to promote it. It's definitely worth a try. But first, we need to solve the problem of the Extreme Cold Supreme. Don't you want to restore your soul? Black, bring out all the medicinal herbs that can restore the soul. Ling Xiao nodded, his gaze fixed on the Extreme Cold Supreme, his tone steady. They had long agreed to share the treasures in the vault. Anything he could use, he would keep. Anything he couldn't use, he was not in a hurry to possess. Hee, thanks a lot, little brother. The Extreme Cold Supreme was excited, finally having the chance to repair the shattered soul. A fragmented soul meant enduring the torment of tearing apart every moment. Although she can slowly heal, without external assistance, it would probably take millions of years to fully recover. There should be 11th grade soul herbs hidden in this place. Alright, Master. Black responded immediately, lightly sweeping the void with his right hand. VZZZ. All the items in the entire treasure trove began to move automatically. A medicine chest as big as a small mountain appeared before everyone. The Extreme Cold Supreme eagerly flipped through it, only to be shocked to find that the highest grade of soul-restoring herbs was only 9th rank. Although the quantity was large, it was far from enough for her. Damn, Black, are you hiding something? Why is the best only 9th rank? The Extreme Cold Supreme asked anxiously. Ahem, here's the situation. My previous master hasn't completely perished, but his physical body has shattered, leaving only a remnant soul. His condition is much worse than yours. These 11th rank herbs and countless treasures were already used up by him. Even so, in the end, he still couldn't save his soul. These 9th grade medicinal herbs had almost no effect on him, so they were left behind. Facing the Extreme Cold Supreme's anxiety, Black's tone was full of helplessness. The Extreme Cold Supreme was stunned after hearing this. He possessed a 13th level soul defense artifact that couldn't even hold up. Although the opponent was strong, they definitely wouldn't be that strong. Being able to escape from that guy already indicated that the opponent's strength was astonishing, at least within the top 10 million on the leaderboard. After all, the realm of the Black Dragon Lord from hundreds of millions of years ago was definitely not lower than the 4th heaven of the Lord realm. Only 9th rank? It seems you can only manage this for the time being. Ling Xiao heard this and said to the Extreme Cold Supreme with a complex expression, if his alchemy skills reached 9th rank, he could completely refine legendary pills of the 9th rank. After repairing the loophole, the Extreme Cold Supreme could even fully revive on the spot. Unfortunately, his chances to fix the loopholes were limited, and the relationship wasn't that close. There were still a bunch of things waiting for him to handle, so he couldn't easily get distracted. More importantly, he was still 2 major levels away from the 9th rank, and at the current pace, it would take at least a few more hours to reach it. Wah, disciple, your master has a hard life. No one cares even when I'm about to die. The Extreme Cold Supreme listened to Ling Xiao's words and immediately cried out to Sikong Shui, tears glistening in his eyes. Seeing this scene, Ling Xiao helplessly rolled his eyes, feeling as if he had been wrongfully bullied. Alright, stop crying. Didn't they say that the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom's top ranked has good stuff? I'll go try. If I become number 1, I should be able to get enough high-grade medicinal herbs. If not, we'll just go to the Black Dragon Realm Emperor and snatch some directly. Ling Xiao's tone was crisp and decisive, without a hint of hesitation. The Extreme Cold Supreme's eyes lit up, and he immediately stopped crying. Hey, thanks in advance, little brother. Once I recover, I'll marry Xiaoxue off to you as your wife. If you're willing, I'll marry you too. She happily sold both herself and her apprentice. Sikong Shui was speechless, and Ling Xiao directly rolled his eyes. Yeah, right, you were the first to run off after recovering, he complained. Black, prepare a room for me. I'm going to check out the virtual universe right now. Ling Xiao was unceremonious and immediately turned to give orders to Black. Black nodded respectfully, waved his right hand slightly, and Ling Xiao's figure instantly disappeared, teleporting to a training room. Xiao Shui, let's also go check out the virtual universe. Black, prepare 2 training rooms and virtual universe access devices for us. The Extreme Cold Supreme saw Ling Xiao leave and immediately instructed Black. Now she was finally no longer afraid of the Black Dragon Realm Lord. No problem, future mistresses. Black smiled and waved his right hand. The Extreme Cold Supreme and Sikong Shui were simultaneously teleported to another training room. Inside the training room, a glowing orb floated before Ling Xiao's eyes. This is the access device for the virtual universe. This thing, it needs to be directly integrated into my spirit soul? There won't be any problems, right? Ling Xiao stared at the light orb. The method of use was to press it against the forehead, and the access device would then merge into the sea of consciousness. But this is extremely dangerous. If the access device explodes, death is certain. But why do countless strong individuals, even top-tier powerful beings, choose to merge? Ling Xiao fell into deep thought. Let's not worry about that for now, let's merge first. After merging, I'll find a chance to fix the loopholes. No matter how strong this virtual universe is, in the end, it will have to obey my command. He ultimately decided to take the risk. After all, as long as the vulnerability could be fixed, connecting to the sea of consciousness was no problem. Even if it was a soul binding, there was no pressure at all. Ling Xiao did not hesitate and directly pressed the light orb against his forehead. Buzz! In an instant, a dazzling light burst forth. The light sphere vanished from his forehead, and when it reappeared, he was already floating within the sea of consciousness. With it, Ling Xiao could enter the virtual universe anytime, anywhere. This function was simply godlike. However, a thought crossed his mind, wasn't this exactly like his own secret realm? The only difference was that the secret realm was the real world, while the virtual universe was a digital illusion. Ling Xiao immediately activated the virtual universe connector. Virtual universe connector activated, beginning to bind the soul. A prompt sounded in his mind, and a mysterious force suddenly surged through his entire body. Buzz! Like a flood, it rushed violently, striking his body. The next moment, everything went black, and consciousness was pulled into a passage. Buzz! When he regained consciousness, he found himself in a pure white space. Congratulations, you have successfully logged into the virtual universe. The prompt echoed in his mind, and the scene before his eyes changed drastically. A small room suddenly appeared, exactly the room he had before his previous life's time travel. The clothes on his body were also changed back to the old outfit from those years. If it weren't for the fact that his internal strength remained powerful, he would never believe this scene was an illusion. The virtual universe has constructed a personal space based on your subconscious. You may choose to cancel and arrange it freely. The prompt sound came again, and a glint of brilliance flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. The home and the subconscious? As expected, in the memories after crossing over, the previous life doesn't matter. Though alone, it has been the foundation for over 20 years. Unfortunately, it is now 100,000 years ago. Let it be. By the way, let me introduce the virtual universe. Ling Xiao spoke calmly. Starting virtual universe introduction. The voice of the virtual universe sounded. Virtual universe, the supreme main brain of the universe, aims to help all races grow rapidly. Any civilization that reaches the 10th level can apply to join. Those that have not reached it can be affiliated with a resident civilization. Affiliated civilizations can only interact within the scope of the main civilization and cannot cross beyond it. A 10th level civilization can interact with 11th level entities, an 11th level civilization with 12th level entities, and so on. Unless possessing a personal account, one can only be upward compatible with civilizations one level higher. Personal accounts are not subject to this restriction and require a wild level talent or universe level strength to apply. Personal accounts have no regional restrictions and can access the Supreme God Kingdom network to the highest level. If your location is the destroyed Supreme God Kingdom, the account can access that network at the highest level. A detailed introduction to the virtual universe. Ling Xiao naturally skips parts already known. Subsequently, the virtual universe continued to introduce more features, such as the leisure area. The virtual universe is the ultimate sanctuary for alchemists and artificers. Here, all medicinal materials are within reach and completely free. Although it is virtual, the experience of refining elixirs is absolutely real. In reality, what alchemists lack most are materials. Without the support of a powerful race and civilization, it is simply impossible to persist. Even with the backing of a strong civilization, it is difficult to break through when alchemy reaches its peak. Medicinal materials are scarce, and advanced alchemy techniques are even rarer. The virtual universe is different. As long as you have money, any elixir formula or alchemy technique can be easily purchased. If you don't have money, you can earn it through effort. What cannot be bought with money outside can be easily obtained here. This is just one of the functions of the leisure area. The leisure area fully replicates the entire universe. Any secret realm discovered here also exists in the real world. You can save the secret realm, train repeatedly, find the key to clearing it, and ultimately gain the inheritance. When you find a secret realm in reality, the inheritance becomes yours. Of course, this is just an ideal. Most people fail countless times to pass, while geniuses only need one attempt to obtain the inheritance. However, this greatly reduces the risk of death. Ling Xiao secretly marveled in his heart. The virtual universe, I must have a good time playing it someday. But at this moment, his gaze was fixed on the battle zone 2. This is the arena for countless powerful beings from various civilizations. You can challenge any strong opponent from any civilization to climb the advanced rankings and the genius leaderboard. Teleport me to the Grandmaster level leaderboard of the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom. Ling Xiao decisively commanded. Begin transmission. The virtual universe responded swiftly. Buzz. The spatial fluctuations occurred in an instant, and Ling Xiao transformed into a stream of data and vanished. Reappearing again, he was before the boundless space, facing a heavenly ladder stretching straight to the horizon. The ladder was inscribed with data. Tianlu Star Realm Tianyu, Realm, Grandmaster 10th Heaven, Rank, 100 million. Ling Xiao's gaze locked onto the last place, understanding that this ladder recorded shattered the previous 100 million Grandmaster level experts, with the end being the strongest Grandmaster of the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom. Not bad, I want a challenge too, he said without hesitation. B. For first-time participants in the Grandmaster ranking, a strength test must be passed first. After the test, your strength level will be evaluated, and then you can directly participate in the assessment. The prompt sounded, and Ling Xiao nodded. Starting to climb from the last place, he didn't know how long it would take. The number of Realm Lord level experts in the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom was in the trillions, and the Grandmasters were countless. Rumble rumble. The earth shook, and a huge boulder slowly rose. It reached a full 1,000,000 meters in height. Placed on Earth, even Mount Everest would seem as tiny as an ant. This boulder's material was far from ordinary stone, extremely hard. Even a common tenfold heaven Grandmaster couldn't budge its surface by the slightest bit. Such a massive and hard meteorite couldn't be completely shattered even by a first heaven stellar realm expert. B. Please directly unleash your strongest strike on the meteorite. The virtual universe will evaluate the ranking based on the damage. The prompt sounded instantly, entering Ling Xiao's mind. He hesitated not at all, slightly clenching the void with his right hand. In an instant, a light orb condensed in his palm. The holy sacred light burst forth with blazing brilliance, illuminating the entire leaderboard space, shining dazzlingly. Shatter! Ling Xiao decisively struck. Boom! The light sphere exploded instantly, shaking the heavens and earth. The world-destroying light waves spread wildly. In an instant, the meteorite gold stone turned to nothing, leaving not a trace of debris. Black once said that the genius of the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom is exceptionally powerful, possibly even surpassing me. But can my destructive power enter the top 100? A hint of curiosity flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. He forgot that those words were spoken by Brack when he had just obtained the holy light. Brack had no idea he possessed the power of destruction. The so-called possibly stronger than me was nothing but nonsense. B. Congratulations on becoming the 4th contestant in the history of the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom to shatter the test stone into nothingness. Your destructive power has surpassed all Grandmaster level contestants. The highest initial ranking improvement is only up to 10th place. You must defeat the top 10 to reach the summit. The virtual universe's prompt announced calmly. Tricked by Brack again. I haven't even unleashed my full strength, yet I already blew the scale. And he actually said someone might be stronger than me? Ling Xiao shook his head speechlessly. If Bulak heard this, he would probably cry. When he said this, Ling Xiao's highest achievement was only killing a triple-tier planetary warrior at the Grandmaster level. He thought that after Ling Xiao's realm surged to the 7th or 8th tier of the Great Grandmaster, his ability to surpass levels would definitely decline. Unexpectedly, Ling Xiao not only didn't weaken but became even more terrifying. Ling Xiao ignored these thoughts, pondered for a moment, and then spoke to the virtual universe. Notify all of the top 10 to come. Those who can make it come together. I don't have time to waste. Ling Xiao was unceremonious and directly ordered the virtual universe. This arrogant tone was obviously not the first time the virtual universe had heard it. Received, your 1 against 10 challenge has been issued. At your request, this battle will be fully announced to the Dark Demon Tian Universe Divine Kingdom. The virtual universe responded quickly. Ling Xiao was stunned. Announce a fight to the entire universe? Isn't this just asking for trouble? He shook his head helplessly but didn't care. So what if he attracted hatred? Those with real ability wouldn't bother targeting a Grandmaster of the Dark Demon Tian Universe Divine Kingdom. If you want to be arrogant, then be arrogant to the end. In the battle-starry sky constructed by the universe, 2 young boys fought fiercely. Beneath their feet, the giant planet was shattering at an astonishing speed, with debris flying everywhere, as if it could completely collapse at any moment. Onlookers would be utterly shocked to learn that the two were only at the peak of Grandmaster level. This giant planet, larger than an ordinary star, was as fragile as paper in their hands, crumbling in an instant. Their strength had reached stellar level, surpassing the Grandmaster realm, making them unparalleled prodigies. Boom! A deafening explosion erupted, and one of the youths was blasted into a mist of blood splattering everywhere. The other person was covered in wounds all over his body. If he were in the outside world, he would undoubtedly be dead. But he was not afraid at all. Buzz! Data streams surged in around him, and the wounds on his body instantly closed, restoring him to his original state. A prompt sounded in his mind. Congratulations, esteemed genius, your ranking has risen from 10th to 9th. A cold smile curled at the corner of the young boy's mouth. Finally in the top 9. No one among the younger generation in the clan can match me. Mother, I will definitely place your spirit tablet in the Pula family ancestral hall. Suddenly, another prompt sounded. The player ranked 10th on the leaderboard requests a challenge. You have 3 challenge attempts left. Refusing will result in being replaced in the ranking. The young man furrowed his brows. Challenging right after winning? Could it be Turlter, whom I defeated, is dissatisfied? Burning with anger, he snorted coldly. I'll make you admit defeat completely. Without hesitation, he accepted the challenge. Buzz! The space fluctuated violently, and the young boy disappeared instantly. When he reappeared, he was standing on another huge arena. Around him, several geniuses looked puzzled. They had also been summoned. A Titan boy, 100 meters tall, scratched his head. What's going on? Why are we all here? Wasn't the 10th challenger supposed to face us? Who is the 10th challenger? I was challenged too. It seems everyone was challenged by the same person. Quite bold. The 10th place isn't you, Tal? Are you challenging everyone? Everyone was familiar with each other, having faced off almost daily for hundreds of years, with close relationships. All eyes turned sharply towards the young Tal. It's not me, I just moved up to 9th place. I'm not 10th. Tal hurriedly defended himself. The gap among the top 10 was huge, especially the top 3, whose strength overwhelmingly crushed the others almost instantly. Even with great strength, Tal did not dare to challenge everyone lightly. Buzz. In the distant void, data streams surged. Under the gaze of 9 geniuses, a figure slowly appeared. It was Ling Xiao. An archaic tribe genius? Looks like he's the newly ranked 10th, someone whispered. Which civilization is he from? It's the first time I've seen him. Could he be a genius who migrated from another cosmic divine kingdom? Interesting, a newcomer dares to challenge all 9 of us right after arriving. His courage is absolutely astonishing. The 9 geniuses all stared at Ling Xiao in unison. Seeing him for the first time, everyone was stunned. The next moment, anger swept through their hearts. A rookie who just entered the arena actually dared to be so arrogant as to take on 9 opponents alone? It was an enormous insult to them. Buzz. A spatial fluctuation arose, and another genius was teleported in. Everyone looked and saw it was Tolittle, who had just been defeated by Tal. However, at this moment, he had already fallen to the 11th place. How is this possible? Tolittle is here too? The geniuses looked at each other, momentarily stunned. Beat. Rank 10, Ling Xiao, preparing to fight 10 opponents alone, challenging the original top 10 on the leaderboard. The battle is officially established. Live broadcast throughout the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom. The virtual universe system announced coldly. The top 10 geniuses fell silent instantly, then erupted in anger like a volcano. He actually dares to be so arrogant, wanting to take on 10 at once? Does he think he's Yishan Wan? Who knows what world he's from? I'm planning to go to the real world and teach this brat a good lesson. Let's teach him a lesson here first. Who wants to go first? Enough talk. If it's a fight, I'll make the first move. Rage burned in everyone's hearts. Ling Xiao's arrogance was beyond imagination, not to mention, he even wanted the entire divine realm to livestream his rampage. You bunch of bumpkins, who cares about fighting you? I'm not here for the livestream, purely for the reward. Ling Xiao sneered coldly, completely indifferent. Hey, are you ready? Whoever comes first will start. If no one is ready, we'll all go at once, the result will be the same, he announced calmly. Everyone was rushing to their deaths, forcing Ling Xiao to shake his head helplessly. If he acted directly, it would be considered a sneak attack and his reputation would be ruined. Otherwise, these people would have been gone long ago. I'll go first. Don't even think about it. A genius from the shark tribe laughed loudly, wielding a giant trident, and suddenly charged at Ling Xiao. His 10-meter giant body sneered, exuding an extremely fierce momentum. You brat, wait for me to give you a proper welcome. Boom! The ground cracked. He transformed into a streak of light, astonishingly fast, instantly closing in on Ling Xiao. The trident suddenly chopped down. An 8th rank trident? Not bad strength. Being able to wield an 8th rank weapon shows considerable power. Too bad, the speed is too slow. Ling Xiao sneered. He did not use any martial skill, nor did he hold a weapon, throwing a punch directly into the air. 1,000 miles away, all the spectators furrowed their brows. Although this shark tribe genius was not in the top 3, he firmly held 5th place, incredibly powerful, enough to crush ordinary star-level warriors. However, Ling Xiao was surprisingly confident, completely without weapons, even skipping martial techniques, throwing a punch. Everyone concluded Ling Xiao was undoubtedly doomed, destined to turn to ashes in the next moment. Just as the thought arose, the fist had already collided with the trident. Rumble, rumble, rumble. A deafening roar shattered the heavens and earth. The ground cracked, dust filled the air, and the two were shrouded in thick fog, making it impossible for the audience to see the battle clearly for a moment. What exactly happened? There's smoke. The situation is bad. Could it be that Ling Xiao is unharmed? A genius felt a foreboding sense of doom. At the moment the two clashed in attack, he vaguely saw the shark tribe genius's trident actually bend. That fleeting image, though brief, was clear and unmistakable. Impossible. Old Shark's strength is extremely powerful, especially his pure physical combat ability. He is definitely ranked in the top 2 among us. Even the top 3 would be seriously injured if they took his attacks head-on, let alone this newcomer. The number 1 genius on the leaderboard furrowed his brows, analyzing seriously. The smoke gradually dissipated. Everyone widened their eyes in shock, realizing that the shark tribe genius had disappeared, leaving only the trident covered in cracks, bent and deformed. Hiss! The 9 geniuses' faces instantly turned pale, gasping sharply. Among them, a few had killed shark tribe geniuses, even some who could kill instantly, but this trident was an 8th rank weapon, a super weapon at the galaxy realm, weighing as much as a small asteroid, yet shattered by a single punch from Ling Xiao. This power, extremely fierce. Ling Xiao slowly withdrew his fist. The defense of the 8th rank lower grade weapon is quite good, and it is of perfect quality. If I hadn't used the holy light, it would have been difficult for me to shatter it with my strength. Ling Xiao sighed in his heart. These geniuses are indeed indeed formidable. The weapons they use are terrifying tools of the galaxy realm. This trident weighs as much as a small asteroid, yet the opponent can still wield it in battle. Finding someone who can lift such a weapon is extremely difficult, whether a grandmaster, a planetary realm expert, or even an ordinary stellar-level powerhouse. They are not unable to afford 10th, 11th, or even 12th grade weapons, rather, they simply cannot wield them. Of course, there are very few lightweight 11th and 12th grade weapons, but these types of weapons require a large energy supply, which a grandmaster realm simply cannot sustain. Perfect quality weapons have a low threshold. Although the trident is heavy, it is still within a bearable range. If it were an ordinary quality 8th grade low-tier weapon, its weight would be terrifyingly like a star, and without the strength of a galactic realm, it would be impossible to lift. This is also why high-quality weapons are priced exorbitantly. Ling Xiao's 11th level dark magic spear is currently too heavy for him to wield. Fortunately, high-level weapons have an automatic downgrade feature that can reduce their power and level for easier use. At this moment, Ling Xiao can only set the weapon to the 9th level. To unleash power above the 9th level, he must first repair the weapon's flaws. Once repaired, the weapon's weight restriction will instantly disappear. As long as the energy is sufficient, Ling Xiao can unleash the full power of the weapon. After fixing the loophole, the power of the 11th grade supreme weapon can reach the 13th grade. By then, a single shot can instantly kill a god king, provided the opponent stands still. Energy is Ling Xiao's home ground. Even with limited strength, he can use the repaired weapon to stimulate the flesh and soul essence of the 13th to 14th grade. Of course, unless absolutely necessary, Ling Xiao would not easily use such a high-level weapon. If discovered, he would likely be hunted down by numerous god kings and even immortal-level powerhouses. He understood that improving his own strength was fundamental. Weapons were merely an aid. Next, it's your turn. If you don't make a move, I will. Ling Xiao's gaze was like a blade fixed on the 9 stunned geniuses. They were completely dumbfounded. A fellow grandmaster of the 10th heaven level could actually shatter an 8th rank weapon. This meant Ling Xiao possessed terrifying power comparable to the galactic realm. Utterly shocked, they hadn't even fully heard what Ling Xiao said. Didn't catch a word of it. Since you won't make a move, I won't hold back. Ling Xiao looked at the stunned expressions of the few people, sneered coldly, and directly struck the void with a fierce palm. Buzz. In an instant, a gigantic radiant palm imprint condensed in the sky, blocking the sun and sky, like a god descending, its dazzling light piercing through the clouds, illuminating the entire sky with this palm imprint. All the geniuses were shocked into silence, then one after another looked up, their eyes suddenly widening. Is this massive palm imprint, which covers tens of millions of kilometers, an attack from a grandmaster level expert? With such a terrifying coverage area, running, escape is simply impossible. Boom! Accompanied by a deafening explosion, the giant handprint thundered down, unleashing an endless destructive force in an instant. The 9 geniuses, along with their weapons, were turned into nothingness, vanishing between heaven and earth. In the distance, Ling Xiao's gaze was cold and stern, silently calculating in his heart. These 10 are the strongest grandmasters in the Dark Demon Tianyu Divine Kingdom, yet even so, they have no power to resist before me. This means that my combat power at the same level has far exceeded the normal level of the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom. If I want to find an opponent of the same level, I can only go to the Supreme Divine Kingdom. A single Supreme Divine Kingdom contains at least hundreds of millions of second-tier Divine Kingdoms. In other words, the top talents of the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom probably can't even make it onto the leaderboard in front of the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom. Ling Xiao touched his chin and fell into deep thought. However, strangely enough, even among the top-tier experts of the Supreme Divine Kingdom, I still feel like I have no rivals. After all, I only used 1% of my strength, the power of a star level 7th or 8th heaven, to instantly defeat the few people before me. No matter how strong the genius who destroys the Supreme Divine Kingdom is, they cannot withstand the holy light on me. Even if they can defeat me with the holy light, as long as I unleash the power of destruction, no one is a match for me. He pondered again. However, such a simple comparison is not very accurate. Divine Holy Light is a 13th tier talent, but the civilization level of the destroyed Supreme God Kingdom is at least 16th tier. There are countless geniuses with 13th tier talents. Even if my Divine Holy Light power is equivalent to 14th or 15th tier, there are still many such geniuses in a Supreme God Kingdom. The gap between a Supreme God Kingdom and a second-tier God Kingdom is simply worlds apart. He knew that no amount of guessing was better than personally checking the Supreme God's Kingdom leaderboard. Beep. At that moment, the virtual universe's notification sound directly entered his mind. Congratulations on successfully reaching the top of the Dark Demon Tian Universe Divine Kingdom Grandmaster Realm Strongest leaderboard. First time at the top with no underhanded deals, you may choose one of the following 3 rewards. A flash of excitement passed through Ling Xiao's eyes. Finally, the moment to choose the reward has arrived. Such a grand cosmic divine kingdom must offer generous returns. Otherwise, why would so many people fight desperately for first place, if it were just for a title? His gaze was sharp as he said coldly. Reward 1, 100 Realm Lord coins. Note, virtual universe currencies include virtual coins, domain lord coins, coins, Realm Lord coins, Divine Kingdom coins, and Supreme Universe coins. Virtual coins can buy a 7th tier low-grade weapon, Domain. Lord coins can buy an 11th tier Domain Lord level low-grade weapon. Divine Kingdom coins are equivalent in value to a 13th tier low-grade weapon, and Supreme Universe coins correspond to a 14th tier low-grade weapon. Reward 2. Choose any one 12th tier low-grade perfect quality weapon, elixir, formation, or skill set, worth about 1,000 Realm Lord coins. Reward 3. Freely select one 12th tier supreme or below non-rare medicinal herb or forging material. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, the choice in hand, the future full of infinite possibilities. Formation materials, worth from 100 Realm Lord coins to 10,000 Realm Lord coins. Note, rewards can only be used personally or gifted. Selling is prohibited. The 3 rewards are extremely generous, causing Ling Xiao's heart to tremble uncontrollably. He had expected it to be good, but never imagined that the first weapon he could choose would be a 12th level perfect quality weapon. It's simply defying the heavens. No wonder those geniuses he just killed mostly used downgraded high-quality weapons. Even the first Sharkman killed wielded a perfect grade 11 weapon, only downgraded to a lower grade 8. A perfect grade 12 lower level weapon is the most suitable for me, but my dark magic spear is already powerful enough. Although it's not perfect, and its level is half a realm lower, after fixing its flaws, its quality can reach legendary level. The weapon is temporarily unnecessary. He calmly analyzed. Besides, I promised the Extreme Cold Supreme to forge a soul-repairing elixir for her, and I must not break my word. Ling Xiao made a decisive decision. The target was set. That said, if I top the planetary strongman leaderboard, is there a reward? He suddenly thought. By strength, he had a 90% chance of winning. At worst, he could just use the power of destruction to suppress everyone. He whispered to the virtual universe. As long as the realm does not exceed the 10th heaven of the planetary realm, you can participate in the planetary realm's strongest rankings. If your strength is sufficient, you can also participate in the stellar and galactic realm rankings. The virtual universe responded quickly. But if you top the planetary realm rankings, you will be prohibited from participating in the strongest rankings within the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom and can only switch to the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom rankings. Ling Xiao understood clearly. Once dominating 2-level rankings, the strength has already surpassed the limits of the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe. Staying here any longer only means repeatedly farming rewards, which is extremely unfair to other geniuses. The purpose of the virtual universe is to cultivate the strong, not to let one person become the only one. Being king in a small place is a bottleneck. To become stronger, you must step out of your comfort zone. This rule is not targeted at Ling Xiao. Once any genius dominates 2-level leaderboards, they will be forcibly sent to a higher level battlefield. The geniuses of the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe, the true elites, have long been sent to the Destruction Supreme God realm. Twice is twice, better than once. Ling Xiao said indifferently, anyway, I plan to go. There's no way there will be a third time in the short term. He had long prepared to set foot in the Destruction Supreme God realm. After all, it was difficult to make breakthroughs here. Alright, the planetary level strong ranking list is about to be activated for you, announced the virtual universe. Buzz. Ling Xiao on the arena transformed into a stream of data and vanished instantly. When he reappeared, he was standing before another heavenly ascension ladder. The leaderboard was engraved with the names of the top 100 million strong, but this was no longer the Grandmaster realm ranking. Boom! The earth cracked and trembled, and a massive star slowly rose. Ling Xiao's gaze was sharp, noticing the star rapidly collapsing. Its surface was covered with black spots, indicating it was about to become a black hole. Its mass and intensity would surge to an unimaginable level. This is a test star of the planetary realm, a dark star. It is in the collapsing stage, with a mass far exceeding that of ordinary stars. Diameter of 10 million kilometers. Mass grade as high as planetary level. To make a 1 kilometer diameter deep pit on it, at least the power of the first level of the planetary realm is required. Ordinary planets are only at the innate realm level. Please attack directly. The virtual universe will automatically arrange your ranking based on your destructive power. The virtual universe prompt sounded, and a sharp glint flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. A 1 kilometer deep hit? Only a planetary level expert can achieve that? To shatter this planet, the power would definitely far exceed the galactic level, and might even reach beyond the 10th heaven of the galactic level. Why is the test of the Dark Demon Heavenly Cosmic Divine Kingdom so harsh? Ling Xiao frowned deeply, his heart filled with doubt. The virtual universe responded calmly, because your strength far exceeds the standard of the Dark Demon Tian Universe Divine Kingdom. The test standard this time has been raised to the evaluation of the Destroyer Supreme Divine Kingdom Planetary Realm's strongest ranking. In the entire Destroyer Supreme Divine Kingdom's several thousand eras, only 10 people have been able to shatter this planet. Ling Xiao was instantly shocked, his eyes widening in disbelief. Someone could actually skip 2 major realms to destroy this planet? This is simply a universe-defying genius. And there is more than one. He deeply understood his extraordinary nature. Ordinary people with 13th or 14th level talents are already invincible, yet he possessed more than 10 types of 13th, 14th, or even higher level talents talents and cultivation methods, which complemented and enhanced each other. This pushed his talent level close to the 16th level. Talent level is not the limit, but the strength that can absolutely be reached under normal circumstances. The 16th level represents the supreme realm of the strongest existence controlling the universe, also known as the supreme deity. Only such an existence can achieve a leap in strength that surpasses two major realms. So far, 10 such geniuses have appeared within the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom. As long as they do not die, they will eventually step into the immortal realm and may even become super strong beings within the immortal realm. Ling Zhao's gaze was firm. Since there are only about 10 top geniuses, theoretically, within the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom, no one can contend with me on the same level? The virtual universe confirmed. The combat power you displayed before is indeed unmatched by anyone. Ling Xiao sneered coldly. Then I'll challenge beyond my level. No more wasting time crushing weaklings. With that, he suddenly swung his fist, the fist wind tearing through the void. Buzz! The space shook violently, and a young boy from the Wild Clan appeared in this space with a face full of astonishment. Lost? I actually lost, and I'm so embarrassed that I don't even have the courage to fight back. This person was one of the 9 great geniuses just instantly killed by Ling Xiao, the top-ranked genius of the Archaic clan, Xianyu, who is now dropped to 2nd place. Xianyu, did you lose or win? Why did your battle livestream suddenly disconnect? A friend message popped up instantly. A flash of light suddenly appeared, striking directly in front of Qianyu's eyes. That was exactly the Sharkman genius who was instantly defeated at the very beginning. As soon as he spoke, Qianyu was immediately stunned. Disconnected? Isn't this a virtual universe live broadcast? How could it possibly disconnect? Hello, you have 4,544,151 unread messages. Would you like to load them? A prompt sound pierced his mind, and Qianyu was completely baffled. His friends numbered only in the tens of thousands, all acquaintances, so how did millions of messages suddenly flood in? Hundreds from each person? Full of doubts, Qianyu immediately opened the message archive. In an instant, countless pieces of information flooded into his mind like a torrent. After reading through, Qianyu finally understood what had happened. It turned out that Ling Zhao's challenge had triggered a full live broadcast by the Dark Demon Tianyu Cosmic Divine Kingdom. Although the audience was less than 1/10,000th of the total population, it was still extremely large. However, the screen instantly cut off right after Ling Xiao instantly killed the genius of the Shark Tribe. The live broadcast was unexpectedly interrupted. This completely shocked Qianyu. The only person who could interrupt the live broadcast was in the Dark Demon Tianyu Cosmic God Kingdom. The Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor who rules the Divine Kingdom, an immortal realm super strong. But why does he do this? This question even confuses the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor himself, because he hasn't made a move at all. However, as a Divine Emperor level expert, he roughly understood what had happened. The newly appeared Ling Xiao actually consecutively killed the remaining 10 geniuses in seconds. Even more shocking was that he destroyed a perfect quality 8th rank weapon. The value of this weapon was extremely high, and even the Dark Demon Divine Emperor valued it greatly. In the depths of the endless starry sky, a terrifying continent floats, covering an area of tens of thousands of light years. This is the Dark Demon Heaven continent, the imperial capital of the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom. Here, gravity is up to 10,000 times stronger, and the closer to the center, the more astonishing the gravity becomes. The gravity in the central region reaches a terrifying 10 billion times. With such terrifying gravity, in theory, no matter or light can escape. However, 10 massive black stars hover above the Dark Demon continent. They are all artificial, each embedded with a 13th rank flame star core, a 13th rank light star core, and a 13th rank dark star core. 13th rank, equivalent to the power of a super strong God King realm expert. The light of this star core is extremely intense, spreading rapidly, with astonishing anti-gravity capabilities. Therefore, the illumination and temperature on the Dark Demon Heaven continent are extremely suitable. At night, 10 stars extinguish, releasing endless dark power for dark magic practitioners to draw upon. At this moment, in the center of the Dark Demon Heaven continent, inside the giant temple 287, a divine emperor exuding supreme aura coldly overlooks his divine king-level subordinates. He was dressed in the Dark Emperor's robe, truly the Dark Demon Heavenly Sovereign. Any findings? Where exactly did this Ling Xiao come from? Could he be from an outer divine kingdom? He asked softly. If it were just about instantly killing the other top 10 geniuses, this second-tier divine kingdom ruler wouldn't even bother. Because such geniuses, though rare, are only at the Grand Master level at best. Within the Dark Demon Heaven, only a few emerge every million years. But for the Dark Demon Heavenly God Emperor who has lived for 1,000,000,000 years, a million years is just a blink of an eye. Even the time it takes to wake up from a single sleep is much longer than that. Not to mention him, even the great high priest before him, with strength reaching the peak of the God King, has survived for hundreds of billions of years. A genius who appears once in a million years is nothing special to them. But this time, Ling Xiao is completely different. Ling Xiao's strength is astonishing. He can shatter a perfect grade weapon of the 8th lower rank, which shows he is already approaching the Galaxy realm. Such terrifying talent is rare even in the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Universe Divine Kingdom and the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom. What the Dark Demon Heavenly Divine Emperor cares about most is whether Ling Xiao truly belongs to their Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom. If so, in the Cosmic Talent War, their Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom will undoubtedly become the most dazzling second-tier Divine Kingdom within the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom and might even surpass some first-tier Divine Kingdoms. At present, although Ling Xiao is only a Grandmaster, he has already attracted great attention from the Divine Emperor. Reporting to Your Majesty, the Divine Emperor. After investigation, Ling Xiao comes from a small civilization in the Milky Way. This race branched off from an 11th-tier barbarian civilization called Atlantis 30 million years ago. Over 20 million years ago, this civilization fell into a primitive era and took nearly 100,000 years to rebuild its civilization, which has now reached the 7th tier, the High Priest reported in a deep voice. Now, with the emergence of this genius Ling Xiao, the civilization level has leapt to the 8th tier. More importantly, he seems to have inherited the legacy of a certain 13th tier civilization, as well as the inheritance of a domain lord named Dark Supreme from our Dark Demon Tian Universe Divine Kingdom. The most astonishing thing is, according to our Divine Kingdom's time, he is only 15 years old. The High Priest's tone was full of shock. The High Priest's detailed account revealed his amazement at Ling Xiao's defiance of fate. It is truly rare for a backward barbarian civilization to obtain the inheritance of a 13th tier civilization. Faced with the reconnaissance of the supreme mainframe of the Dark Demon Celestial Universe Divine Kingdom, a 14th level mainframe, it was difficult for the 13th level spaceship to remain hidden, but they did not value the spaceship itself. Ling Xiao was the most precious existence. It's really someone from my Dark Demon Celestial Universe Divine Kingdom. That's great. Excitement flared in the eyes of the Dark Demon Celestial Emperor. This meant that during the Cosmic Genius War, Ling Xiao would not be assigned to another country, and the glory of the Dark Demon Celestial Universe Divine Kingdom would be greatly enhanced. As soon as the words fell, the Dark Demon Celestial continent shook violently, and everyone panicked, not understanding why the Divine Emperor was so excited. By the way, the Dark Supreme you mentioned, I have some impression of him. Is he the one who obtained the Dark Magic Scripture back then? The Divine Emperor suddenly asked. The legend of the Dark Magic Scripture is ancient, even older than the era the Divine Emperor lives in. He has always regarded it as a legend. Yes, that's him. The Dark Supreme had average talent and was killed by the Black Dragon Lord before advancing to the Realm Lord. Before dying, he obtained the Holy Light Scripture and the Extreme Cold Scripture. I guess the Dark Magic Scripture that Ling Xiao cultivates comes from his legacy, but now he uses the Sacred Holy Light technique, possibly because he originally possessed strong Holy Light talent, and combined with the Holy Light Scripture, his talent was elevated to the Sacred Holy Light level. As for why he is so powerful, the Supreme Brain of my Divine Kingdom has investigated. Although it did not see him comprehend the power of the laws, it sensed the aura of the laws. I am certain that he awakened the strongest innate supreme body talent of the Archaic clan. If that is true, his future achievements will be incredibly terrifying. The High Priest explained in detail, and if Ling Xiao were present, he would undoubtedly be utterly shocked. Even secrets that he himself had never noticed were already fully understood by the High Priest. Tracing back to the origins, he even revealed the origin of the human race. Ling Xiao's whereabouts had long been completely controlled by those top-tier experts. No secrets remained. However, they could only investigate facts that the system had not altered. Secrets rewritten by the system were completely inaccessible. For example, Ling Xiao's immortal divine body was completely unknown to them. The destructive power he wielded was equally hidden without a trace. They couldn't even understand why Ling Xiao was so exceptionally gifted, simply assuming that he had awakened the talent of the Archaic clan bloodline. Innate supreme body, this terrifying 13th level talent, is rarely matched throughout the entire Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom. Coupled with the blessing of the Holy Light, if Ling Xiao is properly nurtured, he is destined to become a top genius with 14th level talent in the future. Such an existence could easily leave even the current Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor far behind. Upon learning all this, the High Priest was extremely shocked. The Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor listened to the news, his pupils suddenly contracting, staring at the High Priest with a face full of disbelief. A 14th rank talent, an immortal realm super strong being, is very likely to be born here. As long as properly nurtured, they will surely create their own first-class cosmic divine kingdom. At this moment, such a genius had quietly appeared within his own territory. Where is he now? The Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor took a deep breath, his voice heavy and resolute. The High Priest understood immediately. He knew the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor intended to take action personally. Such a genius must be brought under his command. Even if recruitment fails, careful cultivation is necessary. In the future, perhaps even the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor will have to rely on him. As for seizing the spaceship and martial arts techniques, they are not worth mentioning at all. The martial arts and skills Ling Xiao currently uses, though not low in level, are only at the 11th or 12th rank. Even possessing a 13th tier spaceship is far from enough to rattle the nerves of a God Emperor level powerhouse. Seize it? Absolutely impossible. He is rushing towards the Black Dragon Star realm, clearly to avenge the Dark Supreme and the Extreme Cold Supreme, while also coveting the Wind Sacred Scripture and Fire Sacred Scripture on the Black Dragon Realm Lord. The High Priest respectfully reported. The Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor nodded slightly, guessing that Ling Xiao was attempting to synthesize the legendary 15th level cultivation technique. However, he did not pay much attention. That 15th level cultivation technique was created by another innate supreme genius of the Wild Clan. Without the innate supreme body's defying nature physique, it was simply impossible to cultivate. This is the fundamental reason why, over tens of trillions of years, no one has been able to collect and fully cultivate this set of techniques. Although the 8 divisions cultivation techniques are not limited to a single unique copy and can even be exchanged one by one in the virtual universe, if everyone could cultivate them to a perfect state and merge into the 15th level technique, almost all Realm Lord level experts would have already cultivated this path. After all, 15th level cultivation techniques, whether suitable for oneself or not, are far stronger than 12th or 13th level ones. But their astonishing cultivation threshold is the real obstacle. All 8 parts of the technique must be cultivated to the extreme, and many of their attributes are mutually opposing. A slight mistake can easily lead to body explosion and death. This danger far exceeds that of ordinary 15th level cultivation techniques. Ordinary people simply cannot endure it. But Ling Xiao is different. He possesses an innate supreme body, with a very high success rate in cultivation. After all, this set of cultivation methods was originally created by another innate supreme body super genius, perfectly matching Ling Xiao's physique, greatly reducing the difficulty. Since he wants to cultivate the 8 sections of the martial arts, I will help him gather them all. If he can truly perfect the cultivation of these techniques, his talent will surely reach the 15th rank. A cold smile appeared at the corner of the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor's mouth. I also want to personally nurture a truly immortal strongman to show that old fellow a thing or two. As his words fell, he slowly stood up, his aura suddenly rising. Buzz! In an instant, the surrounding space twisted violently, and his figure suddenly vanished without a trace. Rumble! On the arena, Ling Xiao threw a punch that exploded like thunder, shattering a super strong warrior at the planetary limit into pieces. Roar! Behind him, a gigantic phantom of the Mad God roared, tearing through the air. To kill this planetary limit genius, Ling Xiao almost exerted all his strength. Besides the power of destruction, he unleashed every combat skill and cultivation technique he had. So this is the top-ranked planetary realm? The power is truly terrifying, having comprehended a 13th level superpower. Damn, that's insane. Ling Xiao exhaled a breath of turbid air, his heart racing from the near defeat. Thanks to his mastery of multiple powerful spells, he was able to kill his opponent beyond his level, and very quickly, without leaving a single scratch. Even if injured, the wounds were instantly and rapidly healed. But this is strange. Getting hurt in the virtual universe, yet the soul in reality also gets damaged, and the virtual universe immediately restored the next second? What exactly is going on? Ling Xiao's face was full of confusion. After his soul was damaged, its recovery speed surprisingly exceeded the recovery speed of his vital energy for the first time. The recovery efficiency in the virtual universe was extremely terrifying, almost instantaneous, even faster than the physical body's recovery. As a result, the rate at which his vital energy increased surged by more than 100-fold. Although this injury was minor and the increase was not significant, here in the virtual universe, dying was of no consequence. Ling Xiao speculated that if the soul in the real world shattered, as long as the self in the virtual universe was revived, the real soul could also recover simultaneously. This means he can crazily increase his soul value through repeated deaths. But he wondered, why did no one notice this anomaly? B. Detection of abnormal real soul damage. Beginning explanation. The voice from the virtual universe calmly came. The virtual universe is designed to enhance the strength of cultivators throughout the entire universe. The safety of the cultivators is fully guaranteed. However, to achieve effective results, the body and soul entering the virtual universe are not illusory. Instead, your physical form is drawn in, and the real body becomes a projection. The virtual universe records the state before entry and restores it to that state upon death. This is also why, after cultivating for a period of time, one must return to reality to prevent strength from resetting. But you are special, because you possess an immortal divine body, and your life force is bound to the universe. Even if you die billions of times in the virtual universe, your strength will never diminish. The soul injuries you feel are because your body recovers so quickly that you cannot yet perceive physical damage. As your strength increases, you will begin to sense physical injuries. After listening, Ling Xiao suddenly became enlightened. Although the virtual universe is an illusion, the body and soul truly exist. Death here is not the end, but an instant resurrection by the virtual universe. He finally understood why, after arriving here, his physical body was no different from the outside world, and how the virtual universe could enable genuine cultivation. At this moment, Ling Xiao was utterly shocked. It is said that even the supreme beings who die here can be resurrected. Could it be that the virtual universe can truly destroy the entire universe and instantly revive it? This is simply defying the heavens. What on earth is this thing? Ling Xiao Xiao was horrified in his heart, his eyes flashing with an incredible light. No wonder the virtual universe can stand so high above, surpassing everything. The Supreme Divine Kingdom? Those so-called the ultimate crystallization of all intelligent races are nothing but absurdities. The virtual universe is on a completely different level, incomparable. Since I can't die here, and getting injured or dying actually makes me stronger, why bother entangling with people of equal strength? I should directly challenge the strongest. A cold light flickered in Ling Xiao's eyes, his decision made. B. Congratulations on defeating the number 1 on the planetary realm leaderboard. First time reaching the top, choose one reward from 3 options. A prompt sounded in his mind, and 3 options appeared before Ling Xiao's eyes, only to find they were all the same. No matter how strong, as long as you reach the top, the reward never changes. Without hesitation, Ling Xiao chose the 12th grade lower perfect pill for soul restoration. For the second chance, his gaze swept over the cultivation methods. Virtual universe, are the remaining 8 sacred texts still available? Yes, all 8 sacred texts are available, but each is a 12th grade supreme. You do not have enough exchange attempts. If you want to exchange, please first challenge the Destruction Supreme God Kingdom leaderboard. Reach the number 1 Grandmaster level, and you will receive a 13th grade cultivation method reward, allowing you to exchange for any sacred text. The voice from the virtual universe was calm and resolute. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. There really was such an opportunity, and it was not far away. I have already obtained 3 sets of cultivation techniques from the Dark Supreme. The Black Dragon Realm Lord has at least 1 set, so at most I still need 4 more. Currently, I am at the Grandmaster level. First, I will take down the top Grandmaster of the Destruction Supreme God Kingdom leaderboard. In the future, when I reach the planetary level, I will seize the number 1 spot on the planetary leaderboard. Repeating this cycle, when I climb to the galactic level and secure first place in 4 ranks, I will be able to collect all 8 sets of cultivation techniques. He smiled bitterly. The further he advanced in cultivation, the slower it became. This path was long and arduous. There must be at least 2 sets of cultivation techniques from the Black Dragon Realm Lord, otherwise it will really be troublesome. He sighed. Then, Ling Xiao exchanged for a refined blood pill made from the flesh essence of a 12th rank Realm Lord level star beast. The soul value was sufficient, but the flesh essence was about to run out. After this pill is refined, his strength will definitely rise to the 14th rank. By then, his vitality will be abundant, and there will be no need to worry anymore. Almost at the Black Dragon Realm Lord now. First, seize the top spot on the Destruction Supreme God Kingdom Grandmaster list, then enhance my strength. Ling Xiao ordered the virtual universe. I want to upgrade the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe God Kingdom coverage to the Destruction Supreme God Kingdom. Order received. The virtual universe responded. As soon as the words fell, the giant arena beneath Ling Xiao trembled, the world spinning wildly, and he was instantly transported back to the ranking space. Boom! The Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom's planetary level ranking ladder before his eyes suddenly collapsed with a roar, radiating light that crazily converged into countless brilliant rays. Soon, a huge golden ladder appeared before Ling Xiao, its scale billions of times larger than before. Each tier was enormous and terrifying, soaring into the clouds with a magnificent momentum that struck fear into the heart. The original 100 million levels skyrocketed directly to 100 billion levels. The last place on the leaderboard was actually the 100 billionth rank. Ling Xiao hurriedly searched, and the scene before him shocked him. Among the entire heavenly ladder, there were only 2 geniuses from the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom in the top 100 billion. One was about 90 billion, and the other just over 10 billion. These geniuses were each several times stronger than the 10 he had previously defeated in seconds. Because only after dominating the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom would they return here to challenge. But at this moment, he hadn't even entered the top 10 billion, which was simply pitiful. Ling Xiao vaguely guessed the number of geniuses within the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom, and it was terrifying to the extreme. You have been promoted to the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom level. Current ranking, Grandmaster Strongest list. Would you like to take a strength test? A prompt directly entered Ling Xiao's mind. Take the test, or should I start over? Ling Xiao said helplessly. No need to start over. The system can match the ranking based on your previous performance. Retesting is only to verify if your strength has improved. The virtual universe explained calmly. Ling Xiao felt a stir in his heart. Strength hasn't changed, so testing or not doesn't matter. Then let's rank according to the previous results. After all, it's still the top 10. He muttered, feeling that the virtual universe's AI was so nagging. Even Xiaowu was much smarter. Logically, the AI of this top-tier virtual universe should be extremely intelligent, but he didn't expect such a big gap. Indeed, your strength ranks in the top 10. Would you like to challenge an opponent on the leaderboard? The virtual universe continued. Direct challenge. Defeat them one by one. Ling Xiao nodded and toned down his arrogance. After all, if he fought 10 at once, with the live broadcast exposure, the secret would be hard to keep. He came from a small place, and his great strength inevitably attracted danger, especially now that he was in the Destruction Supreme God Kingdom, not the corner of the Dark Demon Tian Universe God Kingdom as before. But he was still unaware aware that the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor had already crossed the endless galaxy, aiming straight at his head. The invitation has been sent. Please prepare for battle. The virtual universe responded. Buzz. Ling Xiao transformed into a stream of data and vanished, appearing in the vast starry sky in an instant. This is the battlefield. Buzz. Space surged, and a young man instantly appeared before him. Why are the strongest often in the form of youths? The reason is simple. True geniuses train at an astonishing speed, awakening talents up to more than 10 levels, crushing the combat power of those veteran experts who have lived for thousands of years. The list of strong contenders is not lacking in veteran experts, but when facing super geniuses with extraordinary talent and rapid growth, they stand no chance. Those with high talent cannot remain stagnant at the Grandmaster level for too long, unless they are as young as the group of young geniuses before us. Some geniuses stay here for hundreds or even thousands of years for rewards. Once the time is up, they receive rankings and generous returns within their factions. Obviously, the young man before us is one of them, but staying here too long will instead limit strength and affect future development. Talent always surpasses any reward, matching you with the 9th strongest on the leaderboard, Jianluan. The battle is about to begin. Please prepare. The opposing strong warrior Jianluan's aura suddenly condensed, and a prompt instantly entered Ling Xiao's mind. Ling Xiao slightly clenched the void with his right hand. VZZZ. A long spear swirling with black energy instantly appeared in his hand, the power of an 8th rank mid-grade steadily flowing through the spear, matching the weapon level of Jianluan. Who are you? Which divine kingdom are you from? Why have I never heard your name? Just as Ling Xiao was about to make a move, Jianluan raised an eyebrow and asked coldly, do I have to introduce myself before the battle? Isn't my divine kingdom qualified to fight you? The universe is vast. It's normal that you haven't seen me. Ling Xiao was speechless. Did he really have to satisfy the other party? As soon as the words fell, Jianluan's face suddenly turned cold. It seems you don't belong to a first-class divine kingdom? Very well, then I won't hold back. Jianluan's cold gaze shot toward Ling Xiao like a sharp sword. What Ling Xiao did not know was that in the virtual universe, individuals could choose to conceal their identities, and Ling Xiao was no exception. Although he possessed a 13th level spaceship, he had no registered civilization. His 8th level civilization status made it difficult for him to register successfully. Those without registered civilizations, if not protected by the virtual universe, could be easily investigated by anyone with a higher civilization level. Although Ling Xiao was a free person and theoretically protected, his information was affiliated with the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom, and the Dark Demon Heavenly Divine Emperor had grasped all his information through subtle clues. Now, if anyone tried to investigate again, only by destroying the Supreme God could they obtain his data. Unlike other top-ranking strongmen on the leaderboard, their identities have long been known by countless people, whether they are descendants of royal families, great clans, or even heirs of the Destroyer Supreme God. Without exception, they are all prominent figures. If one offends them, there will inevitably be retaliation in the real world. Jianluan asked this also to protect himself and his family's safety. After all, Ling Xiao is just a mortal. Then let's attack. Ling Xiao sneered coldly, showing no courtesy. God of sword formation. Jianluan remained calm, suddenly thrusting his long sword into the ground. VZZZ. Runes on the long sword suddenly erupted, transforming into a massive 8th rank lower grade formation, spreading out in all directions. Clang 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 clang. Hundreds of long swords flew out from Jianluan's storage ring, forming an array at terrifying speed, hovering at the formation nodes. Sword formation master? This guy is not simple. Ling Xiao's gaze was sharp, instantly perceiving the opponent's battle formation. Sword formation master, the perfect combination of swordsmanship and formation techniques, is extremely rare. The path of dual cultivation is very difficult, and those who excel in both are even rarer. If the talent is sufficient, like Ling Xiao, one can harness dual powers, a cultivation method that differentiates the soul, capable of instantly repairing fatal flaws. This allows the cultivator's strength to surge instantly, becoming a leader among peers. The sword master before us, Jianluan, is undoubtedly an outstanding genius of this kind. Not only that, his formation talent is close to the peak of the 8th rank, and that sword formation is incredibly powerful. An exquisite lower 8th rank formation, when unleashed in combination with his triple sword intent cultivation, is enough to kill a level 15 super strong opponent at the stellar level 7th or 8th heaven. This is exactly the hard power of the top 10 on the leaderboard. Unfortunately, Ling Xiao's combat power has not yet reached the stellar realm 7th heaven. Standing still, Ling Xiao watched Jianluan's performance coldly. 10,000 swords returned to the sect. Accompanied by a thunderous roar, Jianluan's figure soared into the sky. From the ground formation, hundreds of thousands of flying swords emitted sharp sword cries, rising together into the air. Hundreds of thousands of mid-grade 8th rank flying swords covered the sky, their momentum overwhelming. Jianluan's aura of wealth was simply earth-shattering. This is also the key reason why lower-level martial artists can fight beyond their rank. They cultivate techniques of the 11th, 12th, or even 14th and 15th levels, wielding weapons far beyond their own realm. Jianluan was even more reckless, unleashing hundreds of thousands of mid-grade 8th level flying swords like raindrops, without any restraint. Such wild dominance made surpassing one or two major realms nothing unusual. As strength improves, battles against higher-level opponents will become increasingly rare. After reaching the Divine King realm, the concept of fighting above one's level almost disappears. At that time, everyone cultivates their techniques and uses weapons of nearly the same level, with little difference in strength. Surpassing one's level would at most be by one or two minor realms. Even the super geniuses at the Grandmaster realm, who appear once in 10,000 years, will become ordinary. Kill! Just as Ling Xiao was deep in thought, a thunderous shout suddenly came from the sky. Jin Luan swung his long sword fiercely, hundreds of thousands of flying swords pouring down like a flood, moving so fast they tore through the air, emitting a piercing whistle. Boom 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 boom. Not a single flying sword missed, all struck Ling Xiao. The terrifying force instantly blew him apart, flesh and blood splattering, torn into pieces by the sword chi. Turns out to be a worthless person with only a facade. Probably got lucky when the 10th ranked opponent didn't respond to the challenge and became the new 10th by chance. Jin Luan sneered, if you have luck then hold on to it well. Getting into the top 11 isn't easy. Why come here to seek death? Jin Luan's contemptuous gaze swept across. There are quite a few of these lucky ones. The top 10 rankings can't always wait for challenges. Breaking through depends on strength. Those who barely made it into the top 10 by luck just check in and post on moments, but once the protection period is over, they get kicked out. Unexpectedly, Ling Xiao actually dared to fight him head-on, which was simply foolish to the extreme. Boom 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 boom. The flying sword continued to relentlessly bombard the ground, but Jin Luan sensed something was wrong. Wait, what's going on? He was stunned to find that the flesh and blood of Ling Xiao, just shattered, was rapidly healing, and the broken fragments instantly restored. Ling Xiao's body was frantically cycling between breaking apart and recovering. This is impossible. What exactly is his race? Definitely not the archaic tribe. Jin Luan's face changed drastically, his voice heavy. This speed, even the archaic tribe can't reach. But if he's not from the archaic tribe, then what exactly is Ling Xiao? However, Ling Xiao ignored Jin Luan's doubts, his strength increasing at an astonishing rate. His vitality rapidly soared, and the true chi within his body surged, as if reborn. Ling Xiao reached the peak. No, I can't get any stronger. If I get any stronger, I'll break through to the planetary realm, and the reward for the Grandmaster realm will be lost. A gleam flashed in his eyes as he decisively stopped training. Clang clang clang. In an instant, those 8th rank flying swords that could easily shred his flesh and blood suddenly fell, their sword chi like a violent storm. But when the sharp blades touched him, they were shattered by his body, cracks appearing on the sword edges. Hiss! How is this possible? Jin Luan's face changed drastically, staring at Ling Xiao in disbelief. Ling Xiao actually used his own body to break his 8th rank flying swords? How could this be explained? Could he be a masochist? Break! Ling Xiao suddenly roared, his fingers sharply tapping the void. Rumble rumble rumble. The sword formation thousands of kilometers away suddenly collapsed. Poof! Jin Luan spat blood, staring in horror as hundreds of thousands of flying swords fell like rain. Sword formation? You used it the wrong way. Let me teach you. Ling Xiao sneered coldly, lightly tapping the void with his spear. Buzz! Runes spread like a tide, and thousands of long swords on the ground around emitted bursts of sword sounds. Jin Luan was dumbfounded as those flying swords all soared into the sky, rapidly converging into Ling Xiao's sword formation. The flying sword merged into the formation array, and a huge flying sword slowly took shape. What kind of sword formation is this? How can it have such a terrifying aura? It's clearly only an 8th rank lower grade. Jin Luan's face turned pale as he murmured to himself, sky-slaying sword formation, destroy. Ling Xiao shouted angrily, sweeping his spear fiercely. Clang! Accompanied by a deafening sword clang, the 1,000-meter-long flying sword tore through the void, bursting forth with endless pressure. Damn it! Jin Luan was furious, thrusting his long sword fiercely into the void once again. Buzz! Another sword formation took shape. His storage ring unleashed a million flying swords, neatly arranged, vast and overwhelming. Ling Xiao was dumbfounded. A Grandmaster of the 10th heaven level actually wielding a million perfect mid-grade 8th rank flying swords? Was he here to fight or to show off? In a fury, Ling Xiao's giant sword suddenly increased its speed by several times. Slash! Jin Luan roared angrily, a million flying swords forming a long dragon, roaring towards the Zhan Tian sword. In an instant, two sword auras collided fiercely. Boom boom boom. The deafening explosions swept across the sky and earth. Each explosion meant a perfect 8th rank flying sword was shattered into countless fragments. A million flying swords turned into a sky full of metallic dust in an instant. I lost, and I lost because of the sword formation. Jin Luan was desperate. The sword formation he was best at was actually broken. He wanted to ask Ling Xiao about the level of this sword formation, but it was too late to turn the tide. In an instant, the heaven-slaying sword swept across, turning Jin Luan into ashes. Rumble rumble. The heaven-slaying sword then shattered, turning into countless fragments scattered across the sky. The durability has reached its limit. The attack of a 1,000,008th level perfect flying sword was still barely withstood. Ling Xiao calmly looked at the shattered sword formation, clearly knowing in his heart that this sword formation, in his lifetime, to be continued. I'm afraid this can only be used this one time. After all, the sword formation consumes hundreds of thousands of weapons, and Ling Xiao isn't rich enough to waste them recklessly. Even if he had the ability, he would never waste them lightly. Ding! Congratulations on ranking 9th on the kill leaderboard, successfully advancing to 9th place. The prompt tone suddenly sounded, the sound striking directly into the mind. Continue the challenge. Ling Xiao did not hesitate, speaking coldly into the void. Brother, did you hear? The Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom has produced a super god genius who single-handedly faced 10 Grandmaster-level experts and completely crushed them all. In the resting area of the destroyed Supreme God Realm, several Realm Lord-level experts sat around drinking tea, and one of them laughed as he revealed some information. Dark Demon Heavenly Universe God Realm? Is there such a second-tier God Realm? How come I've never heard of it? A Realm Lord frowned in doubt. Everyone was stunned. The Dark Demon Heavenly Universe God Realm is a second-tier God Realm, but the key point is, do you know who the ruler there is? As soon as the words were spoken, the atmosphere suddenly grew heavy, and everyone's eyes sharpened. Who? Don't keep me in suspense, or I'll fly to the astral realm to challenge you one-on-one. A hot-tempered Realm Lord shouted angrily. The speaker was unfazed and smiled. This all started 10 trillion years ago. The youngest son of the Destroyer Supreme God married a Realm Lord-level strong woman back then, you know? Everyone nodded in agreement. After all, this was a major matter for the royal family. The ruler of the Dark Demon Heavenly Cosmic Divine Kingdom is the son of that Dark Demon Heavenly Divine Emperor who destroyed the Supreme God and that realm's powerful female lord. He is now an immortal-level peak powerhouse. Upon hearing this, the Realm Lords widened their eyes, unable to hide their shock. Wait, wasn't that powerful female lord killed by the youngest son's mistress? How could she still have a son? Innate talent defies the heavens, growing for 10 trillion years to reach the pinnacle of immortality, even stronger than his own father. Doesn't this turn into a plot of father and son killing each other? Impossible, after all, they are blood relatives, the son of the Supreme God of Destruction. Several Realm Lords, hearing the gossip, were all extremely excited. This news is shocking, but does it have anything to do with the genius you mentioned? A Realm Lord helplessly complained. It's okay, I just want you all to know. The speaker was self-righteous, and everyone wanted to flip the table. However, listening to some gossip wasn't bad either. The genius of a second-tier divine kingdom, being able to fight 10 at once is certainly strong, but it's unlikely to make it into the top 10 billion strongest in the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom. Another Realm Lord stroked his chin and commented calmly. Everyone nodded. No matter how powerful the genius of a second-tier divine kingdom was, they couldn't match the strength of those who entered the top 1,000 of the second-tier divine kingdom back then. In the end, most became Realm Lords, few became divine kings, let alone achieve immortality. That's right, but since you have this strength, you should directly challenge the Supreme God Kingdom leaderboard, otherwise how can you prove it? Suddenly, a powerful figure spoke, instantly awakening everyone. Several people quickly opened the Grandmaster Realm Strongman leaderboard. Although he is a genius from a second-tier God Kingdom, given the identity of the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor, they had to seriously observe Ling Xiao's potential. Damn, the number 1 on the Grandmaster ranking has changed. They just opened the list and were stunned to see the top spot on the Grandmaster ranking taken by a stranger's name. Hiss, really snatched away? Who exactly is this Ling Xiao? Where did he come from? Coming straight to the top, so arrogant. Wait, Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom? Is he that legendary genius? Is it really him? What a joke. All the Realm Lords' faces turned ashen. An unknown genius from a second-tier divine kingdom had actually become the strongest master. At the Grandmaster level of the destroyed Supreme Divine Kingdom, their hearts were in turmoil, waves of shock rolling endlessly. At the same time, countless civilizations and forces within the destroyed Supreme Divine Kingdom were boiling with excitement. The most thrilled of all was Ling Xiao from the Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom. It was their genius. Congratulations on reaching the top of the Grandmaster leaderboard with absolute strength. For your first time at the top, you may choose one of the following rewards. Ling Xiao, who had just instantly defeated a genius of the archaic tribe, coldly watched the reward prompt from the virtual universe. He noticed that almost 90% of his opponents were from the archaic tribe, with most of the rest being humanoid geniuses, and very few from other races. Inquiring within the virtual universe, he learned that the Destroyer Supreme Deity and over 100 archaic supreme deities were gathered nearby. The archaic tribe and humanoid races occupied more than 80% of civilizations, with the archaic tribe at the center, their strength absolutely overwhelming. Future opponents would be almost 99% from the archaic tribe and humanoid races. Ling Xiao was indifferent. They all had human faces, nothing to worry about. The reward interface appeared. Reward 1, 10 Divine Kingdom coins. Note, virtual universe currencies include virtual coins, Domain Lord coins, Realm Lord coins, Divine Kingdom coins, and Supreme Universe coins. Virtual coins can buy a 7th rank lower grade qualified weapon. Domain Lord coins can buy an 11th rank Domain Lord level lower grade weapon. Divine Kingdom coins can buy a 13th rank lower grade weapon, and Supreme Universe coins can buy a 14th rank lower grade weapon. Reward 2, choose one 13th rank lower grade item of perfect quality weapon weapon, pill, formation, or skill set worth 100 Divine Kingdom coins. Reward 3. Choose one non-rare medicinal herb, refining material, or formation material below level 13 Supreme, valued between 10 and 1000 Divine Kingdom coins. Ling Xiao hesitated. Comparing weapons and cultivation techniques, the cultivation techniques were much more expensive, and he was currently in need of cultivation techniques. By the way, how much does it cost to buy one volume of the 8 division sacred text separately? He thought to himself that buying them separately might be more cost-effective. After all, exchanging a level 13 cultivation technique for a level 12 Supreme was too much of a loss. By price calculation, a level 12 Supreme cultivation technique costs 1% of a level 13 lower-grade cultivation technique. The 8 cultivation techniques you want are all upper-tier level 12 Supreme, priced between 2 and 9 Divine Kingdom coins each, the virtual universe replied. So, choosing the Divine Kingdom coins might get you 2 or 3 sets of cultivation techniques? Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. Exactly, the virtual universe confirmed. Alright, then I'll choose later. Ling Xiao calmly declined, not in a hurry to decide. Perhaps the Black Dragon Realm Lord has already collected all the cultivation techniques? Although it is almost impossible, it cannot be completely ruled out. Ling Xiao's heart stirred, and he suddenly withdrew from the virtual universe. The Black Dragon Star Realm Imperial Capital floated in the starry sky, tightly guarded by a 12th level formation. Although the diameter of this continent is not as terrifying as the 10,000 light-years of the Dark Demon Heaven continent, it is still a full light-year. 1 light-year and 10,000 light-years differ by a factor of 10,000, but the volume difference is an astronomical number, the cube of 10,000 light-years, a full 1 trillion times. The gravity of this continent is even more astonishing, reaching 10 million times. In the center of the continent stands a magnificent palace that blocks out the sky and sun. If placed in the solar system, this palace would make the Earth pale in comparison, and even the sun would seem insignificant. That is the Black Dragon Lord's Black Dragon Hall. Lord of the Realm, great news. Big 287. A peak domain lord powerhouse broke through the void at an astonishing speed, knelt before the Black Dragon Hall, and respectfully shouted. Here, a domain lord was so humble, which shows how incredibly violent the Black Dragon Lord is. Speak! Inside the Black Dragon Hall, a cold voice as icy as frost echoed, causing the domain lord to tremble all over. A super genius has appeared in my Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom, already topping the Destroyer Supreme Divine Kingdom Grandmaster rankings at number 1. The domain lord reported excitedly. A cold snort suddenly burst from the hall, and a terrifying flood of power instantly crushed down. Blood spurted from the domain lord's mouth, and his figure instantly grew weak and feeble. Don't bother me with this kind of nonsense when I'm cultivating in the future. Die. The Black Dragon Realm Lord spoke coldly and sternly. To him, if it didn't concern his own interests, even the destruction of the Supreme Divine Kingdom was of no consequence. Master of the Realms, I haven't finished speaking yet. The Lord of the Domain's heart churned with bitter resentment. If not for fear of being hunted down, he would have long since fled this madman's control. That genius comes from the extreme cold star region of the Black Dragon Star Realm. I suspect he has inherited the legacy of the extreme cold sovereign or the dark sovereign. This time he dared not conceal anything and quickly revealed everything. Rumble! Before the words had fallen, an extremely terrifying aura erupted within the temple, instantly enveloping the domain lord. He didn't even dare to breathe. A fierce wind suddenly rose on the Black Dragon continent, tearing through the starry sky. The massive figure of the Black Dragon Realm Lord slowly spread its wings and flew out amidst the earth-shattering tornado. Black Dragon Supreme, the top elite of the Black Dragon clan. A body that covers the sky and blocks the sun exuded unparalleled pressure. Extreme Cold Supreme? Dark Supreme? The legacies of those two useless beings can produce the genius ranked first on the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom leaderboard? You are seriously overestimating them. The Black Dragon Realm Lord looked coldly at the Domain Lord, his tone as piercing as ice. The legacy of 2 Domain Lords can create such a powerful being? Utterly absurd. Don't even mention Domain Lords. Talents of this level can only enter the top 10 if they are personally nurtured from a young age by an immortal realm superstrong. First place? That's purely a matter of luck. You actually said that the inheritance of 2 Domain Lords could produce the number 1 on the leaderboard? The Black Dragon Realm Lord was suddenly filled with murderous intent. He felt that this person in front of him must have had his soul on the verge of collapse from being oppressed by him for so long to say such foolish words. No, Lord Realm Lord, please look at this message. A Domain Lord immediately became anxious and quickly opened an email. In an instant, a holographic image of a young boy appeared before the Black Dragon Realm Lord and his followers. It was Ling Xiao. This phantom was almost indistinguishable from Ling Xiao himself, and one could even sense his unfathomable realm. This is the overwhelming power of an advanced civilization. Black Dragon Realm Lord, I am heading straight to your Black Dragon continent and will arrive in a few minutes. A reminder to you, stay home obediently and wait for me to destroy you. Also, get the remaining 8 sacred texts ready. I will need them. Ling Xiao's words were calm and sharp, each one like a knife, with sarcasm directly targeting the dignity of the Black Dragon Sovereign. A mere grandmaster dares to boast about destroying him? Ha ha ha. Arrogant. Are you sure he is the legendary genius? The overlord of the Black Dragon realm was burning with rage, laughing hoarsely and wildly. No one had dared to be so rude for many years. It was him. I also watched the livestream just now. This genius of the wild tribe named Ling Xiao is definitely the one. The Peak Domain Lord quickly responded. Inside, he was extremely excited because it was rumored that such geniuses possess 12th level or even 13th level weapon spacecraft. Destroy the Supreme Divine Kingdom Leaderboard number 1, reward at least 13 tier equipment. The Black Dragon Lord is doomed. Unfortunately, he could only come to deliver the news. He had a master-servant contract with the Black Dragon Realm Lord, and he could only be freed after the Black Dragon Realm Lord died. If he made a move or tried to escape, the soul contract would instantly kill him. Very well, then go to hell first. The Black Dragon Realm Lord sneered coldly, and as soon as he finished speaking, the Domain Lord expert went blank. Boom! Before he could react, his soul exploded with a thunderous roar. His whole body trembled and instantly turned into ashes scattered across the sky. Ling Xiao, top-tier genius? Want this cultivation method? Come and kill me then? The Black Dragon Realm Lord stared coldly into the starry sky, his voice icy and bone-chilling. Oh, is that so? Goodbye. At that moment, a calm voice suddenly entered the mind of the Black Dragon Realm Lord, leaving him no time to react. An ancient giant hand stretched out from the void and suddenly grabbed his head. Data overload. The voice of the cold old man echoed in, and the Black Dragon Realm Lord's face changed drastically. It was too late to resist. Boom! A terrifying flood of information surged into the mind like a tsunami. The Black Dragon Realm Lord's body was covered with dense streams of data. Boom! Amidst the deafening explosion, the Black Dragon Realm Lord shattered in the void, turning into countless streams of data that dispersed in all directions. The only remnant was a dark dragon crystal containing his soul. The giant hand suddenly retracted, clutching the dragon crystal in its palm. Then, Brack's figure appeared from the void. Buzz! A rift tore open in the void, and Ling Xiao, the supreme of extreme cold, and Sikong Shui flew out from it. Just die like that? Impossible. The supreme of extreme cold was shocked. Brack's strength was actually so terrifying. Not long ago, he was still hiding in the secret realm out of fear of the Black Dragon Lord. So how did he become so powerful now? Unbelievable. Master. Dulac respectfully stepped forward and handed the Black Dragon Crystal to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao scanned the Dragon Crystal, a 12th rank mid-grade Dragon Crystal, within which the soul of the Black Dragon Realm Lord was sealed. He looked toward the outside world in terror. Extreme Cold Supreme? Impossible. How are you still alive? Back then, I gave it my all in one strike, and with your strength, you simply couldn't have withstood it. The Black Dragon Realm Lord within the Dragon Crystal saw the Extreme Cold Supreme, and his expression instantly changed drastically, full of shock. 10 million years ago, he was already a powerful being at the 5th level of the Realm Lord. With his strength, killing an Extreme Cold Supreme at the peak of a district's regional lord was nothing more than an easy strike. However, the opponent before him was completely unharmed. Moreover, he had extracted the Extreme Cold Scripture from that shattered soul fragment, so theoretically, the opponent should have perished long ago. As soon as the Black Dragon Realm Lord finished speaking, the gaze of the Extreme Cold Supreme suddenly turned sharp and cold. Looking at the Black Dragon Realm Lord whose soul remained in the Dragon Crystal, he wished he could immediately shatter that soul. But the fact was, the opponent's soul was still intact, while he himself was left with only a remnant soul. Your attack shattered 70% of my soul back then, but you had no idea that when I obtained the Extreme Cold Scripture, I also acquired a soul defense artifact. It was precisely it that protected the remaining 30% of my soul, allowing me to barely survive until today. And you are destined to die today, the Supreme Cold spoke coldly. The soul of the Black Dragon Realm Lord trembled slightly. He did not expect the other party to have obtained a 13th level soul defense, truly a child of destiny. That Ling Xiao, could he have been trained by you? He finally couldn't help but ask the question he cared about most. The number 1 on the Grandmaster ranking of the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom, a super genius unmatched even by peers, how could he have been trained by a regional lord? This kid? I don't have that ability. The Extreme Cold Supreme snorted coldly. She was naturally well aware that Ling Xiao had become the top of the Grandmaster ranking of the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom. She had just returned from the virtual universe, and the entire Dark Demon Heavenly Universe Divine Kingdom was boiling over this matter. On every street and alley, everyone was searching for the origin of Ling Xiao, but no one knew that this defiant genius actually came from a 7th level civilization not connected to the virtual universe. Precisely because it was not connected, no one could investigate Ling Xiao's identity. Enough, no need for old stories. Kill him if you want. Black, extract his soul seal and search for any remaining cultivation technique information. I still have use for that Dragon Crystal, the Extreme Cold Supreme ordered coldly. But at this moment, Ling Xiao interrupted them. Under overwhelming strength, so-called revenge was extremely simple. In a brief moment, the Black Dragon Realm Lord was completely fallen. His strength was vastly inferior to Black. Ling Xiao, who originally wanted to watch the fun, shook his head helplessly. After waiting so long, it ended so quickly? No no hope of success, he turned around to prepare for seclusion to improve his realm. He was about to break through to the planetary realm, and his strength would surely soar. With the realm advancement, the absorption speed would increase 100-fold, and the rate of strength growth would also multiply. On top of that, with the support of the virtual universe, this growth would probably explode exponentially. After encountering the cosmic strong, Ling Xiao completely understood how weak he was. Yes, Master. Brack responded respectfully, his aged palm pressing on the Black Dragon Realm Lord's dragon crystal. Facing the old man before him, the Black Dragon Realm Lord felt an overwhelming fear rise in his heart. Though brutal and savage, he was ultimately afraid of death. Shira! With a sharp sound, the Black Dragon Realm Lord felt a tearing, excruciating pain erupt deep within his soul. His soul seemed to be forcibly drawn out from the dragon crystal, which, to the dragon race, was an extension of the soul. At this moment, his soul was violently torn apart, split into two halves. Boundless darkness swallowed everything about him. Pain surged like a tidal wave, directly tearing the soul of the Black Dragon Realm Lord, causing him to tremble madly. The dragon crystal also throbbed violently, as if it were about to explode. Brack did not rush to extract the soul. Instead, he slowly, bit by bit, absorbed it, each time amplifying the pain exponentially, tormenting the Black Dragon Lord to the brink of collapse. Who exactly are you? Why do you help these ants? The Black Dragon Lord roared, his voice shaking the heavens and earth. He found it hard to accept that this obviously powerful figure actually called Ling Xiao his master. Brack sneered coldly, it's been hundreds of millions of years since we last met, Black Dragon Lord. Do you still remember me? I am Brack, the former servant of the Dark Supreme. Looking at the enemy whose soul was about to be extracted, Brack was filled with wild joy. Once upon a time, he and the Dark Supreme were hunted by the Black Dragon Lord, wandering the ends of the earth with no way out, ultimately perishing here. Now, with Ling Xiao's power, he finally had the chance for revenge, to completely annihilate the enemy before him. Blake, you are the AI of that Dark Kid spaceship? Impossible. The Black Dragon Realm Lord growled in shock. How could you become his AI? Immediately, he recalled the appearance of the old man before him, incredulous, an 11th level intelligence. How could it instantly ascend to a 13th level advanced intelligence? A 13th level being is comparable to a god king, requiring trillions of years to grow. Blake responded coldly, you'll find out when you go to hell. Oh no, you're already dead, not even qualified to go to hell. Goodbye. His right hand suddenly exerted force. Shira, the Black Dragon Realm Lord's soul was instantly drawn out. Roar! A piercing dragon cry erupted from the depths of the soul, and the terrifying sound waves instantly swept in all directions, turning everything they touched into nothingness. The Black Dragon continent cracked wildly under this wave of destruction, huge fissures tearing the land apart. Before the dragon race and intelligent species could react, they were instantly annihilated by this unparalleled power. The sound waves continued to spread, devouring stars, causing countless planets to shatter and turn into void. Ling Xiao and Sikong Shui witnessed this devastation, utterly shocked. Is this the power of a Realm Lord level expert? Even in a desperate struggle, such terrifying power can still erupt. Ling Xiao's face was grave. It's time to improve my strength. If I encounter such a powerful being now, with just a single thought, I would perish. After sealing the Black Dragon Realm Lord's soul, Brack respectfully handed over a dragon crystal. Master, this is the dragon crystal you requested. Dragon crystals are different from the star cores of star beasts. Ordinary star cores only store soul energy, while vitality and strength are contained within the flesh and blood. But the dragon crystal is different, containing 90% of the power of flesh and blood along with soul energy. This is precisely the source of the dragon race's formidable physical strength. The power contained in the flesh and blood of the dragon race already far surpasses that of star beasts of the same level, and the power stored in the dragon crystal further enhances their physical strength by dozens of times. The dragon race focuses on cultivating their physical bodies, and killing enemies above their level is not uncommon. However, no matter how strong this black dragon is, it cannot withstand Brack, who is a whole realm above him, leaving no room for resistance. The pressure of the realm lord level is incredibly terrifying. Even the top geniuses who destroyed the Supreme God Kingdom find it difficult to kill enemies a realm above themselves. His soul is in your hands, I'll go cultivate first. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, tightly clutching the dragon crystal. It is rumored that devouring the dragon crystal can greatly enhance physical strength, and there is even a very low chance of awakening the dragon race physique. But as long as Ling Xiao repairs the flaws within the dragon crystal, this very low chance will become 100%. The repaired 12th grade dragon crystal can be upgraded to at least 14th grade. By then, he will possess a 14th grade super physique. This physique is different from his previous immortal body or supreme law body. It is purely the ultimate enhancement of physical combat. Combined with the undying divine body, strength will undergo a revolutionary leap. After speaking, Ling Xiao took the dark dragon crystal and headed towards the spaceship. Buzz! At that moment, an unexpected change suddenly occurred. The endless dark domain rapidly spread from the depths of the universe, instantly engulfing the surrounding light. The world before Ling Xiao fell into dead silence and darkness, his pupils contracting sharply. A powerful being is here, he shouted coldly. coldly, quickly activating the raging absorption within his body. Boom! In an instant, the long-stagnant realm breakthrough occurred, reaching the planetary realm. His chi and blood surged violently, soaring from 9.99 billion to a full 10 billion. The immortal body rapidly changed, and the resurrection probability jumped from 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 100,000. The soul's strength surged, capable of being torn into 10,000 parts. Ling Xiao hesitated not at all and instantly tore the soul into 10,000 pieces. In less than 0.1 seconds, the soul quickly restored itself, doubling in strength. Ding! Host, realm upgraded to planetary realm, first layer. Daily repair attempts increased to 7, currently 1 remaining. Ding! Physical body and soul recovery speed increased by 100 times. Ding! Soul fragmentation level reached 8. Soul combat power increased by 256 times. The prompt sounds rang out like a rapid-fire cannon. Ling Xiao's expression grew serious as he quickly activated the violent absorption. Recovery speed increased by 100 times, absorption efficiency quadrupled. Vitality increase rate reaches 5 billion per minute, soul enhancement rate 3.2 billion per minute. In 1 hour, you can gain 300 billion vitality and 190 billion soul energy. Theoretically, the realm can instantly soar to the 6th or 7th level of the planetary realm. Unfortunately, at this moment, Ling Xiao couldn't hold on for even a minute. Boom! The heavens and earth trembled, and the battle was about to erupt. The darkness instantly dissipated, and the world returned to light. The surroundings were much brighter, yet the stars were still invisible. Looking outside, it was still pitch black. Ling Xiao took a deep breath, knowing there was no escape, and could only brace himself and wait. Step, step, step. In the endless void, the sound of footsteps gradually drew closer. Each step made Ling Xiao's heart pound fiercely. He tensed his nerves, but the other party clearly showed no hostility. Otherwise, even a single footstep would have been enough to reduce him to ashes. Finally, a figure in a black imperial robe seemed to have crossed billions of light years as he stepped out of the void and stood before him. The middle-aged man was heroic and imposing. Ling Xiao's heart jolted. In front of Brack, someone who could appear so effortlessly and leave Brack unable to react was no ordinary person, but an immortal-level supreme power. Junior Ling Xiao pays respects to senior. He did not hesitate, respectfully saluting, as preserving his life was paramount. This action was also a test of the other's intentions. No need for formalities. The dark demon Heavenly God Emperor's voice was steady. Seeing Ling Xiao's politeness, his tone was calm. Senior, what brings you here? Ling Xiao breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, it was not as crazy as the Black Dragon Realm Lord. The other's attitude was peaceful, seemingly without malice. Even if there was, he was powerless to resist. The only chance for repair had been used up. No trump card for reversal, and not enough potential. The Dark Demon Heavenly God Emperor spoke bluntly. I am the ruler of the Dark Demon Heavenly Cosmic Divine Kingdom, the Dark Demon Heavenly God Emperor. This trip has only one purpose. Ling Xiao instantly understood that the person before him was the supreme being governing the Dark Demon Heavenly Cosmic Divine Kingdom, capable of controlling all information. Please, Divine Emperor, enlighten me. Ling Xiao asked directly. The Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor slowly spoke. Your talent is extraordinarily remarkable, but great talent means endless danger. From now on, countless powerful outsiders will hunt you down. Every genius who has reached the top ranks of the Supreme Divine Kingdom's leaderboard has gone through this ordeal. Back when I was at the cosmic level, I was also pursued and blocked by 10 Realm Lord level experts. Fortunately, I was protected by a hidden master, which allowed me to survive. Those top geniuses all have the backing of powerful civilizations and races. Many strong clans that pursue them only dare to act in secret and do not dare to make a public move. Ling Xiao frowned deeply, never expecting that the fate of being hunted had escalated from the Milky Way to the entire universe. As a genius, it was truly unbearable. The Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor shifted his tone. An ordinary genius ranked first on the leaderboard is well protected by someone like Black. But you are different. Your true strength far surpasses the top spot. If I'm not mistaken, you have already shattered the star used to test the Grandmaster's strength on the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom's leaderboard. Those who can destroy stars number fewer than 10 since the birth of the Divine Kingdom. And of those 10, only one ultimately survived. Before he finished speaking, the momentum suddenly became oppressive, and Ling Xiao felt an unprecedented pressure. He is the supreme deity of the Dark Supreme Divine Kingdom. Facing the silent Ling Xiao, the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor spoke without hesitation. As the words fell, Ling Xiao's pupils suddenly contracted sharply. Unexpectedly, the value of shattering the test star was so terrifying. Not only did he shatter it, but he also survived and was directly promoted to a supreme deity? Even more astonishing was Ling Xiao. He reached the star exploding level without even using his strongest destructive power. If this news leaks, I'm afraid even the supreme deities will have to intervene personally. Ahem, in that case, senior, are you going to take me as your disciple? Ling Xiao smiled helplessly, knowing he had been way too conspicuous this time and nearly lost his life. The appearance of Brack relieved him, but he forgot that in the eyes of true strongmen, Brack was nothing more than an ant. No, I admit your talent is outstanding, but although I am qualified to guide you, I cannot protect you. I have have only one purpose on this trip: to give you something and tell you a few important things. The Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor calmly denied Ling Xiao's guess. Ling Xiao was stunned. An Immortal Realm top-tier strongman was actually here just to deliver something and say a few words? Before he could react, the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor lightly tapped his fingertip. Buzz! In an instant, a vast sea of information flooded into Ling Xiao's mind like a torrent. The content was so shocking that his pupils contracted sharply. A total of 8 sets of cultivation methods, all of the 12th grade supreme level. That's right, the complete 8 sacred texts. Senior, what is this? Ling Xiao was stunned. This treatment was simply enviable. This is just a meeting gift. The information that follows concerns whether you can survive the endless pursuit. The Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor's gaze was solemn. Ling Xiao listened attentively, silently resolving in his heart. From now on, he must keep a low profile as much as possible. Otherwise the killing moves of the strong will come too fast to even react, unless his immortal body can be developed to the extreme. He estimated that he was not far from that step, at most 3 or 4 major realms away. By then, his strength would reach the level of the universe and even the domain lord. 2 days later, the universe will open a genius competition that occurs once every 100 billion years. The sole purpose of this competition is to select apprentice candidates for the great supreme deities. If your talent can be fully unleashed, you might be noticed by a certain supreme deity. You have only one choice: to destroy the supreme deity, because he is the strongest among all the supreme deities in protecting his disciples. Back then, the reason the dark supreme deity was able to survive was precisely because of his disciple. The other 9 geniuses all chose different deities, and in the end, none survived. Many fell along the path of growth due to inadequate protection. As the strongest of the Arid clan, the Destruction Supreme Deity's selection of disciples was extremely strict. Simply reaching the top of the leaderboard was far from enough. Originally, I planned to have you skip the Grandmaster leaderboard and directly participate in the planet-level leaderboard assessment. Since you have already advanced, go directly to challenge the planet-level leaderboard. If successful, your talent will reach at least the immortal level strength, so there is no need to hide your power. As long as you are recognized by the Destroyer Supreme Deity, no one in the universe dares to touch you, not even other supreme deities. The words of the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor weighed heavily on Ling Xiao's heart. If he hadn't reminded him, Ling Xiao had planned to conceal his strength in the upcoming test. Although he could defy fate, safety was not guaranteed. The eyes of the Destroyer Supreme Deity are like an abyss that devours everything. Now, there is no need to hide one's strength. Becoming a disciple of the Supreme Deity once required cautious and careful growth. But now, Ling Xiao's heart surged. The Destroyer of the Supreme Deity is so powerful. Why should I keep my abilities hidden? Moreover, he himself also wields the power of destruction, making him absolutely suitable to join this formidable force. He discovered from the virtual universe that there are no more than 10 people in the universe who have truly comprehended the power of destruction. One of them is the Supreme God of Destruction, and the remaining 8 are his disciples, each a top-tier immortal level powerhouse. Some of the disciples can even survive attacks from the Supreme God of Destruction, their strength astonishing the world. Moreover, it is rumored that the disciples under the Supreme God of Destruction are extremely united, holding onto this big thigh. Who would dare to move him easily? Facing a group of immortal strong ones, who can resist head-on? Decided, since I'm going to hold onto a big thigh, I'll hold onto the strongest one. Ling Xiao's eyes gleamed with determination. In these past few days, his strength has rapidly increased, patching all the flaws in his cultivation methods. In the future, he will single-handedly suppress the entire genius battlefield and sweep through all the heroes. Thank you for your guidance, Senior. I will remember it deeply, Ling Xiao said solemnly, expressing his gratitude to the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor. You're welcome. When your strength is enough, help me fight a battle, the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor said with a smile. The target is the Dark God Emperor, the youngest son of the Destroyer Supreme Deity. Ling Xiao was stunned. He had just been advised to join the Destroyer Supreme Deity, and the next moment he was asked to fight his son? What kind of grudge do you have with the Dark God Emperor? Ling Xiao couldn't help but ask curiously. When my strength is enough, I will definitely not forget this promise. It's nothing serious, it's just that the old man is my dad, so I can't bring myself to act against him, the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor said calmly. If that day really comes, remember to call me. After speaking, he took a step forward and vanished, turning into black mist. Buzz! The surrounding black mist instantly dispersed. He delivered the message and made a friend. There was no need to stay longer to avoid trouble. Ling Xiao muttered to himself, the Dark Demon Heavenly Emperor is truly a filial son. But he knew there must be hidden reasons behind this, matters not for him to meddle in. Now that I have the 8 sacred scriptures, I must merge and repair their flaws before the genius war to enhance my strength. Ling Xiao's gaze was resolute. Only with enough power can I win the final victory, earn the rewards, fully strengthen myself, and protect the future. He looked into the distance, where the Extreme Cold Supreme and others were still tormenting the soul of the Black Dragon Lord, their expressions growing increasingly grim. Then, Ling Xiufei flew into the spaceship. Black, return to Earth, he ordered the Void. Black, who had originally stayed on the ruins of the Black Dragon continent, was momentarily momentarily stunned by the order. Both of you, return to the spaceship first. The master is ready to go back to Earth, Black said with a smile to the Extreme Cold Supreme and Sikong Shui. As soon as he finished speaking, he transformed into a data stream and swiftly flew toward the spaceship. The Extreme Cold Sovereign and Sikong Shui were tormenting the Black Dragon Realm Lord Soul under the power of extreme cold, and they were stunned by his words. Let's go, Xiao Shui. Have some fun on the way. I don't believe you can't hold on, the Extreme Cold Sovereign sneered. He didn't linger, coldly tossing a command to his disciple. Stay close to me. Then, he suddenly clenched the Black Dragon Realm Lord Soul tightly and charged straight toward the spaceship. Master, wait for me. Sikong Shui hurriedly chased after, her voice full of anxiety. Everyone gathered on the spaceship, and the 13-tier spaceship instantly tore through the void, moving at a suffocating speed straight toward the Milky Way where Earth is located. Although the Milky Way belongs to the Black Dragon star realm, it is on its edge. This journey is like crossing the entire star realm. With this top-tier 13-tier spaceship, a distance of trillions of light-years can be covered in just 1 hour. 1 hour may seem short, but for Ling Xiao, who is making great progress in his realm, it is golden time for cultivation. After breaking through the boundary, his cultivation speed surged by hundreds of times. At this moment, inside the spaceship's cultivation chamber, Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the void, freely activating the Furious Absorption technique. The power of the Furious Absorption technique increased dramatically, the sensation of strength surging like giant waves crashing, his entire body filled with unprecedented impact. Ding! Cultivated Furious Absorption technique for 1 minute, vitality plus 5 billion, soul plus 3.2 billion. System prompts sounded continuously, the speed astonishing. In just 2 minutes, Ling Xiao's realm soared by 1 level, vitality broke through to the 2nd level of the planetary realm, and his soul stepped into the 1st level of the planetary realm. Then, he split off a consciousness to continue cultivating, while the main consciousness scanned the attribute table. Attribute table. Name, Ling Xiao. Repair attempts, 1-7. Martial Dao realm, planetary realm, 2nd layer. Soul realm, planetary realm, 1st level. Vitality, 20 billion, 1 point equals 30,000 kilograms of strength. Soul, 10 billion. Secondary profession master, 10 types, 8th rank, lower grade, 0/100 billion, legendary. Skill, weapon master, 4-fold realm, 2200%, 0/1000000. Talent, undying divine body, immortal level, combat power asterisk 2000%, innate supreme body, cosmic level, blessing 100 billion times, holy light, cosmic level, power of destruction, immortal level. Cultivation method, soul immortality technique, eternal life level, 7th rank fragmented, 256x, heavenly demon blood escape, 10th rank frenzied. Absorption, 13th rank superior, frenzied god body, 10th rank medium, 16x, Juntian divine cannon, August 8th, 15th rank inferior, entry level. Martial skills, great destruction spear technique, 11th stage, supreme, 2000%, holy light world annihilation, 11th stage, supreme, 2000%, 9 heavens instant flash, 11th stage, supreme, 2000%, great sun golden body, 11th stage, supreme, 2000%. Equipment, dark armor, 11th rank supreme, dark magic spear, 11th rank supreme, angel wings, 11th rank supreme. Beast pet, none. Normal combat power, 1st level of the galactic realm. Maximum combat power, 7th level of the galactic realm. Looking at the full screen of attributes, Ling Xiao felt helpless. Only 1 repair attempt remained, but to restore all the cultivation methods and martial skills to perfection, at least a dozen attempts were needed. It was still early, only 7 o'clock in the morning Earth time, and to refresh the repair attempts, he would have to wait more than 290 hours. It can only be used in the most critical places first, he said in a deep voice. The Juntian Divine Classic requires the 8 departments techniques to be perfected before it can unleash its true power. At the current speed, it will take at least a day or 2 to complete, just in time for the genius battle to begin. But using repair attempts here would be too extravagant. His gaze fell on the last dragon crystal, and a trace of ruthlessness flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. A 12th tier advanced dragon crystal, once repaired, can be upgraded to the 14th tier. Ling Xiao did not hope for anything higher because the 14th tier was already terrifying enough. More importantly, after the repair was completed, Ling Xiao finally no longer had to worry about his soon-to-be depleted flesh and blood power. System, immediately fix all the vulnerabilities in this dragon crystal, he ordered without hesitation. Ding, command received. Detecting, this 12th level advanced dark dragon crystal has as many as 2.7 trillion vulnerabilities. Starting repair. The system prompt echoed in his mind, and a gleam of excitement flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. 270 trillion vulnerabilities? This meant that after repair, this dragon crystal would reach the immortal level. Another immortal grade artifact. My strength will definitely increase greatly. A confident smile lifted the corner of his mouth. Boom! A fierce golden light burst forth from the depths of the void, sweeping over like a torrent and infusing into the dragon crystal. Instantly, dense and profound runes appeared on the surface of the crystal, spreading rapidly and covering the entire crystal. Each rune emitted a dizzying powerful aura. Ling Xiao could not comprehend their profundity at all. After all, the dragon crystal was of such a high level that without the system's protection, even standing close would cause him to be instantly torn apart by this boundless power. The pressure of the high-level artifact inspired awe. Runes covered the entire crystal, and the aura gradually stabilized. Ding! Congratulations, host, the loophole repair is complete. The 12th level advanced dragon crystal has been upgraded to avoid dragon crystal 15th level immortal grade. As the light faded, the system prompt sounded again. Ling Xiao did not hesitate and immediately checked the detailed introduction of the Void Dragon Crystal. Void Dragon Crystal, no bug version 100% awakening upon consumption. Activating the 15th tier Dragon Clan talent Void Dragon Body. Greatly increases health and soul value reserves. Void Dragon Body, one of the top bloodlines among the Dragon Clan. Awakeners gain the 14th tier supernatural power of the Void, the core power of spatial elements. Collecting all 10 spatial elements can fuse into complete spatial power. The Void Dragon Body also inherits all advanced Dragon Clan body bonuses, greatly enhancing physical strength and spell resistance. The host's current realm can increase physical strength by 256 times. Hearing this, Ling Xiao's eyes shone with a longing light. Void Power, a 14th tier top supernatural ability, is one of the spatial elements, far surpassing the realm of Holy Light. The system once said that the 10 supreme elements are all above the 15th tier, and the spatial power might even reach the terrifying levels of 16th or 17th tier. Although it is not as powerful as the force of time that defies heaven, Ling Xiaoming understood that possessing a 16th level supernatural ability meant that even top-tier deities could hardly escape death. 10 types of spatial elements? With the system, I will definitely be able to collect them all. With more than 10 repair opportunities every day, and a few 14th or 15th level star cores to patch the gaps, sooner or later I will be able to refine the power of space. He touched his chin, his eyes firm. Although the power of the void is not as violent as the power of destruction, it is definitely a life-saving weapon. From now on, I will rely on it steadily. As soon as he finished speaking, he hesitated not at all and swallowed the Void Dragon Crystal in one gulp. With a rumble, a vast power instantly surged through his entire body, and Ling Xiao felt an unprecedented strength and sense of security. Ling Xiao swallowed the Void Dragon Crystal in one gulp, and instantly, a terrifyingly intense force of blood and soul power swept through his entire body like a flood, surging through his limbs and bones. The power throughout his body surged like a volcanic eruption, his bones cracking and snapping, and every inch of skin and every cell was being wildly strengthened. His cells were being violently compressed and divided, the power continuously accumulating at an astonishing speed. After dozens of cycles, Ling Xiao's physical body reached a terrifying level of strength. The sound of blood flowing roared like thunder, shaking the soul. This was only the change in his physical body. Within his sea of consciousness, a huge transparent orb filled with supernatural power rapidly took shape, surpassing the divine holy light he had used before, yet still not as immense as the power of destruction. Ding! Congratulations, host, you have successfully awakened the Void Dragon Body, a 14th level supernatural void power. The prompt sounded, and Ling Xiao slowly opened his eyes, feeling the terrifying power surging within him. So this is the dragon race physique? If combined with the demonic blood escape and the mad god body, would it be even stronger? A trace of excitement flashed in his eyes. Without hesitation, Ling Xiao shouted sharply, "Demonic blood escape!" In an instant, a terrifying power erupted like a flood. Behind him, a gigantic dragon god phantom nearly 1,000,000 meters long materialized, swirling gracefully and emanating a pressure strong enough to crush a galaxy-level expert. Roar! The earth-shaking dragon roar shattered the void. Even the spaceship's 13th level training chamber could not withstand this power, remaining incredibly stable. The power of the Void Dragon Body fused with that of the Wild God Body, transforming the original Wild God Phantom into a Dragon God Phantom. Ling Xiao secretly marveled in his heart. This power far exceeds a 256-fold enhancement, increasing at least 400 times. The physical strengthening has caused the multiplier effect of the demonic blood escape and the Mad God Body to surge. He understood that the demonic blood escape and the Mad God Body could not fundamentally improve strength, they could only overdraw the body's power. The stronger the body, the greater the multiplier effect. Now that the body's strength has surged 400 times, the combat power boost from the demonic blood escape and the Mad God Body has also skyrocketed accordingly. However, the final limit of strength improvement was not much, but the normal combat power soared by 7 or 8 realms. Many people reading this might wonder, physical strength increased by 400 times, but ultimate power didn't rise much? That is indeed the case. Previously, Ling Xiao's normal combat power, excluding the destructive force and holy light, had already reached the first level of the galactic realm, and the foundation of this power was precisely the cultivation method Ling Xiao practiced. Martial skills, physical strength, and various elemental powers intertwine and merge. If these elements were stripped away, Ling Xiao's pure physical combat power would definitely not reach the 7th level of the stellar realm. The situation is very complicated. The physical body and the soul must be considered separately. His physical realm is higher than his soul, but his strength has long been far surpassed by his soul. The reason is simple. The powerful enhancement enhancement of any element can at most reach the level of the soul realm. At this moment, under the blessing of the Holy Light, Ling Xiao's soul combat power has reached the 7th level of the galactic realm. Not to mention the enhancement of the void power. Theoretically, his combat power has already climbed to the peak of the galactic realm. Of course, this is on the premise of not using the power of destruction. These powerful forces stem from the power of the elements, the demonic blood escape, and the immortal soul technique, and are not closely related to the strength of his physical body. If these auxiliary powers are stripped away, Ling Xiao's physical combat power can at most reach the 7th level of the stellar realm. The key reason is that he has no innate physical constitution talents. Not a single talent enhances his physical body. Even the 20-fold boost provided by the immortal god body pales in comparison to the supernatural abilities of the soul, which often reach levels 14 or 15. Without the support of the demonic blood escape and the frenzied god body, Ling Xiao's pure physical combat power would only be at the 1st level of the stellar realm. Now, his physical combat power has increased 50-fold, effectively elevating the physical body from the 7th level of the stellar realm directly to the 6th level of the galactic realm, crossing 9 minor realms in total. However, this physical enhancement has limited impact on his ultimate combat power. Ling Xiao's ultimate combat power formula is physical combat power plus spiritual combat power. Using the spiritual combat power at the 1st level of the galactic realm as the baseline one, the spiritual combat power is about 1000, while the physical combat power was previously only 0.128 and has now increased to 50. Although it has surged more than 400 times, its contribution to the ultimate combat power remains negligible. This is the helplessness caused by the lack of a powerful physical cultivation method. Fortunately, Ling Xiao now possesses the Void Dragon body, which is comparable to a 14th level elemental blessing. In other words, the only thing he currently lacks is a stronger physical cultivation method. To be precise, the level of the Mad God body has not yet reached the 14th level. As long as Ling Xiao repairs the flaws of the Mad God body and breaks through to the 14th level, his physical combat power will surpass his spiritual combat power when not using the power of destruction. When the two combine, the burst in combat power will far exceed simple addition. The miracle of 1 + 1 greater than 2 is about to happen. This goal is now within reach for Ling Xiao. Unfortunately, the power of destruction is extremely terrifying, and it is almost impossible for the physical body's strength to match its level. First, improving the realm is the fastest way to enhance overall combat power. Ling Xiao stared at his attributes, a sharp gleam flashing in his eyes. His overall combat power has far surpassed other geniuses, mainly because he has mastered several 14th and 15th level supernatural talents. But the 14th and 15th levels are almost the top existence in the universe, making breakthroughs extremely difficult. Theoretically, his strength is already close to the limit. Even if he acquires new 15th level talents, it would only improve by half a minor realm. However, his cultivation can rapidly boost his realm with astonishing speed. At my current speed, I can increase my chi and blood value by 300 billion per hour, 72 trillion per day. Breaking through to the stellar realm requires 100 trillion chi and blood, so it only takes 1 day. By then, the cultivation speed will increase by several hundred times again. Cold light flickered in Ling Xiao's eyes. At this speed, by the time the genius battle begins, he will have already stepped into the galactic realm. More importantly, all his martial skills and cultivation techniques will have been fully restored, making his combat power even more terrifying. Galactic realm. I want to gaze into the eyes of the supreme deity is probably far from enough. It seems that in the short term, the only way to ascend to the Starsea realm or even higher is to immerse oneself in the virtual universe. A sharp light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes, then he closed them. His main consciousness quickly traversed and entered the virtual universe. The remaining consciousness stayed in place, continuing to cultivate the cultivation method. Buzz. The heavens and earth spun, and Ling Xiao felt his consciousness being forcefully drawn away. Respected cultivator, welcome back to the virtual universe. A prompt sound rang out, and Ling Xiao opened his eyes, already inside the virtual universe. Teleport the star-level strongman leaderboard, he ordered without hesitation. That's right, it's the galaxy-level leaderboard. Now that the realm has reached the 2nd level of the planetary stage, defeating the top-ranked planetary realm expert is no longer difficult. After receiving the reward, one can directly rush to the galactic realm leaderboard, using one life and death battle after another to wildly enhance strength. Understood, respected cultivator. The virtual universe hesitated not at all. Ling Xiao's body instantly turned into nothingness, heading straight to the vast heavenly ladder space. Staring at the ladder to the sky, he was no longer surprised. Having seen many landscapes before, his mindset had become much steadier. The usual rule, quickly show the proof of your test strength. I still need to go back and train. Ling Xiao's words were brief, his tone carrying an unquestionable dominance. Respected strong one, you destroyed the test item last time. This time, you will directly advance to the top 10 of the leaderboard. A prompt sound echoed in his mind. Saved again? Then directly challenge the top 10. Ling Xiao's heart trembled. The combat power that destroyed that star could actually firmly hold the top spot on on the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom leaderboard. His former strength was already extraordinary, but now it had undergone a qualitative change, terrifying to the extreme. Buzz. The virtual universe hesitated not at all and teleported him to a vast arena, several light years in diameter. With the power of a planetary-level strongman, even this continent cannot be destroyed, let alone tear through space. Buzz. Amid the spatial fluctuations, a weathered middle-aged man carrying a long spear suddenly appeared before them. The middle-aged man was stunned the moment he saw Ling Xiao. New face? There have been so many recently. Young man, which hidden civilization do you come from? This sharpshooter expert once consistently ranked in the top 5. In recent weeks, a flood of super geniuses has emerged, refreshing at least 10% of the top 1,000 on the leaderboard. These geniuses all come from mysterious, secluded forces or are peerless elites hidden away by their clans. They deeply understand that once such geniuses reveal themselves, they are highly susceptible to assassination. Although the great families cherish them, they cannot conceal the external turmoil. With the cosmic genius battle approaching, geniuses can no longer hide. If one could become a disciple of the supreme deity, they would surely soar to great heights. Even becoming a disciple of an immortal-level powerhouse would be enough to shock the universe. Sorry, I am not from a major power. Ling Xiao responded helplessly. So-called major powers are merely 8th-level civilizations in the galaxy, hardly considered giants. Hidden? You are really alert. The middle-aged man smiled, thinking that Ling Xiao was just hiding something. Small forces need not say much. Leaking information will only hasten their demise. Great forces, on the other hand, fear nothing. The air was heavy as the battle on the arena was about to begin. Silence means dying faster. If someone from a small faction speaks up, hostile forces will immediately target them, and assassination will follow at once. If someone from a large faction speaks up, no one dares to act against them lightly, but once they hide their identity, trouble arises. A genius mistaken for being from a small faction will also be hunted down. Therefore, out of 10 people, 8 who don't reveal their background are mostly ordinary individuals without any backing. Ling Xiao is very likely one of them. The background mentioned here is not about race. If it were about race, Ling Xiao is obviously from the Huang tribe, one of the universe's top powerful races, so there's no need to ask further. The real background refers to the strength of direct blood relatives, sect, and ancestral masters. Those who can be called major forces are at least protected by immortal-level powerhouses. No matter how high the talent, without the protection of an immortal-level powerhouse, one simply cannot survive. Those who can rank in the top 10 of the Destruction Supreme Divine Kingdom leaderboard are definitely super geniuses. Since you refuse to speak, we'll take action first. The middle-aged man spoke coldly, swinging his spear. Clang! The sound of the spear rang like thunder, shaking the arena. I told you, I am just a small force. Can't you understand? Ling Xiao was speechless. Does this person have a problem with comprehension? Since the other party was determined to make a move, he was too lazy to waste words and clenched the void with his right hand. Clang! A long spear instantly appeared in his hand. Roar! The thunderous dragon's roar erupted from every bone marrow in his body. Blood surged, transforming into a massive dragon god apparition, its might intimidating the entire scene. The middle-aged gunner trembled all over, filled with excitement. Ha ha ha, what momentum! Fight! Fight! The two locked eyes like blades, their murderous intent overwhelming. Drink! With a loud roar, the two figures instantly vanished. Rumble! A violent collision, shockwaves scattering, the heavens trembling, the earth collapsing. Boom boom boom. Ling Xiao and the middle-aged marksman fiercely clashed in the void, their gunplay exquisitely superb. In an instant, millions of exchanges occurred, evenly matched. At this moment, Ling Xiao had not activated his supernatural abilities. Relying solely on his physical combat power, he had already reached the 6th level of the galactic realm, almost matching his opponent. A top 10 planetary level expert could fight across 15 or 16 minor realms, but Ling Xiao's realm was 8 minor realms lower than his opponent's, meaning the opponent's basic strength was at least hundreds of times greater. In other words, if they were at the same realm, Ling Xiao's power would surpass his opponent's by hundreds of times. This is the limit of the universe's top geniuses. Even the Supreme Divine Kingdom has only about 10 who can reach this level. Ling Xiao, relying solely on physical combat power, can overwhelm opponents by hundreds of times. This terror is suffocating. The reason is Ling Xiao's terrifying level of martial arts techniques. Although these geniuses before him have extraordinary talent, the martial arts they practice are only top-tier 8th level. It's not that they don't have higher-level techniques, but they lack the talent for them. To perfect an 8th-level top-tier technique requires an extremely long time. The 9th-level cultivation method is even harder to master, and one may not succeed even after exhausting their lifespan. If the cultivation method is not perfected, combat power will be greatly reduced. Therefore, these supreme genius from the highest divine kingdoms can only cultivate by leaping 2 major realms. Although their cultivation methods are of a high level, they can never be stronger than Ling Xiao's perfect 14th level cultivation method, soul immortality technique. Absolutely impossible. Practicing cultivation techniques of the 11th or 12th level is the most reasonable choice. If the level is too high, sky, you can only get started, and the improvement in strength is limited. It's better to master lower-level techniques thoroughly and then advance to higher levels after perfecting them. But Ling Xiao was different. He practiced the terrifying martial art of the 11th level. Even more astonishing, his technique reached the 14th level of eternal life, a defying and perfect realm. This is simply defying the heavens. Regarding the number of chi condensations and transformations, Ling Xiao found that the supreme geniuses of the divine kingdom he faced without exception only had 10 levels and 10 transformations. Whether they were geniuses from the dark demon heavenly universe divine kingdom or others, their levels were comparable. Fortunately, Ling Xiao had long pushed his cultivation to the limit. Otherwise, relying solely on his techniques and martial skills, he would not have been able to crush his opponents. But once he ascends to the divine king realm, those top 10 super geniuses on the leaderboard will easily overwhelm him. Their techniques will also reach a higher level, and at that time, Ling Xiao's basic strength will be 10 times weaker, undoubtedly ending in a bloody defeat. However, Ling Xiao's techniques and martial skills have greater potential for evolution, and his ability to repair flaws far exceeds the 16th level limit, making his future limitless. Your strength is extraordinary. Take my move, Heavenly Spear Shadows. The middle-aged marksman shouted angrily, and the sky instantly poured down with gun shadows like meteorites, dense as rain, rushing straight at Ling Xiao. Good shooting. Watch this. Ling Xiao's gaze sharpened, and he suddenly swung his spear towards the sky. Roar! The phantom of the divine dragon roared fiercely, transforming into a torrent that surged into the spear. The spear shaft instantly darkened, with a coiling dragon spiraling around it. Great destruction spear technique. He shouted angrily, the spear tip pointing straight at the sky. Boom, boom, boom. The long spear clashed with countless gun shadows, shaking the heavens and earth, and a massive shockwave spread in all directions. This impact had no effect on Ling Xiao, but it caused the middle-aged gunmaster's bones to shatter wildly. He gritted his teeth and fired continuous gun shadows, fighting desperately to resist, because if he stopped, death was certain. Pop! Blood sprayed from his mouth, and white bones became visible. Click! His right hand bone was fractured, and he hurriedly switched to holding the gun with his left hand, but it was already too late. Damn it, I still lost. He sighed in despair, watching as the master of the devastating gun technique shattered countless gun shadows and instantly fired them toward him. Rumble! Amid the loud explosion, the gunmaster turned into a blood mist. The blood mist transformed into data streams, and dissipated in the arena. The disappearance of the data stream means the complete destruction of both body and soul, total death. Ling Xiao, at this moment, is completely victorious. Roar! In the sky, a huge spear of light suddenly erupts accompanied by the roar of a dragon. The light particles scatter and vanish instantly into the horizon. Finally won. This battle was really thrilling. Ling Xiao laughed heartily, his blood boiling with excitement. This was the first time since he arrived in this era that he experienced such a thoroughly exhilarating fight. Although he didn't go all out, he unleashed his full strength and didn't use any elemental powers at all, making it almost the same as fighting at full capacity. B. Congratulations on successfully defeating your opponent. The next challenge is about to begin. A prompt sounded in his mind. A powerful energy suddenly surged, and the originally destroyed arena was instantly restored to its original state. In the buzz of spatial fluctuations, another opponent suddenly appeared. This time, Ling Xiao did not hold back at all. The sacred holy light erupted instantly, killing the opponent in just one glance. If the middle-aged marksman were present, he would surely be furious. He had given his all, thinking he lost only because he was slightly weaker than Ling Xiao, not expecting that Ling Xiao hadn't even used 1/10 of his strength, or even 1%. After all, he had yet to unleash his strongest destructive power in void power. Consecutively defeating the 7th, 6th, 5th, and up to the 2nd place, Ling Xiao swept through like a storm, unstoppable. Every opponent who appeared was instantly annihilated by the holy light strike. The geniuses who were instantly killed were stunned, completely confused, and some even fell before they could clearly see Ling Xiao's appearance. Congratulations on defeating the 2nd place. Prepare to challenge the 1st place. The prompt sounded again. Ling Xiao's gaze locked onto the opponent. From past experience, the 1st place usually far surpasses the 2nd place. It was uncertain if this was still the case this time. The 2nd place's peak strength is approximately equivalent to the 6th level of the galactic realm, while the 1st place reaches the 8th level, making it 4 times stronger. The power boost skyrocketed from 300,000 times to 1,200,000 times, an astonishing difference. A buzz sound as streams of data fell from the void, quickly coalescing into the figure of a young girl. Ling Xiao's eyes flickered. It's actually a female cultivator. A female top ranker is extremely rare. This is very interesting. The girl gradually took shape, a humanoid cultivator. With a flash of light, an elven girl dressed in a green long robe appeared. Elven race? This kind of race actually exists? Ling Xiao stared at the transparent wings on her back, her pointed ears, and amber eyes, suddenly intrigued. The girl gripped her weapon tightly, her expression serious, clearly lacking combat experience, at least not having fought with other races multiple times. The legendary hidden race's super genius? Why does she have such a strong life aura? Could it be that she has mastered the life element? Ling Xiao speculated. He frowned tightly, but life element combat power is is relatively weak. How could she become number 1? He watched the elven girl warily. Suddenly, a flash of insight struck him. No, what she has comprehended is not the ordinary life element, but the legendary power of life. Surprise surged in my heart. As is well known, mastering one of the 10 supreme powers, the life force, signifies extraordinary potential. There are fewer than 100 high elementals in the universe. 90% of them only attain enlightenment after reaching the immortal realm. The rest can only be mastered at the Divine King realm. As for Ling Xiao, though at the planetary realm, he already possesses the power of destruction, which is simply a dimensionality reduction strike. Now, before his eyes, another genius who may have comprehended the power of life has appeared. This shocked Ling Xiao to the extreme. The probability is almost zero. It is simply unbelievable for two supreme elemental geniuses to appear simultaneously. However, Ling Xiao was clear in his mind that his situation was special and there was no need to worry too much. Let's try first. Don't rush to conclusions. It might just be the 14th level life-creating force, not necessarily the true life force, he said calmly. Seeing the other party's slightly shy expression, Ling Xiao smiled faintly and directly asked, "Are you using life force?" "Ah, how did you know?" Cecilia was immediately stunned. Oh no. She hurriedly covered her mouth, realizing that her ability had been exposed. Her master, the Holy Spirit Emperor, once warned her never to reveal her identity as the life force, or else not even the entire empire could protect her. It's over. If I'm found out, I'm doomed. Thinking of this, Cecilia's tears instantly welled up. Ling Xiao looked at her muttering expression and shook his head helplessly. This child is truly pure, not pretending. Can I take back what I just said? Cecilia spoke awkwardly. Ling Xiao was speechless. I heard it all. Do you also understand the power of time, able to reverse time? Cecilia became even more panicked. Can't take it back? Then what should I do? I don't want to die yet. Ling Xiao sighed. Right now, only the two of us know. As long as you don't reveal it, I won't say a word. Cecilia's eyes lit up, and she flew in front of Ling Xiao, her gaze full of anticipation. Really? You won't tell? Why say it? It does me no good. Ling Xiao responded coldly, while feeling the overwhelming life force within her body, his brows slightly furrowed. But haven't you practiced the hidden technique? Such an obvious aura. Anyone with a bit of insight can see it, Ling Xiao asked. Yes, but I got scared when I saw you and forgot to activate it. Cecilia suddenly remembered, hurriedly activated the technique, and the aura instantly disappeared. I don't feel anything now. Since that's the case, let's start the battle. Ling Xiao nodded, faintly sensing the pulse of the supreme power as well. Battle? Forget it. I admit defeat. I'm no match for you. Cecilia held her wand and stepped back, genuine fear in her heart. The destructive power within Ling Xiao made her feel despair. Although the 10 supreme powers are roughly equal in level, except for time and space, the oppressive feeling of destruction is incomparable to the others. The power of destruction is the most terrifying killing force. The power of life is strong, but more like an aid. When a real battle begins and both sides are evenly matched, the power of destruction will surely win, and the power of life will surely lose. Ling Xiaoyuan far surpassed Cecilia, and Cecilia instinctively felt fear. If Cecilia were stronger, Ling Xiao would only be fired up to fight, never afraid. This is the destructive power of a reckless youth. Try hitting me with your strongest move. If I don't die, you admit defeat. If I die, then you win. Ling Xiao said directly, unwilling to harm this foolish girl. Does it hurt? Cecilia asked innocently, a question that left Ling Xiao dumbfounded. Big sister, we are all cultivators. How can you ask that and still fight? Now, immediately, attack. Ling Xiao shouted helplessly. Before he finished speaking, Cecilia raised her magic wand with a wronged yet determined expression. Great supreme god of life, I invoke in the name of Cecilia Lostrai. She chanted a grand magical incantation. Buzz. The void surged, an endless breath of life sweeping over. Ling Xiao's expression grew serious. Cecilia was at the 10th level of the planetary realm, far surpassing himself. Moreover, she mastered the supreme elements, her strength not to be underestimated. He could fail at any moment. He quickly concentrated the power of destruction into his spirit, sensing a change, and immediately erupted, destroying the opponent's life force. At this moment, Cecilia's chant was nearing its end. In my name, slay the person before me. Life, ignite. A streak of light instantly surged into Ling Xiao's body, moving so fast that even his heightened vigilance couldn't react in time. Boom! The force of life ignited explosively within him. Ling Xiao was startled to realize that the life force inside him had been ignited, burning wildly. Life force represents lifespan. The stronger the power, the stronger the life force. With each breakthrough to a new realm, the life force surges dramatically, but it is still limited. Even in the state of eternal life, with infinite lifespan, it is because they can resist part of the passage of time. Their lifespan does not decrease over time, achieving a certain kind of immortality. But once this move is used, the lifespan is still ignited. When the lifespan burns out, it is complete death. This is exactly the case with Ling Xiao now. Although he possesses an immortal divine body, with vitality billions of times that of an ordinary person and extreme resistance to burning, at this rate, death within a few years is inevitable. An ordinary peak planetary level being would fall in an instant. In a real battle, Ling Xiao could take advantage of this time to kill the the opponent, but death within a few years is inevitable for himself. At this moment, he completely understood the opponent's combat tactics. For others, this move is unbeatable. Life burns, not to mention the peak of planetary level. Even the top of the stellar level peak ranking can't last a second. Although this second is enough to kill Cecilia, in reality, the opponent is doomed to die after 1 second. The top combat power on the stellar level ranking is at the Star Sea realm. By this calculation, at the moment of mutual destruction, Cecilia could even kill a cosmic level powerhouse. Stronger opponents would not be affected, they could escape, and Cecilia's life-burning attack would miss. In that case, Ling Xiao sneered, life force poses little threat to me. Destroy it. Ling Xiao suddenly unleashed the power of destruction. Buzz! The flame of life instantly extinguished like a candle flickering in the wind. Even more astonishingly, the destructive power backlashed on the previously damaged vitality, reversing it back to full health. Ling Xiao was shocked. Can even abstract vitality be destroyed? Seeing this, Cecilia said disappointedly, are you okay? I told you, I'm no match for you. Your vitality has no effect on me. Cecilia said helplessly. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. I see, then I admit defeat. Don't spread what happened to me. Cecilia suddenly understood and quickly reminded. Don't worry, I keep my word. Ling Xiao nodded. Alright, see you again if there's a chance. Cecilia waved her hand, turning into a stream of light and disappearing. System Prom. Congratulations on defeating the number 1 on the leaderboard. For your first time topping the planetary level strongest list, the rewards are as follows. Please choose. 1. 10 Divine Kingdom coins. Note, the virtual currency system includes virtual coins, Domain Lord coins, Realm Lord coins, Divine Kingdom coins, and Supreme Universe coins. 1 Divine Kingdom coin is equivalent to 1 13th rank low-grade weapon. 2. 1 13th rank low-grade perfect quality weapon, pill, formation, or cultivation technique valued at 100 Divine Kingdom coins. 3. Any non-rare medicinal herbs, refining materials, or formation materials below the 13th tier supreme grade valued between 10 to 1000 Divine Kingdom coins. This time, Ling Xiao no longer hesitated and directly said, give me a dark-themed 13th tier lower grade weapon and also a set of 13th tier lower grade combat armor. Martial skills and techniques still need to be cultivated. The 11th tier is sufficient for that, but weapons and armor must be upgraded. Perfect quality at the 13th tier, after. Repair at least 14th tier, possibly even 15th tier. With enough energy to activate them, they can even kill immortal level strong opponents, providing invincible defensive power. This was his decision upon seeing the Dark Demon Heavenly Empress. The system responded, selection completed. The order has been issued. Delivery within 1 day. Ling Xiao sneered coldly, 1 day? Perfect timing to fix the loophole. Deliver me to the top of the stellar level leaderboard. His gaze was firm, ready to frantically enhance his strength. Within the Milky Way, a 7th-tier spaceship sped towards the ancestral star of the human race at an astonishing speed. In less than a few minutes, the spaceship arrived in front of a small blue planet. Click! The cabin door slowly opened. An old man leapt out of the cabin, his gaze fixed on the planet before him, sharp light flickering in his eyes. Excitement surged in his heart. Finally back. After so many years, Earth remains as it was. Unfortunately, as the ancestral star of our human race, it is too small. If it weren't for inheriting the Atlantis civilization in the Bermuda Abyss back then, the human race would never have developed to this point. The old man's gaze was heavy as he spoke softly. Earth is truly insignificant in the vast universe. This old man is none other than the martial god of the human race. After a relentless journey through day and night, he finally arrived at his homeland. However, he was completely unaware that a cataclysmic change was occurring in the Milky Way at this very moment. The orders issued by Ling Xiao before leaving had triggered a bloody purge within the human race. Hundreds of trillions of traitorous elites were completely eliminated within a few hours. These individuals were spread everywhere, holding prominent positions from the president of the Martial Artists Alliance in small towns to overlords of intermediate star systems, none spared. Even more terrifying, those interstellar-level powerhouses had their souls directly crushed by the Guardians, leaving not a trace behind. It was precisely them who caused the deaths of countless geniuses, their achievements concealed, and the news blocked by the intelligent cores of the 4 major races. Although the intelligent cores of the 4 races have yet to control the supreme core of the human race, hiding the news of the defection was effortless. Now that the truth has been exposed, the traitors have nowhere to hide. Even the disciples and descendants of the Guardians were without exception executed. Because of this, the Guardians actually forgot to notify the martial god. The martial god returned anxiously, passing through various places, and seeing that the human race's order was not disrupted, he felt somewhat relieved. Mainframe, what is the current situation of the human race? He immediately connected to the Supreme Mainframe. Previously, due to the great distance, he was unable to contact the Supreme Mainframe, who was only at the 7th rank. Now, communication was smooth and unobstructed. Beep. Identity verification complete. The first controller Wushan has arrived. Honorable Lord Wushan, what information do you require? The intelligent brain responded calmly and swiftly. Of course, the movements of the 4 clans. What happened in the secret realm? I personally went there, yet found found it deserted? The war god's voice was steady, revealing unease. He arrived at the entrance of the secret realm, originally expecting to personally suppress the strong warriors of the 4 clans, but only saw desolation. Upon returning, the first task was to inquire about the situation within the clan. Deep, Honorable Wushan, the guardian Ling Xiao has slain the strong warriors of the 4 clans. The 4 clans within the Milky Way have been completely annihilated. The human warriors are now taking over the territories and remaining resources of the 4 clans. The Supreme Court detailed the process. After hearing this, Wushan's gaze froze. Ling Xiao, at the age of just 15, actually killed a stellar-level peak powerhouse? TSK. Such a genius is probably hard to find a second one in the extreme cold star domain. Unfortunately, the martial god does not know that although the extreme cold star domain commands his respect, it is nothing more than an ant in Ling Xiao's eyes. Even the creator of the extreme cold star domain often fights alongside Ling Xiao, relying entirely on him for revenge. This Ling Xiao is truly a blessing to our clan. With such a rare talent, he might one day lead humanity back to the Atlantis civilization and truly acknowledge our ancestral roots. The war god was overwhelmed with excitement. Over the years, he had tried many times to enter the Atlantis civilization, that advanced society filled with 11th tier powerhouses. The strongest among them were super beings at the domain lord level. He could only linger on the outskirts of civilization, lacking the strength to make any progress. Over tens of thousands of years, he repeatedly applied for the human race to be included in the Atlantis civilization, but ultimately only received cold treatment, simply rejection. The current human race is simply too weak. The 7th level civilization of Atlantis is unwilling to accept them, as acceptance means a series of support policies. They would never allow a civilization without strength or potential to pass. Only by reaching the 9th level, or by producing a super genius, can an exception be made for application. These are the ironclad conditions of the Atlantis civilization. Over the years, Wushan has been running around everywhere, visiting many 10th tier civilizations of the archaic tribes, and the result was always the same. The human race must first reach an 8th tier civilization. Although this goal is grand, Wushan still holds hope to witness the rise of the human race within his lifetime. So he desperately improves his strength, firstly to extend his lifespan, and secondly to integrate human civilization into higher tier civilizations. With the powerful protection of the archaic tribes, the overall strength of the human race can rapidly leap forward. And now, Ling Xiao has given Wushan hope. If Ling Xiao's talent is not fabricated, tomorrow I will send his information to Atlantis. In this way, the human race might be able to break the rules and enter their civilization. Wushan couldn't help but feel excited. However, he knew the situation was complicated and he had to ask the protector Luotian and others in detail about this super genius Ling Xiao. After all, according to the data from the Supreme Court, Ling Xiao's strength might have already surpassed his. With this in mind, Wushan did not hesitate, tore through the void, and headed straight for Earth. The protector Luotian was stationed at the human race's elite training camp. This aura is too violent. Just as he entered Earth's atmosphere, Wushan sensed a strong aura erupting somewhere on Earth. This power was deeply concealed, yet it emitted a sense of oppression, even shocking the martial god. Could it be Ling Xiao? No, he uses light energy. This is clearly dark energy. Sensing this terrifying aura, the martial god furrowed his brows. He realized the other party was desperately hiding themselves. Could there be a powerful hostile force lurking within the human territory? The martial god's expression changed abruptly. Only a genuine threat would go to such lengths to hide. It must be thoroughly investigated and, if harmful, immediately eradicated. With a serious gaze, the martial god took a step and rapidly descended. Soon, he landed on the ground. First junior high school? It's actually here? Could it be that some mentor got into trouble? He stared at the school sign, his heart heavy. If an outbreak really occurs here, with the opponent's dark energy and aura at the 4th or 5th level of the stellar realm, the entire future of humanity will be instantly destroyed. He immediately flew deep into the academy, determined to eliminate the hidden danger, or else the consequences would be endless. Xiaohei, the classes here are really boring. When will brother come back? On the martial arts training ground, Ling Yuran yawned out of boredom. Since receiving the holy light power gifted by Ling Xiao, her talent has greatly improved over time. The power of the mighty elements is truly terrifying. Although her cultivation talent has not yet reached the top tier SS level, it is definitely at the S level. With the aid of the power of the holy light, her talent has undoubtedly broken through to the SS level. More importantly, the power of the holy light contains the strong vital energy left behind by Ling Xiao. Therefore, at this moment, in a short period of time, her realm has reached the 10th level of the postnatal stage, making her the top existence in this middle school. After all, she is only 13 years old. Ow! Hearing Ling Yuren's words, the little black on his shoulder also yawned out of boredom. It had already grown to the 6th peak realm. With the addition of his own extremely empowered SSS level supernatural ability, his combat power had long surpassed the norm, comparable to a 7th tier strongman. With such strength, no wonder he was targeted by the martial god. Although Xiaohei tried hard to hide his aura against the martial god, the strongest human warrior who possessed countless special techniques techniques and peerless martial skills, the concealment lasted only a moment. Soon, the martial god sensed Xiao Hei's true strength. Number 290. Ling Yuran was daydreaming when the instructor's cold and stern voice suddenly reached her ears. Don't think you can skip class just because you got in through the back door. And that black lizard of yours, how many times have I told you, low-level star beasts are not allowed in the beginner class, country bumpkin. Ling Yuran was so startled that she lowered her head and remained silent. Ling Zhao's identity was extremely secret, known only to a few. The instructor before them was merely a grandmaster-level cultivator, not qualified to know Ling Zhao, let alone that Ling Yuran was his sister. In the past few days, the instructor had repeatedly insulted Ling Yuran, believing that her transfer into the class lowered the class's overall strength. When Ling Yuran first arrived, her realm had not even reached the postnatal stage, pitifully weak. Surrounded by geniuses at the first and second postnatal levels, she was regarded as a waste. The instructor, however, was unaware that she had long since broken through to the 10th level of the postnatal realm. Little Black, roar! Hearing her master insulted, Little Black let out a thunderous roar and charged straight at the instructor. The students in the class took pleasure in the misfortune, once believing Ling Yuran was the descendant of a super strong warrior, only to later find out she came from an unremarkable small planet, with the only genius in her family sent to this place. They speculated that it might be a genius from the top academy, but the only genius recently admitted, Sikong Shui, had died in the secret realm. After learning the truth, the geniuses who originally wanted to befriend Ling Yuran all distanced themselves from her, and several girls, because of her beauty, caused trouble for her every day. Fortunately, Xiao Hei always beat them to the ground, leaving them with broken teeth. The power of a third-rank star beast easily crushed these small pests. Now, seeing the black lizard dare to roar wildly at the instructor, everyone was excited, waiting to see it get beaten up. Oomph! The instructor snorted coldly, his momentum surging like a tidal wave. The shockwave was strong enough to injure an acquired martial artist, and Ling Yuran, who hadn't even reached that level, was in grave danger. Boom! A terrifying force suddenly slammed into Ling Yuran. Buzz! Everyone was shocked. The attack actually dissipated the moment it reached in front of her, and she was not harmed at all. Little Black, roar! Rage erupted, and Little Black spread the flesh wings on his back. Ling Xiao entrusted him to protect Ling Yuran, but she repeatedly endured. Faced with such arrogance, daring to lay a hand on the master's sister, he would never tolerate it. Blocking my attack? Black lizard, what kind of monster are you exactly? The instructor's face suddenly changed, and even he, at the grandmaster level, showed a trace of fear. Roar! A thunderous roar exploded from Little Black's mouth. His body rapidly expanded at an astonishing speed, 10 meters, 100 meters, 1,000 meters in the blink of an eye. Little Black's form swelled into a giant dragon tens of thousands of meters long, immense and suffocating. Rage surged, and Xiao Hei's realm instantly broke through, soaring from the peak of the 6th rank to the first star of the 7th rank. The powerful aura stirred the ground, causing tremors, and even the surrounding stars trembled in response. A 7th rank star beast? The grandmaster level expert's expression changed drastically, collapsing to the ground with a face full of terror. He never expected that his student was actually taming a 7th rank star beast, a being even a martial god would find difficult to control. The other students were even knocked unconscious by Xiao Hei's terrifying aura. Fortunately, Xiao Hei was extremely restrained because of Ling Yuran, otherwise, not a single one of these useless students would have survived. Roar! A deafening dragon roar erupted as one of Xiao Hei's heads suddenly opened its blood-red mouth wide. A pillar of scorching black flames shot out violently, crashing toward the grandmaster level expert. Just as the opponent was about to be hit, a furious shout suddenly came from the sky. Scatter! Bang! The black flames exploded in the air, turning into countless fragments scattered across the sky. Xiao Hei's expression changed abruptly, staring sullenly at the sky. What's going on, Xiao Hei? Ling Yuran asked curiously, her gaze following Xiao Hei's. In the distant sky, suddenly appeared a kind-faced old man, his face familiar. This is a martial god? Ling Yuran's eyes burst with admiration. Martial gods are revered by everyone in the mortal world, and the one who just stopped the attack was none other than this martial god. Roar! Xiao Hei glared fiercely at the martial god, feeling the unparalleled pressure emanating from him. He knew he was no match, shielding Ling Yuran with both heads, warily staring at the martial god. Martial god, save me! The grandmaster instructor, who had almost been killed just now, shouted hoarsely for help. Silence! Wushin gave him a cold glare, and a terrifying aura instantly suppressed him, leaving the instructor speechless. Wushin had long been secretly observing everything and, upon noticing Ling Yuran being bullied, his anger surged like a tidal wave. While reviewing the information, he was shocked to discover that Ling Yuran was actually Ling Zhao's sister. What was even more intolerable to him was that the #1 junior high school in Zuxing was experiencing a campus bullying outbreak. If it were an ordinary child, just 2 days here would be enough to be driven to collapse by these so-called geniuses. At this moment, the martial god was furious beyond control. Your name is Ling Yuran, right? Don't worry, I will personally handle this matter. The martial god slowly descended, looking at Ling Yuran with gentle eyes, smiling as he spoke. As soon as he finished speaking, his face suddenly turned cold, and his palm abruptly clenched vanished into the void. The Grandmaster Instructor was lifted by an invisible force, suspended in the air. Lord Martial God, don't be fooled by her. I am a junior high school teacher, and this student is lawless, disrespecting the teacher, not. The Star Beast is causing trouble here, the Grandmaster level expert shouted urgently. But before he could see the situation clearly, he was coldly stopped by the Martial God. Do you think I'm blind? I'm saving you not because you're valuable, but because if you die, how will others be warned? The Martial God's voice was like ice, striking straight at the heart. As soon as these words were spoken, the Grandmaster's face changed drastically. He was about to argue but was choked by an invisible force, unable to make a sound. Boom, boom, boom. As Xiao He erupted, the planetary-level protectors of the ancestral star flew in from afar one after another. Seeing this massive star beast, everyone's expressions instantly darkened. Hurry, surround it. The Guardians are all reclaiming the territories of the four major races. Quickly go and summon the Luotian Guardians. Quick, quick. Amidst the roaring shouts, the strong exerted all their power, trying to restrain Xiao He. Roar! Xiao He roared, instantly enraged. Don't move, Xiao He, don't move. Ling Yuran hurriedly stopped him, her voice firm and strong. Xiao He coldly glanced at the strong figures in the sky. Boom! His breath suddenly exploded, and the restrained energy was immediately shattered. Fought! Those strong warriors all spat blood, their breath completely lost, looking miserable. They drew their swords in fear, ready to fight to the death. Xiao He's anger flared up again, preparing to take action. Stop! The voice of the martial god suddenly rang out, and all the planetary-level experts were stunned instantly. The voice was incredibly familiar. Everyone turned their heads to find the source, their expressions changing drastically. Martial God Lord. This star beast was actually brought by Martial God Lord? Of course, otherwise how could one enter the ancestral star silently? If it were me, the Supreme Brain would have discovered it long ago. The strong warriors were stirred with excitement, all heading towards the Martial God. Greetings, Martial God. Greetings, Martial God. Salutes rose in succession, the atmosphere solemn and stirring. For tens of thousands of years, the Martial God rarely returned to the Milky Way. Only stellar-level human elites would meet him. This return stirred the admiration of countless planetary-level elites. Among them were even those who had never seen the Martial God but had a deep impression of his voice and image. Are you Ling Yuran? The Martial God walked up to her, his expression calm, his tone tinged with apology. I can't believe such a thing happened among our people. I will investigate thoroughly. Ling Yuran nodded excitedly, trust shining in her eyes. Xiao He, shrink down, we're safe now. She gently patted Xiao He's head, her voice soft yet firm. Roar! Although reluctant, Xiao He slowly shrank his body, his vigilance undiminished. The Martial God growled lowly, his voice rolling like thunder, full of warning. If you make another move, I will show no mercy. Before he finished speaking, his figure began to rapidly shrink. In the end, he transformed into a small lizard, lightly landing on Ling Yuran's shoulder. This transformation shocked the Martial God's heart. He had seen star beasts that could grow larger, but had never seen one that could suddenly shrink from a 7th-ranked giant beast tens of thousands of meters tall to a lizard just a few dozen centimeters long. These three black dragons are definitely no ordinary beings. The Martial God frowned deeply, a dark current stirring in his heart. However, there were even more urgent matters at hand. He turned to the planetary-level protectors of the human race, his gaze sharp as a torch. Everyone, stand up. Facing the planetary-level guardians, Wushan spoke concisely and forcefully. Who is in charge of the Ancestral Star's education department? Have him come to see me immediately. His cold voice was full of vigilance. These so-called instructors actually allowed such scum to exist, nurturing profit-driven wastes who would surely betray the human race in the future. A planetary-level emperor of the 7th heaven hurriedly replied, Lord Wushan, the head of the Ancestral Star's education department is Ouyang Yuan. But, before he finished speaking, he fell silent. Ouyang Yuan? That bastard. Speak! The god of war's gaze was as sharp as a blade. Ouyang Yuan, son of Ouyang Luan, the human guardian, was indeed gifted. The god of war had once rewarded him with cultivation, resources to help him ascend to a planetary-level powerhouse. But unexpectedly, he had infiltrated the Ministry of Education and allowed a harmful element to teach. Ouyang Yuan betrayed us, defected to the Shisua tribe, causing the deaths of 12 S+ geniuses and over 300 S-level geniuses. The evidence is conclusive, and he was personally executed by Ouyang Luan. Ouyang Luan is currently in critical condition due to emotional turmoil and is undergoing emergency treatment. The Strong One respectfully and solemnly reported, this bastard dares to betray the human race. Investigate thoroughly. Anyone related to Ouyang Yuan must be eliminated without trial. The martial god was burning with rage. Father and son both became traitors, a disgrace to the human race. Martial god, the list of all traitors has been completed, and the guardians have secretly eliminated 99% of them. At this moment, the Strong One uploaded a list. The war god's eyes suddenly contracted, and the enormous numbers on the list caused his expression to change drastically. Among the trillions of clan members, there were actually tens of thousands of traitors from life planets. This number far exceeded his imagination. Is the list absolutely accurate? No mistakes? The war god took a deep breath and questioned. The number of geniuses each traitor traitor had killed, the rewards they received, and even video evidence were all recorded in detail on the list. Reporting to Lord Martial God, all the information was personally sent by Guardian Ling Xiao, absolutely accurate. The powerful figure responded solemnly. The planetary-level expert spoke respectfully. What? Guardian Ling Xiao? How did my brother become a protector of the human race? Ling Yuran heard this and was instantly stunned. A few days ago, Ling Xiao said he had just broken through to the Grandmaster realm, so how has he now become a protector of the human race? That is a title reserved for stellar-level super-strong experts. As soon as the planetary-level expert finished speaking, Ling Yuran nearby couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. As soon as she spoke, all the planetary-level experts' expressions changed drastically. The dragon-taming girl before them was actually Ling Xiao's sister. If it weren't for her, who would keep a powerful stellar-level star beast as a pet? The expert, imprisoned by the martial god and unable to speak, widened his eyes in complete despair upon hearing this. He thought Luo Lingshuan's brother was just an ordinary student at the top academy, but unexpectedly, he was Ling Xiao, the strongest warrior of the human race. Ling Xiao was no ordinary person. He could easily crush the emperors of the four great races. To think he treated his sister like this was utterly despairing. He knew clearly that no one in the human race could save him. Ling Xiao, it's actually him? And this young man again. Wu Shentong's pupils slightly contracted. Yes, if not for Ling Xiao, who else could have obtained this crucial information? Even the supreme brain of the human race was blocked from this information by the four great races. This is also why, over so many years, the spies of the four great races have been so difficult to uncover. He once thought there wouldn't be many spies, but he didn't expect the number to be terrifyingly high. Those who can be called spies are all extraordinary individuals. At such a ratio, there must be a traitor among the top 100. Wushan began to doubt whether his own human civilization was destined for glory. After all, if 1/10 of the strong betray, once exposed, it would become a laughingstock among many races. Rumble. Suddenly, a world-destroying aura came from the sky. At this moment, all the planets in the entire solar system were instantly frozen. The sun and several major planets trembled wildly, their might terrifying. The martial god's face changed drastically. A galactic realm powerhouse? What's going on? He was utterly shocked. There was actually a galactic realm powerhouse within the human territory, and they froze the entire solar system upon arrival. Clearly not a benevolent figure. The martial god looked up, staring intently at the source of the aura. That glance caused his pupils to contract sharply. A massive spaceship hovered above the Earth, a colossal entity with a diameter thousands of times larger than the Earth itself, terrifying beyond measure. Ninth-tier spaceship? The legendary ninth-tier spaceship? Impossible. Wushan was utterly despairing. If it were a first or second-level star system realm expert, he could still resist desperately, but a ninth-level spaceship is a super-existence of the Star Sea realm. Such a colossal being actually descended upon Earth. Ha! Why have Grandpa Martial God and the others stopped talking? At this moment, a voice of confusion came from beside Ling Yuran. Martial God's pupils contracted. It was Ling Yuran. She and that little black dragon were not imprisoned after all? Wait, could it be? An incredible thought flashed through Wushan's mind, his pupils contracting sharply. Yuran, are you okay? I sensed Xiao He used all his strength. What just happened? An anxious voice came from the sky. Buzz. Space twisted, and Ling Xiao's figure instantly appeared in front of Ling Yuran. Brother? Seeing Ling Xiao, Ling Yuran couldn't believe it, excitedly rushing to him and falling into his arms. Brother, it's really you. You finally came back. Lying in Ling Xiao's arms, Ling Yuran finally broke down in tears. These past few days, she had been acting as if nothing mattered, not because she wasn't hurt by being bullied. She was just sensible and didn't want Ling Xiao to know, because she knew that although Ling Xiao was incredibly talented, his combat power was only at the Grandmaster level. After all, this was something Ling Xiao had admitted himself. But this is the human empire capital, where even an ordinary person is a Grandmaster, and there are even planetary-level warriors patrolling every day. She was afraid of what impulsive actions her brother might take if he found out. From the conversation just now between Wushan and the others, she learned that Ling Xiao had already become the guardian of the human race. Hearing Ling Yuran's words, a cold murderous intent immediately ignited in Ling Xiao's eyes. Black, send me everything that has happened to Yuran in the past few days. Ling Xiao did not hesitate, his voice cold and stern. Ling Yuran could never have cried like this. Something serious must have happened. Yes, master, the data has been transmitted, and all involved parties have been identified. Black replied decisively. Scenes flashed through Ling Xiao's mind. At the first junior high school, none of those who dared to bully his sister escaped unscathed. Rage instantly surged through his entire body. VZZZ. He suddenly unleashed a terrifying power that could imprison the entire solar system, the air vibrating with a thunderous roar. Wushan and the others immediately regained their ability to move. The martial god finally saw the legendary youth. The guardian of Ling Xiao has arrived. That aura just now was actually the power of the guardian of Ling Xiao. So strong, it felt as if heaven and earth had stopped. Unbelievable. The surrounding planetary-level experts were excited to see Ling Xiao, yet they had not realized the depth of his anger. Ling Xiao, I am Wushan, don't act impulsively. me. I will handle this matter. Wushan shouted anxiously. The faces of the surrounding planetary-level experts all changed, and the atmosphere grew tense. You don't need to intervene. My sister was bullied, and as her brother, I will personally seek justice for her. Ling Xiao responded calmly, a cold light flashing in his eyes. He waved his right hand, and dazzling light blossomed in the void. Puff 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 puff. The light spread like a tide in all directions around the ancestral star, enveloping the transformed life planets such as Mars, Jupiter, and Venus. What exactly is he trying to do? The martial god's face turned pale, his heart racing. Beep beep beep. Warning alarm. A large number of strong warriors have died within the human territory. The alarm suddenly echoed in Wushan's mind. Wushan's face changed drastically. Ling Xiao, you. A large number of Grandmaster-level strongmen have been killed. What exactly is Ling Xiao doing? The ones who died were the so-called geniuses' parents and elders. Since they won't teach, there's no need to educate them. Ling Xiao said calmly, cold and ruthless. Wushan was shocked and asked tremblingly, you killed them all? From Ling Xiao's information, Wushan knew that the death of his parents was not only due to star beasts and natural disasters but also the inaction of the strong. He once worried that Ling Xiao would hold a grudge against the human race. Now that someone is bullying his sister, it undoubtedly strikes his reverse scale. The past, the present, all clues converge. The martial god furrowed his brows tightly, his heart filled with restless worry. Dare to stop Ling Xiao? No way. At this moment, those so-called genius parents and families, as long as they were within the solar system, none escaped Ling Xiao's slaughter. No matter what contributions they had made to the human race, they could not withstand Ling Xiao's wrath. To put it bluntly, since Ling Xiao's transmigration, apart from receiving some human rewards, he never enjoyed any benefits. Instead, he has been fighting desperately for the human race. From the very beginning, he bore the identity of an orphan, struggling to survive in this world that is incredibly safe for the wealthy but like purgatory for orphans at the bottom. Everything he gave far exceeded what he received. In the end, he even personally wiped out the 4 major races. If it weren't for meeting Luo Yuntian and his daughter, he and Ling Yuran, 2 orphans without any background, would have long since died in this cruel world. However, no matter what he did, his sister was still bullied. After killing all the relatives of those geniuses, his cold gaze swept over the small scum lying on the ground. I pretended the previous incidents never happened. But what happened these past 2 days, I can no longer tolerate. If you have any objections to me, speak up any time, or even try to fight. Ling Xiao's voice was calm, so calm that it was impossible to detect any anger. But these words were like a sharp blade, piercing straight into the heart of the martial god. Despair surged in the martial god's heart. If he really took action, it wouldn't just be his own death. The super genius and super strong individual before him would completely leave the human race, and might even turn hostile towards humanity. And all of this was caused merely by the bullying of a few children. The martial god fell silent, his heart shaken. Yuran, let's go. Ling Xiao stared at the silent martial god, then turned to Ling Yuran and said, Ling Yuran looked around, and all those human experts were so frightened that they dared not move, hastily gripping Ling Xiao's hand. Buzz! The two, carrying the little black on their shoulders, instantly broke through the sky and disappeared above the earth. Just when they thought everything was over, the sky suddenly tore apart, and streams of light fell like rain. Boom boom boom. A deafening roar shook the heavens, and 9 out of 10 of those unconscious geniuses were blasted to death by this force, and that Grandmaster-level instructor soared into the sky in an instant. Awaiting him was a punishment worse than death. Lord Martial God, the guardian of Ling Xiao, has appeared. The surrounding planetary-level experts were shocked and stunned. Since hearing about Ling Xiao's deeds, they only had the word invincible in their hearts. With the strength of one person, he destroyed the 4 great emperors, swept through the Shadow Clan in just 15 days, and even forced back the powerful forces of the Milky Way galaxy. It was precisely him who gave the human race the courage to reclaim the territories of the 4 great races. Now, he actually attacks the strong and talented of the human race. Sigh, the human race ultimately owes a debt to those siblings. The martial god sighed deeply. Looking at the few surviving talents, none of the deceased had ever failed to insult or attack Ling Yuran. Although she had been taught a lesson by the 3-headed dragon, for a 13-year-old girl, the harm caused by insults was far worse than physical blows. Even so, Ling Xiao did not take out his anger on those who had not struck. The heart of the martial god was filled with guilt. He firmly decided that from now on, a thorough purge would be carried out within the human race. This purge would not be like Ling Xiao's, killing 1 in 10,000, but a true cleansing. Only with this can the human race regain its former glory. Unfortunately, Ling Xiao has already left. This departure may mean a complete severance from the human race. Brother, what are you looking at? Under the starry sky, Ling Yuran asked curiously. This earth is no longer the earth it once was. Ling Xiao said softly, his tone filled with complexity. Brother, isn't earth like this everywhere? Ling Yuran looked at him in confusion. Ling Yuran looked at Ling Xiao with doubt and asked, are you really leaving? Ling Xiao's lips curled slightly, calm and indifferent. Maybe, going home. As soon as he finished speaking, he took Ling Yuran and soared into the sky, heading straight for the 11-level spaceship. The spaceship instantly activated, turning into a white light and disappearing at the edge of the solar system. Originally, Ling Xiao wanted to roam the universe, but the virtual universe is no different from reality and can reflect the real world, so there is no need to run around. At least, before the genius war ends, he has no reason to wander everywhere. Inside the spaceship, Sikong Shui stared intently at his master and asked, "Master, what should we do? Should we go back with Ling Xiao?" The Extreme Cold Supreme sighed helplessly and said, "Where else can we go? We don't even have a decent spaceship, so we can't get far if we leave. Besides, why should we leave? This place can connect to the virtual universe, perfect for my master and me to improve our strength. Running around recklessly? With my current situation, I'd be caught by a powerful being and forced to refine pills in no time." He paused, a teasing tone in his voice. "Didn't that brat promise to make me some pills? I wonder if he forgot or is just messing with me on purpose." Before he finished speaking, the void suddenly twisted, and a figure broke through the air. Ling Xiao suddenly appeared before the Extreme Cold Sovereign. The Extreme Cold Sovereign's pupils contracted sharply, exclaiming, "What kind of ability is that? Shattering the void? Only a God King level powerhouse can do that." Even at her peak, she had never seen such a powerful spatial distortion, let alone this young man effortlessly performing it. Ling Xiao laughed, his tone teasing, "Is it necessary to tell you?" The Extreme Cold Supreme rolled his eyes in anger. "Stinky little brother, who cares to know?" Ling Xiao snorted coldly. "The pills have been shipped 12th grade. It will take more than 10 hours to arrive. Just wait patiently." He paused, then said seriously, "I came because I have a question to ask you." A gleam flashed in the eyes of the Extreme Cold Supreme, who said excitedly, "You finally made pills for your sister. Ask away, any question is fine." Ling Xiao got straight to the point. "Do you know about the Atlantis civilization?" Sikong Shui watched quietly, and the Extreme Cold Supreme nodded slightly. Ling Xiao continued, 30 million years ago, the Milky Way had a powerful 8th-level civilization called the Atlantis civilization. Unfortunately, it was destroyed in a great war with another civilization. The human race on Earth is actually a small surviving branch of the Atlantis civilization. The one who defeated Atlantis was a deep-sea civilization, but shortly after, it was completely annihilated by Atlantis's parent civilization, an 11th-level civilization located near a frigid star region. That civilization thought Atlantis was already extinct, so they left. After the extinction of the Earthling civilization, they regressed to a primitive state. Over time, their numbers grew, and civilization slowly rebuilt. It was not until 100,000 years ago that Country M discovered the ruins of Atlantis, marking the beginning of human science. Ling Xiao's words were forceful, carrying endless secrets and a turning point of fate. More and more Atlantis civilization ruins were discovered, and in just 100,000 years, human technology advanced rapidly. Now, with Ling Xiao's rise, humanity has once again become the dominant power in the galaxy. He asked the question out of curiosity. In his previous life, he had heard many legends about Atlantis and had thought they were just fictional stories, never expecting them to be real. What caught his attention even more was whether there were older civilizations before Atlantis. Could it be that at the peak, only the wild tribe dominated? "You mentioned Atlantis? That civilization was indeed extraordinary." The Extreme Cold Sovereign spoke, his voice carrying a hint of mystery. Ling Xiao was slightly stunned. What exactly counted as extraordinary? It is rumored that Atlantis originated from the Hong race civilization. The Hong race and the Huang race look almost identical. The only difference is that the Hong race was not naturally born from heaven and earth, but is the only race created by the mechanical race. This civilization had many powerful beings, and legend has it that there were 7 supreme deities. No one knows why the mechanical race created the Hong race, but some speculate it was to counter the Huang race, as the two races are almost indistinguishable. Although the words of the Extreme Cold Sovereign were limited, they were enough to open Ling Xiao's mind. She was once an 11th ranked domain lord, with limited knowledge, but these rumors were already shocking enough. In other words, we humans of the Milky Way might be descendants of the Hong race? Ling Xiao was full of doubts. Hong race and Huang race, doesn't that mean the primordial wilderness? Could the primordial wilderness in those fantasy novels have a real origin? That's right. If the humans of the Milky Way are descendants of Atlantis, then they are descendants of the Hong race. The Extreme Cold Sovereign nodded in confirmation, and her words made a complex light flash in Ling Xiao's eyes. Knowing the truth, yet still feeling lost. Let's leave it at that for now. I'll send you the elixir when it arrives. By the way, the Cosmic Genius battle starts the day after tomorrow. Sikong Shui, you and your master might want to give it a try. With that, Ling Xiao took his leave, breaking through the void and suddenly departing. The power of the void allows him to instantly merge into it, avoiding the vast majority of attacks. Although he cannot teleport to extremely distant places, this technique of hiding within the void is considered a life-saving skill. To tear the void apart requires at least a powerful realm lord level. Deeper spatial barriers need a God King level expert to break, with each layer's strength increasing, making it progressively harder to break through. Whether Ling Xiao can break through higher layers of space remains unknown. Buzz. Amid the spatial fluctuations, Ling Xiao's figure appeared in the training room and opened his attribute panel. Attribute table. Name, Ling Xiao. Number of fixes, 0 out of 7. Martial arts realm, planetary realm, 7th heaven. Spiritual soul realm, planetary realm, 7th heaven. Vitality, 1 trillion, 1 point equals 30,000 tons of force. Soul, 870 billion. Secondary profession master, 10 types, 8th rank, low grade, 0 out of 100 billion. Legendary. Skill, weapon master, fourfold realm, 2200%, 0/1 million. Talent, undying divine body, immortal level, combat power surge 2000%. Innate supreme body, cosmic level, strength boost by 100 billion times. Holy, light of divinity, cosmic level, power of destruction, immortal level, void dragon body, immortal level, physical strength increased 256 times. Cultivation method, undying soul technique, eternal life level, 7th rank fragmented, power 256 times. Heavenly demon blood escape, 10th rank, frenzied absorption, 13th rank, high grade, frenzied god body, 10th rank, medium grade, power 16 times. Juntian divine cannon, 15th rank, low grade, 8/8, entry level. Martial arts, great destruction spear technique, 11th rank supreme, 2000% damage. Holy light apocalypse, 11th rank supreme, 2000% damage. 9 heavens flash, 11th rank supreme, 2000% speed. Great sun golden body, 11th rank supreme, 2000% defense. Equipment, dark armor, 11th rank supreme, dark magic spear, 11th rank supreme, angel wings, 11th rank supreme. Beast pet, none. Normal combat power, Starsea realm, 1st level. Ultimate combat power, Starsea realm, 4th layer. At this moment, Ling Xiao's breakthrough is astonishing. Planetary realm, 6th layer, with both his soul and martial path reaching the 7th layer, resulting in a qualitative leap in combat power. This incredible leap stems from his brutal training of being killed and reborn repeatedly during fierce battles with countless universe elites in the virtual universe. Although each death requires him to find opponents again, wasting a lot of time, he still managed to gain 300 billion attribute points per hour, soaring to a terrifying 1 trillion. That's right, a full 1 trillion. At this rate, the realm that was originally expected to take more than a day to break through will now see the chi and blood value surpass 100 trillion within 10 hours, entering the first level of the stellar realm. 10 hours, just right. Ling Xiao sneered, a trace of pride curling at the corner of his mouth. The number of repairs is also about to refresh. By then, the repair count will surge to 8 times, allowing for even greater improvement. Without hesitation, he directly activated the virtual universe. Teleport to the duel arena. As the sound fell, his figure vanished instantly. The next moment, Ling Xiao appeared in the duel arena's rest area. A giant screen flashed before him, clearly displaying dozens of random duel and trial icons. This place was different from the strong ranking list. Opponents could be freely chosen, some for free, others requiring a wager, with the winner receiving double the return. A wager? For Ling Xiao, it was nothing but a death sentence. He simply had no time to waste his strength on his opponent. One-on-one duels held no appeal. His goal was the infinite resurrection arena. There, billions of powerful fighters competed simultaneously, with death followed immediately by resurrection, making combat efficiency far greater than one-on-one battles. If it weren't for that, Ling Xiao would never have been able to break through so quickly. Entering the infinite resurrection arena requires a fee, but the one who kills the most can win half of the total prize money, and the top 10 share the remaining half. Ling Xiao didn't care about this small amount of money at all. He had already reached the top of the galactic realm leaderboard through his strength and earned 10 divine king coins. This time, to win the championship, he used the power of destruction for the first time and defeated top experts at the 7th and 8th levels of the Starsea realm. 10 divine king coins are almost infinite wealth at his rank, more than enough to casually buy 10 13th tier weapons. After locking onto the target, Ling Xiao glanced coldly. 300 million people? Just as I like. This is you. Ling Xiao's lips curled slightly, and without hesitation, he paid the lowest level of cosmic coins, directly choosing the universe level infinite resurrection arena where all opponents are universe level. That's right, it's cosmic level. The goal is simple. Die quickly. Linglun 703216220. Deep cosmic level infinite resurrection field selected. Entry condition, below cosmic level realm, 8th heaven. Beginning teleportation. The prompt sound was directly transmitted into Ling Xiao's mind. A cold smile curled at the corner of his mouth. Being below the 8th heaven is a hard requirement, but it doesn't say you must reach a specific heaven level. Even if you're at the body refining stage, as long as you can pay the entry fee, you can come. After all, no one cares if you come to die. Naturally, high-level players have no qualification to enter. The higher the level, the stronger the power who would be foolish enough to risk their life. So here, almost all are universe level 8th heaven experts, with those below the 8th heaven making up at most 1/10. Besides those geniuses and super geniuses, there are also people like Ling Xiao who truly come to die. Ling Xiao's figure flashed, transforming into a virtual data stream, and vanished in an instant. When he reappeared, he was already standing in the center of the massive arena. The sky roared, countless shockwaves ravaging all directions, the fierce battle in full swing. It was perfectly fine for him to join Midway. After all, the competition was based on the number of enemies killed. Choosing to enter Midway meant accepting the fact that the opponents had already slaughtered hundreds of millions, even billions, of equally ranked powerful beings. Having one more delivery naturally does no harm. If it it can rank among the top, those who enter early have even more advantage. No one cared that he gave up this benefit. Fortunately, Ling Xiao had 3 seconds of invincibility right after entering the arena, otherwise he would have been instantly killed. He scanned the surroundings. The sky was filled with powerful warriors engaged in frenzied battles, killing hundreds of thousands of universe-level experts every second. The arena's material was extremely hard, impervious even to Domain Lord-level attacks, otherwise it would have been destroyed long ago. The battle space had a diameter of only 1 light year. 1 light year sounds vast, but for universe-level warriors, it was extremely narrow, almost impossible to unleash their full power. However, 300 million universe-level powerhouses packed within 1 light year is equivalent to squeezing 20 people into a microcar, extremely crowded. Boom! Before he could look further, the protection time ended, and Ling Xiao instantly turned into a blood mist, blown into nothingness. The next moment, he reformed in another location. Boom! The energy wave struck again, and Ling Xiao once again met his end. Then, he fell into a mad cycle of continuous deaths. In just 1 second, he was killed over 100 times. The repair mechanism of the virtual universe was astonishing, instantly reviving Ling Xiao. Ding! Congratulations to the host for reviving from the brink of death. HP plus 3 million, soul value plus 3 million. Ding! Congratulations to the host for reviving from the brink of death. HP plus 3 million, soul value plus 3 million. Ding! Congratulations to the host for reviving from the brink of death. HP plus 3 million, soul value plus 3 million. Countless notification sounds echoed in the mind. Some might think that 3 million HP is too little for Ling Xiao's trillion-level realm, but this is the amount gained with each revival. Ling Xiao revives 100 times in 1 second, equivalent to restoring 300 million points of health and soul value in 1 second. 300 million per second, 18 billion per minute, 1.08 trillion per hour, over 1 trillion. Moreover, both vitality and soul values increase simultaneously, enhancing strength and sync. At this rate, incredible speed. After 9 hours, Ling Xiao's realm will be completely broken through, reaching stellar level 1. He sat cross-legged in the void. Although the movement was simple, it took hundreds of deaths to master. But at this moment, as long as he didn't move, death would automatically rewind, resetting to the state before dying. On the arena, over 300 million universe-level warriors fought like a tide, blood splattering everywhere, yet a young boy sat quietly among them, like a bystander. Each time he died, his position changed rapidly, confusing everyone. Many strong warriors noticed something unusual but sneered, thinking he was ridiculously foolish. Although the infinite resurrection field blocked 99% of the pain, the remaining 1% was still enough to make them suffer unbearably. The high-intensity cycle of death almost drove them to collapse, instead provoking even crazier attacks just to delay the frequency of death. But ironically, the harder they attacked, the faster the battlefield was destroyed. The death count still reached hundreds per second, and almost no one could survive for a second. Only a very few strong individuals managed to reduce the number of revivals by dozens, but still could not break the survival limit. Ignoring the frantic crowd, Ling Xiao continued slaughtering as hours passed one after another. His strength grew rapidly, increasing by 1 trillion in vitality and soul value every hour. Ding! Congratulations host, vitality and soul value have increased to 1.28 trillion, and your realm has advanced to the 8th heaven of the planetary realm. Ding! Vitality and soul value increased to 2.56 trillion, realm advanced to planetary realm, 9th heaven. Ding! Vitality and soul value increased to 5.12 trillion, realm advanced to planetary realm, 10th heaven. Ling Xiao quickly broke through to the planetary realm, 10th heaven, his strength reaching the level of a peak powerhouse, but he still did not stop and continued to face the baptism of death. 8 hours later, his chi, blood, and soul values soared to an astonishing 9 trillion. This round of slaughter has ended. The top 10 will share the entire prize pool. Beginning teleportation. The alert suddenly sounded, causing a shock in Ling Xiao's mind, who then vanished like a streak of light. When he woke up again, he was back in the battlefield. The cultivation time bought with 1 universe coin has run out. He smiled wryly in resignation. There were too many battlefields, countless in number. Without hesitation, he chose once again to enter a new battlefield. You have selected the Infinite Resurrection Field Universe Level Triple Heaven Duel Arena. Current number of participants, 1.4 billion. Beginning teleportation. In the virtual universe prompt, Ling Xiao's figure vanished instantly and reappeared on the familiar battlefield. But this time, the number far exceeded the previous 300 million. Continue, he chuckled softly, finding a comfortable position, ready to die once again. Boom! The blast wave swept through, and Ling Xiao was instantly torn into nothingness. Resurrection has begun again. Ding! Congratulations to the host on resurrecting from the brink of death. HP plus 3 million, soul plus 3 million. Ding! Congratulations, host, on resurrecting from the brink of death. HP plus 3 million, soul plus 3 million. The system prompt continued incessantly, and after an hour, Ling Xiao's chi and blood value finally surpassed 10 trillion. Ding! Congratulations, host, your realm has broken through to the first level of the stellar realm. The next stage of the immortal body has been unlocked. The prompt sound suddenly rang out, and Ling Xiao Xiao abruptly closed his eyes, feeling the earth-shaking changes within his body. Every inch of his cells was dividing at an astonishing speed, vitality soaring, and life force surging like a flood. Cellular activity represents the speed of physical repair, while vitality determines the limit of lifespan. Strangely, Ling Xiao found that his vitality not only did not decrease but actually grew slowly. Infinite lifespan is indeed the standard feature of the immortal god body. This is more like it. The immortal god body, eternal life and immortality are the true way. Immediately after, another prompt sounded in his mind. Ding, host, the indestructible body's physical damage has reached its limit. The body is completely destroyed. As long as the soul exists, instant resurrection is possible. The recovery speed of soul and body is increased by 100 times. A flash of light appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes. The recovery speed multiplied by another hundredfold. Frenzied absorption accelerated cultivation. The speed had skyrocketed to 400 times the original. More importantly, as long as 1/10,000th of the soul remains, full health resurrection is possible. The soul immortality technique level directly leaped to the 9th level of shattering. With the soul power enhancement of the 9th level of shattering, Ling Xiao's strength surged by 512 times. Now, at the stellar realm, most of the power of the soul immortality technique has been activated. At the galactic realm, the soul immortality technique will reach its limit. With eyes sharp as a blade, Ling Xiao clearly understood that in the next few realms, the enhancement from the soul immortality technique would approach saturation, and the power leap would inevitably decline. However, this was expected. It is impossible to always skip levels and fight monsters 3 realms above. Otherwise, wouldn't the domain lord level easily crush the eternal level? The gap between the two is like that between an ant and a giant beast. With only 14th or 15th rank cultivation methods and talents, it is simply impossible to cross that gap. But he was not in a hurry. With 8 repair opportunities in hand, the 12th level cultivation method and talents could both break through their limits. At the Star Sea realm, he would push the soul immortality technique to an even more terrifying level. The recovery speed has increased by 400 times, but the resurrection speed in the infinite trial arena still remains unchanged at 100 times per second. Ling Xiao frowned slightly. The system's revival times are limited. Relying solely on it to increase strength, the growth of vitality and soul in 1 hour is still only at the trillion level. To rise from the first level of the stellar realm with 100 trillion vitality to the second level with 200 trillion vitality requires at least 10 hours. The speed that was once as fierce as a tiger is now far surpassed by his own cultivation speed of 120 trillion per hour. Looking around, Ling Xiao was still going back and forth in the cycle of dying and coming back to life. Wait, if the immortal soul is protected, wouldn't the body always be in a state of repair? That's equivalent to gaining infinite resurrection. Then the cultivation speed would definitely far exceed 120 trillion per hour. His eyes were firm, and soul protection became the breakthrough point. As long as the soul remains undying, cultivation becomes much simpler. Once I advance 5 or 6 levels in realm and unleash the ultimate soul defense, I can withstand all-out attacks from these universe-level triple heavens right before me. The soul and physical body repair simultaneously, and the repair speed during near-death reincarnation far exceeds the cultivation speed of frenzied absorption. A cold light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes, meaning his cultivation speed could soar to 3 to 400 trillion per hour. The stronger the power, the more you just need to appropriately lower your soul defense. Even if my realm reaches the galactic realm and my soul fully blooms, it would still be difficult for a master of the Star Sea realm to easily erase my soul. In case the defense is too high and I get blasted to death, the virtual universe can instantly revive me, so there's no need to worry at all. Amazing. This kind of cultivation method can only be used inside the virtual universe. Outside, without ultra-high soul protection artifacts, you'll crash and burn in no time. With a slight smile at the corner of my mouth, having the system and the undying divine body, I exclusively enjoy this cheat. Cultivation method. Even if the opponent also has the undying divine body, it's absolutely impossible for them to replicate my method. The key is that the energy must keep up, and it must be sufficient in quantity, high in grade, and absolutely not harmful to the body. Unfortunately, there are almost no cases that meet all 3 criteria. High-grade energy bodies mean too much impact on low-level cultivators, and a slight mistake can cause the body to explode and perish. Even gentle high-grade energy bodies have extremely slow loading speeds. After all, being gentle means absorption is inevitably slow. Once the speed increases, it is no longer gentle. But the system repaired all the flaws, perfectly combining the 3 major advantages of life energy and soul energy reserves: high level, terrifying absorption, and absolutely no harm. Thinking of this, I did not hesitate, closed my eyes, and the main consciousness controlled the body to begin cultivation in the real world. Boom! Endless energy surged into the body like a raging flood beast. In an instant, the tendons, flesh, and soul were shattered and driven mad by the energy. Fortunately, my body's self-healing speed is terrifying, repairing tens of thousands of times per second. The injuries vanished instantly. I quickly accelerated my absorption, and my cultivation speed soared from 1,000 times to 4,000 times. My recovery speed also skyrocketed from the original 100 times to a terrifying 400 times. In the past, I could absorb 300 billion energy in an hour of cultivation. Now it directly surged to 1.2 trillion per hour. Ding! Congratulations, host. After 5 minutes of fierce absorption by the physical body and soul, your vitality plus 10 trillion, soul plus 10 trillion. Both your physical realm and divine soul realm have advanced to the second level of the stellar realm. The alert sound echoed in my mind. I continued to cultivate without stopping. Ding! Frenzied absorption for 10 minutes, vitality plus 2 trillion, soul plus 2 trillion. Realm advanced to stellar realm, third layer. Ding! Frenzied absorption for 20 minutes, vitality plus 4 trillion, soul plus 4 trillion. Realm advanced to stellar realm, fourth layer. Time flies swiftly. While consciousness continues to cultivate, I fix my gaze on the last number of repair attempts. That was the extra number of cultivation attempts granted by the system after I advanced to the stellar level. The 8 sacred scriptures are almost reaching perfection, and I will soon be able to synthesize the 15th level skill, the Juntian treasure book. This thing, its power shouldn't be too weak, right? Looking ahead, Ling Zhao's heart was filled with intense curiosity. He was even more eager to know whether, after all 8 sacred texts were fully restored, they could be combined into a higher level cultivation technique. Could a higher level cultivation technique still repair flaws? If possible, it would definitely be even stronger than the current Juntian classic. However, he thought quickly, wasn't there a similar situation before? The repaired cultivation method had already reached perfection and could not be repaired further. Even if the 8 sacred texts could be merged, at most they could only produce a cultivation method identical to the Juntian classic after its repair. Moreover, a cultivation method with repaired flaws cannot be repaired again. His eyes flickered, and Ling Xiao decisively rejected this shortcut. If the cultivation methods synthesized after repairing flaws are all the same, wouldn't the 8 repair attempts be a waste? The Juntian Divine Classic is just a cultivation technique. One chance to repair it is enough. He turned his head to focus on the cultivation progress of the 8 sacred classics. At this moment, all 8 sacred classics had reached the limit of great accomplishment, but they were still far from the perfect realm. No, at this speed, breaking through to perfection within a day is absolutely impossible. In another hour or two, the repair attempts will reset. I need to repair the attribute tables of other techniques first. Frowning deeply, Ling Xiao knew well. Even though his innate Tao body had advanced to the supreme level, reaching the 13th rank constitution, he still couldn't perfect the top-tier 12th rank cultivation method within a single day. After all, the difference between the 12th and 13th ranks is like crossing an entire realm. Moreover, these are the 8 supreme cultivation methods. However, he guessed that before the Cosmic Genius War started, there was enough time. Without hesitation, Ling Xiao opened the attribute sheet. Fortunately, many cultivation methods and martial skills had been perfected, although mostly at the 11th level, they were extremely powerful. It's you! His gaze locked onto the 10th grade superior cultivation technique, Mad God's Body. This was his physical body cultivation method. Precisely because the level was too low, his physical combat power was far inferior to his spiritual combat power. System, immediately repair all the flaws in Mad God's body. The voice was cold and resolute, without any hesitation. Ding! Command accepted. The total vulnerabilities of the Mad God's body amount to 33 trillion, beginning repair. The system prompt instantly entered his mind. He had long been aware of the number of vulnerabilities. It was precisely this number that attracted him to choose this cultivation method. 33 trillion vulnerabilities, once repaired, will directly elevate the technique to a powerful immortal realm cultivation method. More importantly, this is Ling Zhao's first physical body cultivation technique with a flaw reaching the trillion level. The system will provide additional blessings, instantly elevating it to the mid-level immortal realm. And it is a perfect grade. It should be noted that immortal realm cultivation techniques are the pinnacle of the universe, and even many supreme deities find it difficult to reach this level through arduous practice. Most immortal strongmen only master their cultivation methods to proficiency. Perfect? Too difficult. But Ling Xiao not only cultivates, he pushes it to perfection. If this matter spreads, he will become the focus of contention among countless strongmen. Boom! In an instant, the furious memories flooded into the mind like a torrent. It was an extremely powerful physical cultivation technique. Seeing the name and the cultivation method, Ling Xiao was utterly shocked. Could it be that this legendary technique really exists? He was completely stunned. With the power of the system, he finally mastered this cultivation method completely, reaching perfection. Ding! Congratulations, host. The flaw in the Mad God's body has been repaired, successfully activating the perfect cultivation mode. Promotion. 15th tier cultivation method, Law of Heaven and Earth, immortal level. Law of Heaven and Phenomena of Earth, the legendary divine power that created the world. Normally, physical strength increases 64-fold. At critical moments, it can instantly surge billions of times. Explosive power that destroys everything. The system prompt abruptly stopped, and Ling Zhao's eyes flashed, his heart stirred. This Law of Heaven and Phenomena of Earth, having read countless novels in his previous life, how could he not know its fame? Instantly, his body expanded to 1,000,000 kilometers, and his combat power surged 512 times. This defiant power far exceeded exceeded the previous 16-fold enhancement, increasing by a full 4 times, equivalent to his combat power leaping across 2 realms directly. At this moment, his physical combat power had already far surpassed experts in the Soul Realm who did not use the power of destruction, and he was only one step away from truly mastering the peak of destructive power. In the past, his body was too weak. Even increasing power dozens of times brought no combat power growth. Now, his body and destructive power were comparable, a dual explosion of strength with power enough to tear heaven and earth apart. Not trying it would be a huge loss. Ling Zhao's eyes suddenly opened wide, feeling the terrifying power surging within him, fully satisfied. The main consciousness quickly entered the virtual universe. Boom! Countless terrifying forces wildly assaulted his physical body, flesh flying everywhere, yet his bones remained unscathed. Instantly. Self-healing. A miracle. He was only at the stellar level, 3 realms away from the cosmic level, yet he could withstand the cosmic level onslaught. A backstage notification sounded. Ding! Congratulations, host. After 80 minutes of violent absorption of body and soul, vitality plus 160 trillion, soul plus 160 trillion, both physical and spiritual realms have advanced to the 6th heaven of the stellar realm. Ling Zhao's strength had already leapt to the 6th heaven of the stellar realm. Attribute table. Name, Ling Xiao. Number of fixes, 0 out of 8. Martial arts realm, stellar realm, 6th heaven. Spiritual soul realm, stellar realm, 6th heaven. Vitality, 320 trillion, 1 point equals 30,000 tons of force. Soul, 320 trillion. Secondary profession master, 10 types, 9th rank medium grade, 0/3 trillion. Legendary. Skill, weapon master, 5-fold realm, 2500%. Talent, undying divine body, immortal level, combat power times 2000%, innate supreme body, cosmic level, blessing 100 billion times, holy, light of divinity, cosmic level, power of destruction, immortal level, void dragon body, immortal level, physical body times 512 times. Cultivation method, soul immortality technique, eternal life level, 7th rank fragmented, 512 times, heavenly demon blood escape, 10th rank frenzied absorption, 13th rank upper grade, law of heaven and earth, 15th rank medium grade, 512 times, Jun Tian divine canon, 15th rank lower grade, mastery, martial arts, great destruction spear technique, 11th rank supreme, 4000%, holy light world annihilation, 11th rank supreme, 4000%, 9 heavens instant flash, 11th rank supreme, 4000%, great sun golden body, 11th rank supreme, 4000%, equipment, dark armor, 11th rank supreme, dark magic spear, 11th rank supreme, angel wings, 11th rank supreme, beast pet, none, physical combat power, universe realm 6th layer, ultimate combat power, universe realm 9th layer. Now, Ling Zhao's physical combat power has terrifyingly reached the cosmic level 6 realm, and his ultimate battle power has soared to the cosmic realm 9 realm. This is the peak state after the dual eruption of the power of destruction and the law of heaven and earth. He slowly closed his eyes and shouted softly, law of heaven and earth. The next second, his eyes suddenly opened wide, and a thunderous roar burst from his mouth. Ling Xiao suddenly erupted, his body violently swelling, his aura like raging waves, instantly rising to the limit. Rumble! The earth thunderously split open, and the training ground turned into endless cracks. The surrounding universe realm triple heaven experts immediately stopped in their tracks, their gazes all fixed on him, their faces filled with shock. Is this the genius of the Titan God race? His body is terrifyingly immense. Impossible. Unless he is a supreme god, who else could have such a colossal true form? Our attacks are completely ineffective. Ling Zhao's overwhelming aura of law and cosmic power erupted. The aftershocks of everyone's attacks struck him, yet not a single scratch remained. He opened his eyes, which shone like billions of converging stars, deep and awe-inspiring. His right hand clenched suddenly, and a massive black axe instantly materialized. Open! With a roar, the giant axe slashed through the void. Wherever the axe's light reached, countless universe-level warriors instantly turned to nothingness. The shockwave swept across a radius of 1 light-year, annihilating countless beings. SHHRRR. The battlefield was torn open by the flash of an axe, creating a massive maw from which the chaotic void currents surged out like a flood, sweeping everything around. The newly resurrected powerful warriors were instantly devoured, without even a moment to react. Although the space was simulated and the power of the chaotic void currents was slightly inferior to the real realm, it was enough to instantly kill most domain lord-level warriors. The speed was no less than that of the true currents. Billions of chaotic currents struck Ling Xiao, piercing countless blood holes, yet he was not slain. His divine body was immortal, and he repaired his flesh at an astonishing speed, far surpassing before, reaching the expected peak. At the previous speed, it would take 2,560 minutes to advance to the galactic realm, over 40 hours, nearly 2 days. Now, 15 or 16 hours is enough. Ling Zhao's mouth curled up slightly, and his cultivation speed soared rapidly. Ding! Congratulations to the host. Physical body and soul repaired for 50 minutes, vitality value increased by 320 trillion, soul value increased by 320 trillion. Both the physical body and divine soul have simultaneously advanced to the 7th heaven of the stellar realm. In less than an hour, Ling Xiao's realm leapt to the 7th heaven at a speed 3 times faster than before. Ding! Congratulations to the host. The number of repair attempts for the new day has been refreshed. The prompt tone reached his mind directly, and a gleam flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. He had obtained 8 repair opportunities. I currently have 4 major martial skills waiting to be upgraded, plus my weapon, combat suit, and the Juntian Divine Classic. 7 repair chances are more than enough. His gaze was resolute, ready to face even stronger challenges. He needed to break through his limits. The restoration of the Juntian treasure manual will take at least another day, so it's better to use these 8 restoration opportunities to upgrade the innate supreme body first. After upgrading, I can replace all my martial skills with 12th rank supreme martial skills. Once the innate supreme body level is raised, the talent will surge dramatically, and reaching the perfect realm of cultivation will only take a few minutes. A glimmer flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes as he quickly calculated in his mind. 12th rank supreme martial skills are definitely more powerful than the 11th rank ones after restoration. Where to get the techniques? Of course, by challenging the strongest warriors ranking to exchange for Divine King coins and by the top tier techniques. 2 or 3 Divine King coins can buy 1 12th rank technique, and I have 20 coins, so getting 4 techniques is easy. This also avoids the troublesome technique upgrades in the future. In the virtual universe treasury, immortal level potential martial skills are within easy reach. The innate supreme body is a cosmic level talent equivalent to a 13th level talent requiring 9 repairs and fusions. It seems I need to advance my realm first. In the meantime, I'll select the necessary martial skills. Ling Xiao sneered. The demonic blood escape should be replaced as well. After breaking through the limit, it's at most a 10th level technique, no need to waste repair attempts on it. With a determined gaze, Ling Xiao planned the next step. There's still 2 hours left in the match, let's finish it first. He stared at the time and calmly closed his eyes. Ding! Congratulations to the host. The body and soul have been repaired for 100 minutes, with health and soul values each increased by 640 trillion. Both the physical realm and the divine soul realm have simultaneously leapt to the 8th heaven of the stellar realm. An hour and 30 minutes later, Ling Xiao's realm soared again. Outside, the endless chaotic void currents still tore at his defenses. The gap between the domain lord realm and the stellar realm was as vast as heaven and earth. Even with countless cheats enabled, Ling Xiao couldn't withstand attacks of this level. Beat. Infinite resurrection field time ended. Number of enemies killed 4,154.1 trillion. Ranked first on the leaderboard. Reward 650 million universe coins. The prompt sound rang, causing a jolt in Ling Xiao's mind. How am I ranked first? I clearly only killed tens of billions of people. Transported back to reality, looking at the inexplicably increased 650 million universe coins in his account, he was completely stunned. But this amount of money was no pressure for Ling Xiao. 1 domain lord coin could be exchanged for 10 billion universe coins, and 10 billion domain lord coins could be exchanged for 1 realm lord coin. 100 million realm lord coins could be exchanged for 1 god king coin. The gap was enormous. 650 million universe coins to him were like a world's richest man finding a penny. Earned through hard work, yet it was both laughable and frustrating. After it ended, Ling Xiao didn't rush to start the next match. He directly opened the Starsea realm's strongest ranking. Staring at the list, his brows furrowed tightly. My strength can't even beat the number 1 on the Starsea realm ranking. This is really frustrating. He touched his chin and sighed helplessly. The difficulty of cross-level combat in the Xinghai realm is 100 times greater than in the Grandmaster realm. The top 10 in the Xinghai realm usually can only surpass 1 major realm in combat power. Going beyond that is difficult. To securely claim the top spot in the Xinghai realm rankings, combat power must at least reach the first level of the domain lord realm. Ling Xiao glanced at the peak combat power, which was currently at the 10th level of the universe. Although the realm advanced by 2 minor levels, combat power only increased by 1 minor realm, mainly because the domain lord realm unlocks the power of the domain. Once the opponent unleashes domain power, Ling Xiao, who lacks a domain, cannot compete even if he is 10 times stronger than a domain lord. He would be instantly killed upon encounter. And now Ling Xiao has not even comprehended the power of the laws, let alone refine the laws. Domain condensation successful. It's not that he couldn't comprehend it, but Ling Xiao decided to wait until the innate supreme body improved before understanding it. A minute of sudden enlightenment is better than several hours of reckless effort now, doubling the efficiency. Isn't it better to save such precious time for cultivation? Forget it. I just made a profit. The money spent before has all been recovered, and I still have 10 Divine King coins left. Choosing 5 top-tier 12th rank martial skills and cultivation methods is more than enough. Ling Xiao calmed down, refrained from impulsively challenging, and stayed clear-headed. He opened the Virtual Universe Mall interface and commanded, Virtual Universe, help me select several sets of gun skills, agility skills, and defense. Martial arts with great potential, priced no more than 2 Divine King coins, as well as martial arts that complement the power of destruction. He needed complementary superpower skills for the power of destruction. Although he could unleash the terrifying power of the power of destruction without matching martial arts, the power could not be fully unleashed reached to its limit. These complementary martial arts were the key to enhancing his combat power. Of course, even these top-tier superpower skills had limited power improvement through training. The giant axe Ling Xiao had casually formed before was equivalent to an ordinary level 11 or 12 martial art. Even if it were strengthened to a level 15 immortal grade superpower skill in the future, it would only be a few times stronger. But having a blessing is better than having none. Every 10% increase in peak combat power is a qualitative leap. I will immediately list the required cultivation methods and martial skills for you. A prompt sounded, and a page of spear techniques appeared before Ling Xiao's eyes, all of which were top-tier 12th grade skills, with a few high-quality 12th grade ones mixed in. The final blessing effects of these martial skills are superior to those of skills at the same level, so their prices are naturally slightly higher. He carefully examined the introduction and used the system to scan for vulnerabilities. All the vulnerabilities became clearly visible. Ling Xiao remembered that the system had said as long as his weapon attack, agility, defense, or supernatural martial skills reached a trillion-level vulnerability for the first time, the system could directly upgrade him by one major realm level. This was also the reason he replaced the Holy Light Power martial skill with the Destruction Power. He didn't need the power of destruction before, not because he was confused, but because he lacked the corresponding martial skills. Such martial skills are probably extremely rare in the universe. If they can't be found even in the virtual universe, he can only go visit the Supreme God of Destruction. 300 billion loopholes? Too few. Your 12th level martial skill has only 90 billion loopholes? Not even a chance after fixing one level? Well, a 40 trillion flaw, it's okay, but still worse than my previous marksmanship. Ling Xiao looked at these martial arts flaws and couldn't help but be speechless. Too few flaws meant low potential. Low potential meant limited room for improvement after future upgrades. So what was the point of exchanging martial arts? Fortunately, the virtual universe inventory was abundant, and he discovered an astonishing rule. With the same price, the lower the level, the higher the potential. Interesting. In that case, there's no need to foolishly look for high-level ones. Virtual universe, list the lowest level marksmanship worth 2 divine king coins. After discovering the pattern, Ling Xiao decisively gave the order. Alright. The virtual universe responded immediately, and the screen refreshed. A batch of 12th rank lower grade spear techniques appeared before Ling Xiao. Looking at these spear techniques, he was slightly stunned. What? 12th rank lower grade martial skills only sell for 2 Shenwan coins? No wonder back then the top of the leaderboard could casually pick a 13th rank lower grade martial skill reward worth 1,000 Shenwan coins. Ling Xiao couldn't help but complain, but he quickly calmed down and began selecting martial skills. The low rank didn't matter, the key was that the potential couldn't be poor. This move is not bad. He suddenly focused on a 12th rank lower grade spear technique called Slaughter Demon Spear, which surprisingly concealed 60 trillion loopholes. This meant that after future upgrades, it would become an eternal level upper grade martial skill, and with further enhancement, it could advance to an immortal level upper grade peerless divine skill equivalent to 6 quadrillion loopholes. Fixing it is definitely my strongest combat skill. Ling Xiao's mouth curled slightly, and he selected it without hesitation. Immediately after, he quickly chose movement and defense skills. Next is the Destructive Powers special ability skill. A cold light flashed in his eyes. Hello, in the virtual universe inventory, there are only 7 Destructive Powers special ability skills below the 12th grade. The system abruptly reported. Ling Xiao was stunned. Only 7? That's extremely rare. These special ability skills are copyrighted by the Destruction Supreme Deity. Although the virtual universe controls the entire inventory, only these 7 are available for sale. The system explained. I see. Ling Xiao nodded. After all, those who can control the power of destruction are disciples of the Destruction Supreme, so the cultivation methods are naturally their own creations. Buzz. As soon as the words fell, 7 different supernatural skills suddenly appeared before his eyes, with the lowest level being 12th rank. After all, the energy of the power of destruction can easily reach the 11th rank, so the created supernatural skills would not be below that. Ling Xiao scanned these supernatural skills and was surprised to find that the vulnerabilities were all at the trillion level, with the most common destruction ray reaching 100 trillion vulnerabilities. Even more astonishingly, all these martial skills were completely free, priced at 0. That's right, without the power of destruction, these supernatural skills are completely unusable. Ling Xiao chuckled lightly, his gaze serious. Suddenly, his pupils contracted. Free? Could it be that those above level 12 are also free? Virtual universe, list all the destructive power abilities I can afford to buy, he ordered without hesitation. Okay, there are a total of 24 abilities within the search range. Please check. The system responded quickly. Ling Xiao flipped through these abilities. The highest level surprisingly reached level 15, and they were all free. The loopholes ranged from several trillion to 200 trillion, with the most outrageous being a level 13 ability with loopholes as high as 500 trillion. This means that as long as his innate supreme body breaks through its limits, he will easily cultivate it to perfection. Since it's free, I'll take it, Ling Xiao said with a broad smile and immediately redeemed it. Purchase Successful. Would you like to continue selecting martial skills? The system prompted. Continue. This time, help me find a technique similar to demonic blood escape, Ling Xiao said in a deep voice. Although this cultivation method is easy to switch, the violent absorption is by no means ordinary. It not only accelerates the devouring but also tears apart Ling Xiao's physical body during the process. For anyone else, this is a worthless cultivation method. The faster the cultivation, the more damaged the body becomes. Except for fanatics sworn to revenge, who would dare to touch it? But Ling Xiao is different. He possesses an invincible immortal divine body, allowing his flesh to heal instantly and his strength to rapidly increase. This violent absorption far surpasses those legendary cultivation methods he has. As long as there is a chance to recover, Ling Xiao will surely break through his limits wildly, with absorption speed soaring. Initiate search. The virtual universe responded immediately. Boom! In an instant, a pile of cultivation methods appeared before Ling Xiao's eyes, all extreme secret techniques that rely on sacrificing the body, flesh, and even the soul to gain power. He quickly pinpointed the one with the biggest loophole: Demon King Sacrifice. It's actually from the Tianma clan as well? This group really loves self-harm. Demon King Sacrifice is an enhanced version of the Tianma disintegration technique. The higher the sacrifice ratio, the more terrifying the power surge. Sacrificing the whole body for just a few times. Enhancement is a waste. The true extreme can bring dozens or even hundreds of times the boost, but it can only last for a very short time since energy is limited and time can only be compressed. But for Ling Xiao, time was not an issue. He could repair 1,000,000 times in 1 second. Even if the cultivation method only lasted 10 seconds, he could repeatedly sacrifice it, continuously increasing his strength until reaching the peak. Exchange complete. Beginning transmission. In his mind, a torrent of memories flooded in, rapidly infusing his spiritual consciousness. The memory transmission in the virtual universe was extraordinarily powerful, and Ling Xiao felt nothing at all. Compared to the dizziness and headache caused by memory transmission among humans, this was simply flawless. All cultivation methods and martial skills are ready. Begin training. He stepped toward the infinite resurrection arena, ready to give it his all. Boom! Suddenly, a thunderous bell echoed throughout the virtual universe. Everyone in the duel arena, as well as the top-ranked warriors, froze stiff, unable to move. The bell rang not only in the virtual universe but also in the real universe. Countless beings were shocked and terrified. Those who had never encountered advanced civilizations were even more panicked, and primitive tribes even knelt in worship. The primordial divine bell. This is the legendary primordial divine bell. The primordial divine bell has actually been struck. What on earth has happened? A major event is coming. It's definitely a cosmic level event. In the universe, countless domain lords, realm lords, and divine kings suddenly felt a sharp shock in their hearts. According to legend, whenever the primordial divine bell rings in the virtual universe, it signifies that the universe is about to undergo earth-shattering changes. It is a super event that shakes the foundation of the universe, capable of even rewriting the flow of time and overturning order. At this moment, the strong who understand the meaning of the bell's sound are both excited and fearful. Excited by endless opportunities, fearful of the hidden deadly dangers. They held their breath and waited silently for the unknown storm to arrive. Announcement. At that moment, a cold electronic voice sounded simultaneously from all corners of the virtual universe. The voice pierced the soul like ice, shocking all beings in the universe. Star beasts, intelligent races, mechanical races, all beings with souls, without exception. The only exception is the demon race. Announcement to the entire virtual universe: in 30 hours, the 10,081st Universe Genius Battle will officially commence. For this grand event, the virtual universe will summon all universe members to participate. Those who perform outstandingly will directly become disciples of the Supreme Deity and receive personal instruction from the Supreme Deity. The information of the outstanding individuals will be fully disclosed, and immortal-level strong figures will personally select and guide the best. Specific selection details will be announced later. All members of the universe, please prepare within 30 hours and connect to the virtual universe. The physical body in reality will temporarily lose mobility. As the prompt sound fell, beings in both the virtual and real universes suddenly felt their restraints dissipate. Countless low-level civilizations fell into confusion. Supreme Deity? Immortal-level powerhouse? Virtual universe? What is that? In the galactic civilization, questions surged like a tide. Cosmic genius battle? What a grand event this is. Could it be another advanced civilization invasion? If it weren't for the Ling Xiao Guardians, our human race would have been extinct long ago. How could another alien race interfere again? Damn alien conspiracy. We must never enter that virtual universe. Hundreds of millions of planets in the galactic civilization, the human race debated fiercely. Not only the ordinary people, even the high-ranking officials wore confused expressions. Earth Martial God Hall. More than 10 guardians gathered together, not for the cosmic genius battle, but for Ling Xiao. Just yesterday, Ling Xiao slaughtered 10 human planetary-level elites, and over 1,000 Grandmaster-level elites were defeated, all because of an absurd case of school bullying. From then on, the martial god fought finally realized that in Ling Zhao's eyes he was nothing but an ant. This extraordinary genius actually had a fierce conflict with the human race over a trivial matter. Today's meeting aims to seek a strategy for easing tensions. As for the deceased, the martial gods do not care at all. If it weren't for those ignorant descendants, how could Ling Zhao have broken ties with the human race? However, the sudden announcement from the virtual universe made them even more alert. Martial god, do you know what the virtual universe is? What kind of beings are the supreme deities and immortal level experts? Are they even stronger than the domain lords? The guardian Luo Tian asked curiously. In their understanding, the domain lord was already the supreme existence. This was a secret only learned after the return of the martial god. What they once thought was the strongest realm was merely the Starsea realm. Whenever they thought of the terrifying power of the domain lord level, everyone's hearts involuntarily shivered. That was a top-tier powerhouse controlling trillions of galaxies. In their eyes, the galaxy was nothing but dust, an existence that could be wiped out with a casual gesture. Now, there actually exist realms like the immortal realm and supreme deity. A series of unheard-of terms completely overturned their understanding. The martial god said in a deep voice, "The strongest beings I know of are the realm lords." A realm lord controls a star realm with a civilization level of 12 stages, almost invincible, commanding millions of domain lord level warriors. The Black Dragon Realm Lord, who governs billions of star domains, is an invincible existence. But I have never heard of the immortal realm or the supreme deity. As for the virtual universe, that is a virtual world created by the universe's strongest intelligent brain, almost indistinguishable from reality, accommodating all advanced races and civilizations of the universe. Hiss, there are realm lords above domain lords. How vast is this universe? Everyone was shocked, gasping in astonishment. Even more terrifying was that the immortal realm and supreme deity were 2 levels above the realm lords. They exchanged glances, their eyes full of fear. Next, these top-tier beings would conduct assessments on all civilizations. Assessments meant danger, but also opportunity. If any human race could obtain the legacy of such powerful beings, humanity would surely soar. But they knew clearly that, with Ling Zhao's talent, he might still be insignificant among the universe's geniuses, let alone the others. Xilian asked solemnly, "Master, is the assessment really safe? What exactly is the virtual universe? Why have you never mentioned it before?" The martial god sighed, "I only know that the virtual universe accommodates all races of the cosmos. The details are unclear. If one can obtain access, permission, all questions will be answered. Unfortunately, over the years, I have requested vassal status from the advanced civilization of the Wild Tribe, but was rejected because the civilization level of the Milky Way is too low. Only by becoming a vassal of a great civilization can one qualify to enter the virtual universe. Reaching an 8th level civilization is extremely difficult. Without Ling Zhao's breakthrough this time, everything would be even harder." The martial god's gaze was profound, with a goal spanning tens of thousands of years now within reach. Once achieved, even if he were to fall, he would not fear the human race being exterminated by other races. The world is unpredictable. Who can foresee what will happen? Alas, if it doesn't work, I'll give it a try. I have some acquaintance with Ling Zhao. The Luo Tian guardian suddenly spoke, his tone steady. Everyone nodded, only he was familiar with Ling Zhao. The martial god said solemnly, "Thank you for your trouble." The guardian of Luo Tian nodded, smiled, stood up, and turned to leave the martial god hall. An hour later, a spaceship slowly entered the Blue Water Star system. Blue Water Star remains safe and sound thanks to Ling Zhao's protection. At this moment, Blue Water Star has almost become a popular internet check-in spot. The high authorities immediately took action and issued strict regulations. All ships entering Blue Water Star must report in advance, and the daily passage quota is limited. Only when an old ship leaves can a new ship enter. Without sufficient clearance, one doesn't even qualify to queue, and the minimum clearance required is the Grandmaster level. Blue Water Star, once a third-rate planet, overnight rose to become a first-rate powerful star. Grandmaster experts flooded in, plunging the planet into chaos. The strongest on Blue Water Star were at most at the 3rd level of the Master Realm, and facing these top experts, they didn't even dare to breathe heavily. The only exception was Situ Tian Ling Xiao, a first-level Master Realm discoverer, now the chairman of Blue Water Star. Every Grandmaster must pay him a visit. A few days ago and now, it's like 2 different stars. Inside the peak level 6 spaceship, Guardian Luo Tian looked at the blue planet outside and shook his head helplessly. He didn't know if Ling Xiao was still here and could only try his luck. After all, this was Ling Zhao's homeland. If there was no trace here, there was a 90% chance Ling Xiao had already left the galaxy. Buzz! As the spaceship just entered the orbit of Blue Water Star, a spaceship with a diameter of 10,000 meters rushed over. In front of the 6th-level spaceship hundreds of kilometers long, it was like an ant. But Guardian Luo Tian did not dare to underestimate it, immediately stopped the ship and flew out personally. That is precisely Situ Tian's Maqian ship. Although Situ Tian is only at the 1st level of the Grandmaster realm, he is one of the few human strongholds who have assisted Ling Xiao, so the Luo Tian Guardian dares not be careless. Ling Zhao's relationship with the human race is complicated complicated and unpredictable. Any slight mistake could have unforeseeable consequences. Human Situ Tian, greetings to the Luo Tian Guardian. The Ling Xiao Guardian sent me to escort you to Blue Water Star. Inside the Maqian ship, an excited elder flew out. It was Situ Tian. Ling Xiao sent you to pick me up? The Guardian of Luo Tian was slightly moved. Being personally sent to receive him meant that the rift with the human race was not insurmountable. Exactly, Guardian. Lord Ling Xiao has an important matter and specially dispatched me to welcome you. We respectfully invite you to accompany us. Situ Tian said respectfully. Alright, let's go. Thank you. The Guardian of Luo Tian smiled and quickly flew toward the demon skyship. Guardian of Luo Tian, you flatter me. It is an honor for this junior. Situ Tian replied nervously, respectfully leading the Guardian of Luo Tian into the ship. The spaceship tore through the void, swiftly heading towards Blue Water Planet. Rumble rumble. The spaceship slowly landed in front of a rundown residential area, its vibrations startling the surrounding residents. This is the demon skyship. Lord Situ's demon skyship. How could it be here? Could it be that a genius has appeared here? Could it be that the Guardian Ling Xiao lives nearby? Don't be ridiculous. How could the Guardian live in such a rundown place? Look, it's really Lord Situ Tian. Who is the person beside him? Situ Tian looks very respectful. Not sure. The face is hidden. Definitely a Grandmaster level expert. The crowd was fiercely debating, yet no one could guess the truth behind it. Everyone in the entire galaxy knew that Ling Xiao was the Guardian of Blue Water Star, but no one knew that he actually lived in this rundown neighborhood. All those in the know had signed strict confidentiality agreements, and all information on the internet was completely deleted. Ling Xiao's appearance, photos, any information, none of it could be found. All of this was his arrangement. He just wants to live his life quietly, without being disturbed. The past days were relatively stable, with a steady income, focused cultivation, and carefree. Now it's different. The ever-changing cosmic storms weigh on his shoulders, and at any moment, a top-tier powerhouse could come to eliminate him without a trace. Therefore, he chose to return to this home where he had lived for more than 10 years, to seclude himself for cultivation and live a simple life with Lin Yuran. Bro, what exactly is this virtual universe thing? In the restaurant, Ling Yuran asked curiously. She had clearly heard the prompt sound from the virtual universe just now. Xiao He was lying on the ground, gnawing on a piece of meat in the bowl, looking just like the family pet dog. This meat was no ordinary piece. It was the heart meat of the Black Dragon Overlord from the Black Dragon plane that they had brought back. Although the Black Dragon Realm Lord was instantly killed by Black, Ling Xiao had instructed Black to keep the heart, because the heart is the core of the Star Beast's energy, containing 70% of its power. This became a delicious feast for little Black. If the martial god and the others knew that the Black Dragon Realm Lord was eaten as a meal by Ling Xiao's pet, they would probably be devastated. After eating, I'll take you inside to have a look. The Cosmic Genius battle starts tomorrow, and you have to train hard, understand? Ling Xiao stared at Ling Yuran, his tone firm. Right now, he hadn't restored her constitution. He himself couldn't withstand assassination threats, let alone her. Relying on the system to train her into the top genius on the leaderboard in a few days would only bring about catastrophic disaster. He could only give her some high-level flesh and blood essence first to speed up her cultivation, and talk about reaching the peak strength later. These essences were all recently collected by Ling Xiao from terrifying beings of the 14th and 15th tiers. I will definitely work hard. Ling Yuran responded excitedly. At this moment, Ling Xiao's physical body and main consciousness were here, but the subsidiary consciousness was being relentlessly forged in the infinite resurrection field of the virtual universe. At this rate, he would soon break through to the galactic realm and become a super strong being. Ding dong, someone is here. The doorbell rang. Who is it? Ling Yuran asked curiously. The Guardian Luo Tian and the Inspector Situ Tian. Ling Xiao smiled and answered. With a wave of his hand, the door slowly opened. The two elderly men cautiously entered the room. Seeing this, Ling Yuran quietly ate, not daring to say much. Ling Xiao, long time no see. Luo Tian, the Guardian, said somewhat awkwardly. Yes, it's been a while. Please have a seat, both of you. Ling Xiao stood up, smiling broadly. Seeing his attitude, Luo Tian, the Guardian, breathed a sigh of relief. I have something to discuss with you. Is now a good time? Two Guardians, I still have some here. I must take my leave now. Things have been really busy on Blue Water Star lately. Sorry. Hearing that the two Guardians had something to say, Situ Tian immediately took the hint and stepped back. Brother, Grandpa Luo Tian, I'll go practice first. You two chat. Ling Yuran quickly packed up and returned to her room. Ling Xiao stared at the old man in front of him and said coldly, Guardian Luo Tian, speak directly. Don't beat around the bush. He held no ill will toward Ling Yuran. The previous conflict was already in the past. Guardian Luo Tian cleared his throat and spoke apologetically. Today, I mainly came to apologize to you for the suffering Yuran endured back then. It was indeed due to my poor arrangements. Secondly, I want to inquire about the Cosmic Genius battle and the virtual universe. I wonder if you have any information. There was helplessness in his tone. During those days when the secret realm opened and the four major races besieged the human race, even he was overwhelmed with busyness. Ling Xiao waved his hand. The matter with Yuran is over. The instigator instigator was already slain by me, so don't bring it up again. Guardian Luo Tian breathed a sigh of relief, his eyes full of respect. Thank you, Senior Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao showed a smile. You want to know about the virtual universe? I happen to have some information. Really? Even Lord Martial God can't figure out what it actually is. Guardian Luo Tian said excitedly. Ling Xiao lightly tapped the 11-step smartwatch with his fingertip. Buzz. A torrent of information instantly flooded Luo Tian Guardian's mind. Cosmic power hierarchies, faction distributions, racial classifications, and the full panorama of the virtual universe. His mouth immediately dropped open, and his eyes were filled with extreme shock. He had originally thought that the Boundary Lord was the pinnacle, but he never expected that in the eyes of true masters, the Boundary Lord was nothing more than an ant. His worldview collapsed with a crash, and a much larger cosmic truth was immediately established. He finally understood how insignificant the human race was, not even qualified to be called a civilization, because the virtual universe only recognizes civilizations above the 10th tier to allow access. This universe is so vast. I once thought the Black Dragon Realm Lord was invincible, but I didn't expect the hierarchy to be far beyond imagination. The Guardian Luo Tian exclaimed in shock. The little black beside him looked up in confusion. Black Dragon Realm Lord? Isn't that my prey? Is it strong? He said while biting on the meat. Under Ling Zhao's care, Little Black has already risen to the 8th rank. Soon, it will be able to break through the racial limit and reach the 9th rank of the Star Sea realm. After that, its strength will stagnate unless Ling Xiao uses repair attempts to help it break through. However, this matter is basically hopeless in the near future, as repair attempts are extremely precious and must be handled with great care each time. This time, the Cosmic Genius Battle. If you can participate, then participate. There are only benefits and no drawbacks. After all, this is a virtual universe, no one will die. Although the chance of being targeted by strong opponents is slim, it's always good to gain some experience. Ling Xiao spoke slowly, his tone resolute. He couldn't refuse even if he wanted to. This time it was mandatory. However, life was not at risk. Letting the galactic humans witness the power of external strong figures would also help with development. In the past 2 days, he heard that the human race had just unified the galaxy, and many cultivators began to relax, no longer training desperately. Little did they know, the real threat came from outside the galaxy. If it weren't for Ling Zhao's steadfast defense, the galaxy would have long been swallowed by the Shadow Clan. Alright, I will definitely go back and convey your message. The Guardian Luo Tian nodded repeatedly, his expression grave. He knew that almost no one among the human race had a chance to be noticed by those powerful beings, but Ling Xiao was different. Perhaps he was the exception. Delaying. Ling Xiao meant delaying the entire future of the human race. He hurriedly took his leave, preparing to pass the news to Wushan and the others to reassure them. In the depths of the universe, in the endless void, a massive divine temple slowly floated. Around the temple, dark energy surged. Countless chaotic void currents collided wildly, yet they could not cause the slightest damage. Above the temple, 2 large characters were boldly inscribed. Destruction. This temple was enormous, its volume comparable to a planar astral realm, which spans at least 1 trillion light-years, and this temple was equally vast. Indeed, this temple belonged to the supreme god of destruction, and it was also a 16th-tier supreme artifact. Master, news has come from the virtual universe that a destruction-type superpower skill has been exchanged. Deep within the temple, a middle-aged man in the form of an ultimate immortal realm superpower respectfully reported. The old man slowly opened his eyes, the heavens and earth trembled, and the chaotic void within billions of light-years instantly turned to nothingness. After countless trillions of years, finally another awakener of the power of destruction has appeared. Unfortunately, I fear I will not see his growth. The supreme god of destruction spoke softly. His figure was aged, his end approaching. As a supreme deity, he should have had endless longevity, but he was the exception. Countless years ago, he joined forces with ancient warriors to seal the Tianma clan. In that great battle, a supreme being fell, and he bore 1/10 of the destructive power, deeply damaging his core laws. For countless years, even the supreme deity of life could not heal his wounds despite all efforts. Now, his vitality has reached its limit, and barring any accidents, he has at most several hundred billion years of life remaining. At that time, the power of the destruction source will be inherited by 10 disciples, but no one knows who can withstand it. He analyzed that although the eldest disciple before him is the strongest, he still cannot bear the power of the destruction source. In other words, once the master perishes, there will be no supreme deity of destruction in the universe. If the heavenly demon takes the opportunity to escape the seal, no one can stop it. Although several hundred billion years is a long time, to a powerhouse of this level, it is like a single day to a mortal. After the master finished speaking, the disciples fell silent, fully aware that they were powerless to inherit the master's position. What race is that child? He is from the Hong clan within the territory of the destruction supreme god. He has awakened the innate supreme body and possesses the undying divine body. The voice of the destruction supreme deity was deep and intimidating. His combat talent is extremely terrifying. Even at just the first level of the planetary realm, he actually defeated Saija. The extermination god emperor responded respectfully. As the spokesperson for the Destruction Supreme Deity, he controlled all secrets within the country and even knew that Ling Xiao possessed the undying divine body. Hong Clan? Innate supreme body? Undying divine body? The pupils of the Destruction Supreme Deity suddenly contracted, and he quickly took over all authority of the Destruction Supreme God's domain. Ling Xiao's figure in the virtual universe instantly appeared before his eyes. After a moment of silence, the heart of the Destruction Supreme Deity trembled uncontrollably. Ling Xiao not only mastered the power of destruction but also awakened the supreme talents of the Hong Clan and the Huang Clan, possessing the innate supreme body and a powerful immortal divine body. The convergence of several forces made him recall a familiar figure. Master, could it really be you? Has your heroic spirit been reincarnated? His voice trembled, excitement hard to conceal. The Extinction Divine Emperor's face changed abruptly. The reincarnation of the Patriarch? Master, are you sure? The Patriarch once fought fiercely against more than 30 supreme deities of the demon heaven in the sealing heaven formation. His soul had long since dissipated. How could he be reincarnated? That Patriarch was the Death Supreme Deity who, thousands of years ago, joined forces with the Destruction Supreme Deity to seal the demon heaven clan. He once controlled two supreme elements, destruction and death. Normally, only one supreme deity could possess one of these elements, so he passed the death element to his disciple, who is now the current Destruction Supreme Deity. When the demonic invasion occurred, the Supreme Death Deity led the army to seal the enemy clan, heroically sacrificing himself and slaying more than 30 supreme demonic deities, including the enemy's supreme deity of destruction. That battle shocked heaven and earth. The supreme deity of destruction often recalled the ancestor master with both pride and a sense of an abyssal gap. Now, Ling Xiao displays the immortal divine body, the power of destruction, and the innate supreme body. These were precisely the marks the ancestor master possessed back then. After the immortal divine body is fully developed, it can transform into the power of death and resurrect based on the memories of the world. This is by no means a coincidence. The Hong clan is exactly the ancestor master's clan. In ancient times, the Hong clan and the Huang clan shared the same origin, but during the demonic invasion, they were nearly wiped out, with even the strongest supreme death deity of the Hong clan falling in battle. The supreme deity of destruction combined the flesh and blood of the Hong clan's strongest warriors with the technology of the mechanical clan to reconstruct the pure Hong clan bloodline. Therefore, he concluded that Ling Xiao was very likely the reincarnation of the Death Supreme Deity. Although the ancestral master's soul was destroyed, his immortal divine body, developed to its limit, possesses a resurrection ability unknown to anyone. Relying on people's memories of him, he can be reborn. The voice of the Destruction Supreme Deity was firm and full of hope. He should have been resurrected long ago. Although the entire universe has erased all memories of him, my memory of him has not faded. It seems now that the master died too thoroughly back then, and only now has he finally succeeded in reincarnating. Even more terrifying, his strength is recovering at an astonishing speed, a speed that ordinary cultivators cannot compare to. The Destroyer Supreme God trembled with excitement all over his body, his aged figure slowly standing up, clearly preparing to meet Ling Xiao. Obviously, Ling Xiao, relying on the system's blessing, is cultivating at an extremely terrifying speed. In the eyes of the Destroyer Supreme God, this is definitely him regaining his former divine might. How could this not excite him? This means that even if he falls, the universe will remain safe and sound. Master, if that were truly the case, the Patriarch would probably have forgotten you long ago. Now that his strength is recovering so rapidly, he will soon be able to awaken the memories of his past life. Perhaps, we only need to patiently wait for the day the Patriarch's memories awaken and assist him at the right moment. If you rush there recklessly, you might miss that day. The Extinction Divine Emperor urgently tried to dissuade him, knowing that if the master left, the passage of his lifespan would accelerate 100-fold. A life already like a candle flickering in the wind would be extinguished in an instant. At that time, if the Supreme Destroyer God were to fall, the ancestral master would be left without support, making it even more difficult to regain his peak. As soon as the words were spoken, the Supreme Destroyer God stopped in his tracks, a look of helplessness flashing in his eyes. You are right, act according to what you said. He sighed faintly, then smiled. Just in time, the cosmic genius battle is about to begin. Speaking of which, this genius battle was personally established by my master. Back then, I also became my master's disciple through this competition. I never expected that now I would witness my master's reincarnated body participating in the genius battle. Fate truly plays tricks. As the words fell, the Extinction God Emperor felt a slight bitterness in his heart. Master had guarded the universe all his life, and in the end, left like this. Fortunately, he could see him one last time before dying. I heard Master say that the ancestor was extraordinarily powerful in life. If he could be restored, perhaps he could save Master from danger? Suddenly, a gleam flashed in the Extinction God Emperor's eyes, a sudden inspiration. Master, I request to serve as the chief examiner for this cosmic genius battle. Perhaps I can use this opportunity to observe the movements of the Grandmaster. He looked solemn and spoke earnestly. Alright, then I'll leave it to you. I will notify the virtual universe and the other supreme deities. The Supreme Deity of Destruction already already knew the disciples' intentions and did not expose them, only giving a slight nod. After hearing this, the Extinction Divine Emperor did not hesitate at all, turned around, and vanished into the void. The lonely temple of destruction once again fell into deathly silence. Ding! Congratulations, host, your vitality and soul values have increased to 100 trillion. Realm advanced to the galactic realm. In the infinite resurrection field of the first level of the virtual universe, the system notification sounded. Ling Zhao's realm has broken through to the galactic realm. Ding! Congratulations, host, your realm has reached the first level of the star system realm. The next stage of the immortal god body has been unlocked. The prompt simultaneously entered Ling Zhao's mind. He closed his eyes and carefully felt the changes in his body. Boom! A violent power surged through his entire body like a flood. Every inch of cells frantically divide. Vitality and life force surged dramatically. Soon, Ling Zhao's cellular activity and soul strength increased by more than 100-fold. Ding! Congratulations, host, the immortal body has reached its limit. Even if the soul and body perish, revival is possible through the memories of others. Soul recovery speed and physical recovery speed increase by 100-fold. A sharp alert suddenly sounded, striking directly into Ling Zhao's mind. His pupils contracted sharply, and the shock in his heart was undeniable. The degree of fragmentation has soared to the limit. This means that even if the soul completely dissipates, he can still be reborn. Now, Ling Zhao's soul fragmentation level has risen to level 10. The soul immortality technique has reached its peak, and the soul's power has surged 1,000-fold, overwhelmingly powerful. To break through again, the only way is to shatter the limits of the undying soul resolution. Even more excitingly, the recovery speed has increased 100-fold. The frenzied absorption training speed has also multiplied several times accordingly. Calculations show that the training speed has soared to a full 400 times the original. A cold smile curled at the corner of Ling Zhao's mouth. At this moment, he was fearless. Unless someone erases all of his memories, but he has long confirmed that in this universe, no existence can do that. That's right, no one can. Back then, the Death Supreme Deity was eradicated by 1,000 supreme deities of the demon clan working together, yet the memory of the destruction supreme deity still remained. Even with just one, or even 1,000 supreme deities, they cannot erase the traces of Ling Zhao's existence. Even the destruction supreme deity remembers him, let alone others. Finally achieved greatness. No longer afraid of death, in this lifetime, I truly cannot die. Ling Zhao was so excited he was almost in tears. Since the day he transmigrated, he had been cautious. Even with the immortal body, without reaching full mastery, he still dared not show himself easily. Now, he could rest easy. More importantly, if someone tries to seal him, he can directly destroy his own soul, completely annihilating it. Then, he can be reborn anywhere near the memory of his existence. This is true immortality. Buzz. Suddenly, an extremely profound power surged from the depths of his flesh and soul, rapidly rushing into his sea of consciousness. A mass of blood-red energy rapidly condensed, transforming into a bright red orb. The orb quickly expanded, and in just a few minutes, it grew to the same size as the orb of destructive power, hovering above the sea of consciousness. Ding! Host's immortal body has been developed to its limit, triggering a hidden effect and awakening one of the 8 supreme elements, the power of death. The alert sound came suddenly, and Ling Zhao's pupils sharply contracted. Damn! The undying divine body can actually awaken the power of death? Amidst his shock, he understood. The power of death is one of the 8 supreme elements, on par with the power of destruction, and its strength must not be underestimated. The reason the undying divine body is immortal is because it controls the power of death. He quickly deduced that the fundamental element of the undying divine body was the power of death. As the level increased, the power of death condensed into elements, truly existing. The undying divine body, which used to only passively take hits and wait for death, now has the deadly weapon of the power of death, marking a significant evolution. A cold smile curled at the corner of his mouth. At this moment, his number of repairs also increased from the original few times to 8 times. System, does the power of death have any loopholes? He suddenly thought, if the newly awakened power has flaws, wouldn't that leave hidden dangers? But he was almost certain it wouldn't. After all, the undying body only reached its limit after repair, and the death power should also be flawless. Ding! The death power loophole has been repaired. The prompt sound rang again. Ling Zhao smiled indifferently. The power of the top supreme element, even if it once had flaws, would be quickly remedied. Since that's the case, let's proceed to repair my innate supreme body. Zhao didn't hesitate and directly issued the command to the system. Ding! Command confirmed. Repairing innate supreme body requires merging 9 repair opportunities. Extreme breakthrough is about to begin. The system responded quickly. Rumble. In an instant, the raging power surged into Ling Zhao's body like a flood, his blood boiling instantly as if it was about to burst out. Supreme powers erupted from deep within the bloodline, and the originally pale golden blood quickly transformed, gradually dying into deep gold, then pure gold, dazzling like alchemy. Countless forces of the laws danced wildly within the blood, and Ling Zhao felt that with just a thought, he could convert any elemental power into the power of the laws. Without hesitation, he mobilized all his strength and began to comprehend the surroundings surrounding sacred holy light laws. Rumble. In the sea of consciousness, the huge sacred holy light orb suddenly burst forth with dazzling brilliance. Countless forces of the laws rapidly condensed at the center of the orb, yet the orb gradually dimmed. Click. A huge crack appeared on the light sphere. Crack, crack. The crack rapidly extended, and the light sphere began to shatter. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Accompanied by a deafening roar, the light sphere exploded violently, turning into countless light particles scattered across the sea of consciousness. In the center of the photosphere, a crystal-clear white law thread appeared. Congratulations, host, you have successfully condensed one thread of the holy light law. A total of 1,000 threads can be used to construct the holy light domain. The prompt sound directly reached Ling Zhao's mind. He stared at the law thread, a trace of fanaticism flashing in his eyes. The threads of the law are the key to reaching the pinnacle of a cosmic-level powerhouse. Only by mastering the threads of the law can one advance